The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes,
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Tuesday, March 30th, 2021, years after zero. Today is a colossal show. Thank you to Twine for that beat drop. I hope you're having a fantastic day wherever the hell you are, whether you're listening at home on SiriusXM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio, or if you're watching along at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. We have met a purgatory type place right now. Now, Elite Eight will continue tonight, okay? Everybody watched last night, right?
Oh, yeah.
They were awesome, those games.
Man, they were shooting.
Oh, they were playing the basketball so good.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what. Those UConn women, they got lucky that they got a win.
That's right, they did.
That ref, talk
about a foul.
Oh, it's a foul. But just like Oriama said, what can I do about it? What do you want?
That's basketball,
What do you want
baby.
me to do about it? LeBron's coming after him. The internet's coming after. What do you want us to do about it? Okay, it's a shame that happened to Baylor. It's probably happened against us before in the past. It'll happen against us again. But college basketball is still happening, men and women.
Whoa.
But football's kind of getting a little bit stale. But let me tell you why. It's because we're in currently a pro day world right now. So all the moves that we're thinking about potentially happening, like for instance, there's now been a report that Sam Darnold is potentially going to fall to 4 different suitors that are potentially thinking about bringing him onto the squad. Is it going to be the Panthers, the Steelers, the Washington football team, or the Denver Broncos that make a trade for him? Or is Sam Darnold staying in New York? Joe Douglas is now taking a trip to Justin Fields' pro day, which is happening. So maybe the Jets aren't 100% sold on Zach Wilson. That's why they're going to Justin Fields' pro day. And maybe Sam Darnold stays there. Maybe he gets traded. It seems like everything is potentially on the table right now, and that's what we're talking about. We are in a world right now where nothing is certain, nothing can be real, so we'll just call it as we see it as it goes. Today, Alabama and Mack Jones is throwing again, although his 2 wide receivers that he's thrown to this past season will not be running or not be playing. Najee Harris will be running. Mack Jones will be trying to make off-balance throws to showcase that he is more than just a pocket passer who needs everything to go right. We'll talk to you about that. Ian Rappaport, who I believe is down there at this particular pro day, which seems like it's the Alabama's second pro day, which I didn't know that happened. I always thought it was combine, pro day, team workouts. Now, allegedly, there's more than one pro day happening for different players. Ian Rappaport, who is at the Alabama second pro day, he'll be joining us in the third hour.
Okay.
So we have ears on the ground, eyes on the players, balls being thrown and caught in Alabama with somebody, a source down there. Now, that source works for NFL Network full time, but that source will be joining us in the third hour unless something big happens.
Okay.
Then he will have to go on to NFL Network and do his job, which, by the way, completely understandable. We appreciate the rap sheet joining us. Pierre Maguire will join us in about an hour from now because hockey's happening.
Yeah.
And guess what? Pittsburgh Penguins are about to win the goddamn Lord Stanley Cup again. Yep, I've been talking about it for a long time. We even whenever they stunk, before they fired the GM and the president and moved on to a new staff that is potentially from our rival teams, he and they have taken that team to a next level. They're playing different hockey. The greatest player of all time, Sidney Crosby's there. Penguins are going to win the Stanley Cup, but we'll talk to Pierre Maguire about what's going on in the hockey world and how his life is, because NBC Sports Network, I believe this is the last year it is the home for the NHL. The NHL is moving to ESPN, ESPN Plus, and NBC Sports Network shutting down completely. So what's that whole like? Is this like a Derek Jeter like last time around for the NBC Sports Network? And will Pierre Maguire stick with the NHL and go to ESPN? Can't wait to chat with him about that and all the other things happening in the world. And joining us in about 19 minutes, Rondale Moore.
Let's go.
Yeah, wide receiver from Purdue. He ran a 4.29 at his pro day. Now, I do believe that was hand timed, so we'll talk to him. He opted out of last season because of, I believe, everything going on in the world, whether it was COVID or anything else going on. Then he opted back in because he saw everybody else was kind of doing it, so he was like, oh, I thought it was going to be different. Then I guess he got injured, played 3 games last season, had 35 catches and like 300 some yards. So, I mean, he is an explosive talent. He was the first ever consensus All-American freshman from Big Ten conference history or whatever. Cannot wait to chat with him. I assume, that should be riveting. And if not, we'll end it short.
There you go.
1-888-MAD-DOG-6. Cannot wait for your phone calls to join us as well. At Boston Connor, what are your thoughts on life right now, pal?
There's not many thoughts on life, Pat. Elon Musk and that whole team, they're flying rockets that aren't even working.
Whoa. This was a test flight that
course.
did explode on its landing, and these are the starships that we will all hopefully own someday so we can go intergalactic mall walking on Mars or whatever. But yesterday, I do believe one of those things did blow up, but there was no humans in there because Elon and the team over there said, hey, this one could potentially fucking wow. So let's not get crazy.
He's working the bugs out.
It can't fly. Couldn't land, actually.
Elon said that, in these test flights, the rocket should blow up so that doesn't happen when they actually go. But hey, if Elon Musk doesn't get it right every single time, I feel pretty good about us not getting everything right every single time, too.
You're right. Get off our backs.
Let's relax a little bit.
Elon Musk is he's a rocket scientist, isn't he?
Smartest guy in the world, people say.
And other worlds.
And outer space.
He's from other worlds. Smartest there. Flew to our world, became smartest here. He's got probably $10 million just blowing up on a fucking Monday. So let's remember that a little bit. I did invest in the Tesla stock on my public app.
Oh, that's right.
Just a little bit ago. Don't like seeing rockets blow up after I invest in a company, but it'll all come back around.
He did say, hey, listen, the boosters worked fine. Okay. And this thing exploded basically right where it was supposed to come down. So we're good. Okay.
Yeah. So let's make sure that doesn't affect.
Right on course. I don't think this is affecting the stock price.
Okay. All right. Listen, I'm in the game now. I'm in the game now with this public app or whatever, and they did not pay for this, so no free ads. Fuck them. But it did make it very convenient for me to get into the goddamn.
Tesla stock is up.
Okay.
Here we go.
Look at me. This is not investment advice, by the way, but it does seem like that one is run by an alien from another planet. It's only going to go, I think. Even if every other one because whenever I came into the NFL 2009, that was 1 year removed from 2008 where everything kind of happened or whatever.
Sure.
I feel like that is potentially why I'm very standoffish when it comes to, the stocks and everything like that. Didn't grow up in a family that had any friends that did anything with it. Then immediately upon getting my first ever real taste of any type of real money, it's also coming fresh off of a bunch of rich people lost all their money. So I've always kind of been standoffish, you know what I mean? But I think what happened on those graphs in that year when that whole thing collapsed, and a lot of people say it was the housing market and there was another bubble that happened and blah, blah, blah. All of the things went like this, right? It was just Red Line City or whatever. I think if that was to potentially ever happen again, which let's assume there is a chance out there.
Yeah,
and this is not investment advice. I'm just telling you that I assume there's a chance, and I don't know anything about this fucking world. I do believe the aliens one will still green while everything else is still going somehow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You'd be like, oh, what are they talking about? Oh, we got Bitcoin still, so our thing still goes this way.
We're fine.
I think he put like 50 million in Bitcoin or something like that.
I mean, he's building rocket ships. No one else is doing that kind of shit,
Not only is he doing that, he's also building tunnels that connect cities.
True.
Quicker than anybody else because the planet he comes from, guess what? Underground. They have the tunnel technology since the beginning of time. Isn't that right?
That's right. And,
Mole people. Yeah, but they're
Tesla,
smarter than us, though.
one of the first companies to allow people to buy Teslas with Bitcoin. Yeah. Like you said. So he's already incorporating his alien currency that they got going up there into our world.
Isn't this pretty cool, huh? We're alive for this.
Exciting time for us. Exciting time.
So there might not be a lot of like NFL stuff going on, but it does seem as if, because I think a company bought the rights for something intergalactically as well recently.
I believe John Deere said
I believe John Deere said,
right.
We want to be the ones that are tilling the land
That's right.
if we're going somewhere. So I think that's going to happen. Always has been a conversation. Right, always has been a conversation like, is there not, there's religions that potentially, if there is anything, just absolutely their entire system or whatever, but that whole thing. And there's, I've always been a big believer in, there's got to be. There's got to be up there. I was a big moon watcher as a kid, just looking up at the sky, a lot of looking up at the sky. Now in Pittsburgh, there's a lot of clouds, so you don't see a lot of things, but you do see the moon normally. Always thought there was going to be something. But we are now in a time where it feels as if, like that $5 million thing he's selling that just crashed yesterday testing, it does feel very realistic that we're just going to be able to hop into one of those fucking things and just go to another town. I cannot wait until we set up the, like Space Jam, I guess, but the first flag football game against the...
man.
Jeez.
A lot of penalties.
Are you kidding me? Huh?
It's going to be a lot of penalties.
You think? Because they're not going to know the rules.
That and they're going to be very we're the alpha dogs. No, we're the alpha dogs.
Oh, I thought you were thinking they were going to be a bit handsy. A lot of holding probably. Yeah, I'm intrigued.
They have 6 horse.
But because we always think about just going up to Mars to shop, I think that's my first thought is I'm just going to go up there to shop or whatever. I've heard their big sale Friday sales up there.
Oh, man.
Next
Hop
level.
in a Starship, go shop
You
there.
wooldn't believe it.
But let's assume they have some sports over there as well, huh?
Have to.
Little less gravity, the highlight plays you can make in really any sport. The dunks while you're floating in the air. Everyone's Zion Williams on Mars.
No, by the way, I do not think that is accurate. But we do send Zion if we are getting into a Space Jam Monstars type situation because he is one game away, I think, from tying Shaq's record at this point. He's unstoppable. Let's get him out of New Orleans, by the way. Or let's get players to New Orleans. Listen, two options here.
I think
Two options here, okay? We get Zion to L.A., all right? And it's Zion in the Lake Show. Okay, we got Braun. We got Zion. Here you go. AD's in there. Then we got the Brooklyn Nets coming up the east. So we're just kind of watching these two climb, and it'll be a colossal battle. And even get John Morant.
There it is.
Also,
please.
Let's get him out of Memphis, or let's get more players to Memphis. I don't want the Memphis Grizzlies fans or the New Orleans Pelicans fans to be upset with me because I'm a fan of the New Orleans Pelicans fans. They were very nice to us. Let's just get some players in there, or let's let these baby birds go ahead and spread their wings a little bit and get on some prime time and also in some actual finals and chances to go do things. And people aren't going to be happy. I get people that tweet me, it's so cringe when you talk about sports other than football. Let me tell you how I'll talk about the sport that you're fucking talking about. Give me the biggest rising superstar you have, Zion, on a team that has a fucking chance. They had to redo the entire bubble setup last year so they could get Zion into the playoffs so that he was in the bubble. Cool. Now, let's go ahead and get him on a team that can actually go on a run because the playoffs, only thing that matter in the NBA. They're the only thing that are on primetime television every single game. Let's get Zion on a team that matters. Let's get Ja on a team that matters, and let's make it happen. Listen, buy into it. This is just what it is.
Yeah.
The NBA is a super team league.
It is.
That's what it is. They're saying Steph Curry's up for a contract extension, and LeBron's already recruiting his ass to LA. Awesome.
Let's
Get
do
him.
it.
Zion, Steph, Braun, AD, Ja Morant, they're starting for your West Coast All-Stars. And then on the East Coast, you got James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Blake Griffin. I mean, let's go, boys.
What are we doing here?
What are we doing
What are
here?
we waiting for?
Let's have them play twice a week. Let's have it
Yeah.
for an entire year-long series for who gets home court advantage. I mean, I'll watch, but I need Zion on a big. I need Zion on a big name team stat.
He can't be the Matt Stafford of the NBA.
God,
we can't have that
He's
happen
such a nice
here.
kid, by the way.
Great kid. He can do it all.
And by the way, I've never talked to him.
No.
But he seems humble.
He's always got a smile on his face.
He seems like a nice
And he's
kid.
dominating the NBA. Get him out of there. Or
on.
get people too.
Bring him in.
Hey, listen, I'm not saying maybe the Pelicans aren't the team of destiny. Bring LeBron in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bring LeBron down.
Bring
to
AD
Orlando.
back.
Bring AD back. Say, hey, all is fine. Bring him back. You know what I mean? Get Steph. Because LeBron's already been doing recruiting. Get him down.
And
to
Ja.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, by the way, maybe take everybody to Memphis. Let's just do it all in Memphis then.
It's a nice city.
Get Ja, get Zion up there. Go ahead and get Braun over there. Do what you got to do. But if not the case, get them the fuck out of those cities and let's get them to a big primetime place. Anyways, when they get to those cities, what we'll all get to see is them hop on their starships and go to another planet.
The Galactic League.
Yeah, so let's figure that out, Elon, because I would like to be able to hop in one of them starships and just get it going. They said you can even put that thing on layaway.
Whoa.
If you can't afford it, don't worry. Put a down payment, hop your ass in there. When you get to Mars, you'll be able to work for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
I
right.
said, oh, that's great news. Well, am I taking a hack at rocks up there? Am I getting a spacesuit? Or are we going
No,
inside?
you're
Am I digging?
You're riding a John Deere, which is why I'll be the first guy to go up there and do it if I have to. If you're going to let me work with Deere equipment on Mars, sign me up. I'm there.
At Ty Schmidt, by the way. Nice intro there. That was a good way. It's 16 minutes we've made it through.
Yeah.
This show. Today is one of those days you look at the life, or the dais, shall we say, of things that are going on, and you go, I think it's going to be tough to really get started. But once we get going, there's a chance we're going to really get to about 3 hours. At Viva Lazito, today's poll was a big one.
Oh, yeah.
And it is a big conversation because Albert Breer came out with some information here. What is the poll for today, Zeke?
Yep, today is where will Sam Darnold play next year? Last place, we got Panthers at 8%. Then we got Steelers, 10%. Broncos, 15%. Football team, 19%. And he's staying home at 47%.
Wow.
Jets.
Okay, so 9,500 votes there. Jets are at 47%. I don't think that's right.
Neither do I.
No way.
Unless, I just don't think that's right because you're setting up. I think Darnold has to. I think he has to be moved. Now, Kyle Shanahan has come out. This is all fascinating with all these trades and everything because with the Niners trading with the Dolphins up to 3, you immediately go, okay, so they must be happy with Tua. They're not trying to stay in a place where they think where everybody's talking about where franchise guaranteed changing quarterbacks will be, which, by the way, we have an entire graphic on first-round quarterbacks that have been drafted, by the way, that are supposed to be the franchise going forward, and they aren't at all, by the way. So, I mean, the stats say you're not going to be able to find it, but with the Dolphins trading down and then trading back up to 6, you would think that they're not going to draft a quarterback. But with the Niners trading with the Dolphins, you would think that at some point the Niners would have asked the team that was ahead of the Dolphins, the Jets, and say, hey, would you like to trade? And if the Jets said no to that, no, we don't, that means the Jets want to stay at 2 unless the offer wasn't enticing enough for them to trade out of there. But you would think the Jets would want to stay at 2. Who would you stay at 2 instead of getting potentially 4 picks, 5 picks or whatever and move down a couple? You would do that because you're getting a quarterback. Now, with Sam Darnold, who's very young and has had, no success in the NFL.
No.
Okay, there has been they've won games. He's had a couple highlights, but he has had 0 success in the NFL. And it's like, is this his fault completely that he's had no success? I don't think so. I mean, a lot of people that I have a lot of respect for, Darius Butler and others that watch a lot of film and break down people, they say he is careless with the ball. Like, not only is Adam Gase probably not necessarily setting him up for success both on the field and off the field, we've learned about that about him with other players that he's potentially coach in the past. But Sam Darnold is also a guy who's been reckless with the ball, careless with the ball. But is he doing that because he knows the team stink and they don't have? There's always those full conversations. So I think for Sam Darnold and the Jets, he has to have just like a clean, fresh start.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, this didn't work. Was it me? Maybe. Was it you? Probably. But was it? It didn't work. We're both starting anew. I think the Jets know that. I'd assume Sam Darnold knows that. And the fact that they think he's going to play for the Jets, very fascinating, because if you make Sam Darnold be a mentor now, all of it, how will it not be a little jaded sounding whenever Sam Darnold's saying like, hey, everything they're doing right now is awesome. Like, you need to enjoy this because what I just had, we were fucking miserable. Like, how do you, I just don't see how the human aspect of this thing works with Sam Darnold if he sticks around. But maybe the Jets will still trade out. Maybe Joe Douglas is going to Zach Wilson's pro day and Justin Fields' pro day, and that's Rich Simony is reporting that must mean that Joe Douglas is interested in Justin Fields. What if Joe Douglas goes, nah, neither of these guys are better than Darnold. We will accept trades after this. So, I mean, there's so many outcomes at this point, but if I'm Sam Darnold and they're going to get a quarterback, I would like a fresh start as well because you could see how he could potentially be a bit, like, hey, this is fucking bullshit. Hey, you're getting a great opportunity here. I'm not getting one. It's very fascinating.
What I don't understand is a lot of the guys we've talked to, they've said, like, when you watch the tape of Zach Wilson, that, like, it's very abundant. Like, oh, okay, he's a guy. He can play. He's going to be good. And if they've had this much time to prepare, like, Darnold used to be, they were talking about him being a late first-round pick, and now his value as, like, I read an article that said GMs, are hesitant to even do, like, a late second-round pick. So if they are going, like, why wouldn't have they done this that long ago when they could have maximized his trade value?
Yeah, because Joe Douglas would have known that there's potentially a quarterback coming here in the next couple months.
Because the longer they wait.
Yeah, they've had the number 2 overall pick since what, week 16, week 15?
Yeah, something like that.
Week 14 or something. They've had the second overall pick.
They beat the Rams.
Yeah, basically since then.
Right.
So it's why wouldn't you think about it then? Like, okay, we got to move on from Darnold because it was it was a bull of a market there for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was a lot of action being made. The Rams, now granted, I'm not saying Sam Darnold is anywhere near what Matthew Stafford is as a quarterback. Listen, and people, I feel like the amount of disrespect that Matthew Stafford faces, somebody will be mad that I just said that, by the way. Somebody will be mad that I just said that Sam Darnold is nowhere near what Matthew Stafford is on the quarterback market. Somebody will get upset about that, by the way. And wait until you see what Matthew Stafford does in this Sean McVay offense. Wait. It is going to be, and this is, I'm setting myself up for a freezing cold take, but if this is exactly what I assume it's going to be, I would also like this to potentially get cut. He's going to be unbelievable. But you're right. Sam Darnold's trade value was very, very, very much more valued when that trade was potentially happening. Goff was potentially happening. The Carolina Panthers were potentially in on Deshaun Watson, who is that situation off the field. If that's true, we would like justice to be served because that is disgusting. And by the way, as a former NFL player, don't love that is something that's potentially associated with NFL players. That's not cool at all. But if this isn't true, if this turns out not to be true, would like that to also be talked about on the other side. But I don't think any teams are currently in the market for Deshaun Watson because of everything that has to get settled off the field, which we hope 1,000% does get settled in that whole thing. But then the Russell Wilson, the Chicago Bears, Andy Dalton. There was a lot of moves that people were making for quarterbacks. You're 100% right. It seems like they've maybe missed their window, but maybe they don't care because they're like, we have number 2 overall pick already. We're in a pretty good spot. I don't know.
And they were hesitant because when you guys were talking about Darnold having that high value, that was before Wilson was even a lock for the 2. That was when it was, okay, Lawrence, Fields, then everyone else. And also the thought then was, well, anybody who gets away from Gase, like Tannehill, like Damian Williams, like Kenyon Drake, like all those players, they all of a sudden become unbelievable. So all of a sudden people they had enough time to watch the Darnold tape, and now it's like, okay, this guy is in the late first,
and we don't know who's reporting what, and what's real and what isn't real.
Nothing.
But yeah, literally nothing. But there was one report, I forget who it was from, maybe Rossini. I think she might have tweeted it out, where it said people saw what happened with Tannehill after Gase, and they don't want to get Tannehilled. Yes. So I would assume those people are the Jets people that are telling that information to whoever. I'm not sure that is just me recalling one tweet that I saw probably 3 weeks ago, which is in the last 3 weeks, I've probably seen, no joke, 2 to 3 million tweets. So that is a fascinating thing. But if that's the case, then are you going to take a quarterback still? Because aren't you kind of wasting the pick if you think you're potentially going to get Tannehill? And how can you make your entire franchise decisions off of potentially what happened with Tannehill in Tennessee with Derrick Henry at running back and an incredible, how can you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how much of that's real, how much of it isn't, but it has to be a thought at least that somebody got out from underneath the Gase umbrella and played good football all of a sudden.
Also, to your point earlier, do you think he could actually be a guy who could like mentor an incoming guy because he's so young, and he hasn't had much success?
Here's what you do, dude. All right, when you're mic'd up, you don't fucking say anything.
Yeah, I mean,
keep it down.
Okay, because you think they're there for you, but they're not.
Don't say the G word.
I saw ghosts. I said it out loud, and they
Don't say it.
They put me on blast. I mean, they did. So watch that. Also, if you go to like a niece or nephew's like birthday party that's in like high school, don't drink the punch out of anybody else's glass or anything, because you will get mono as an adult.
True.
Okay?
Careful of that.
We didn't know that you would. Also, look around right now. This organization, much fucking better than it was just a couple years ago. So good luck out there, dude. I just turned 24. I'm going to go try to find another team to potentially have success on.
Feel like 44.
He is the oldest
Yeah.
guy in the history of the NFL. How old is he, 23?
Yeah, I think so.
23. And him, Tall Gurley, too. Tall Gurley's 26. I thought he's been in the league for 15 years.
He's been paid like 3 times. Absolute stud. Let's transition to the future of the NFL. Shall
Hell
we?
yeah.
Joining us now is a man who is a All-American as a freshman at Purdue. He just ran a 4.29 hand time at his pro day a couple weeks ago. He played in like 3 games this past season, had 35 catches. Ladies and gentlemen, wide receiver Rondale Moore.
Yeah!
How's it going, man?
It's going great, man. Appreciate you guys having me.
How's life?
Great. Can't complain. Blessed, to say the least.
How interesting is this time? Are a lot of Zoom calls? Is that how this whole thing's going on? Are you meeting and greeting with coaches? How's the whole process going for you?
Yeah, like all Zoom calls. And, unfortunately, I don't get to travel and check out facilities and whatnot. So, like you said, man, it's been all Zoom calls and everything's been virtual.
Pro day obviously went well. I mean, you ran 4.2. I think you jumped something insane as well. Did you know that was going to happen, I assume? You were like, all right, when I get to my pro day, I'm going to dominate?
Yeah, no doubt. I've always checked the boxes as far as testing well. So, I mean, I've been training around those numbers.
Oh, nice. Okay, appreciate that, man. The thought of transitioning from Purdue to NFL, who are you training with? How are you training? How is that whole, has that been something that you've had to focus on?
Yeah, I mean, before pro day, I was in Frisco, Texas at Exos. And
oh, nice.
We had Chris Givens down there who was with the receivers working with us individually. And then, during this time until I get drafted and, go off for rookie stuff, I'll be in Louisville, Kentucky with my trainer at Aspirations Gym. What
do you guys do? Do you guys do those really cool footwork things where you run? Is that what you guys do around there?
A little bit of everything, So obviously I'll lift and go outside and get some position work and, be inside and do plyos and footwork and things of that sort.
Who's throwing you balls down there?
Up in the air right now, I've got a few guys. Obviously, I went to high school with. We don't have any pro guys in town, so. But I've got some guys I played with in high school.
Can sling it if you need it. Just let me know. No big deal. So this past season, obviously, with the way everything was, it was an interesting season, I think, for everybody. You ended up playing 3 games, I think, if our stats people are correct. 35 catches. You, I think, alongside a lot of other people, opted out. Then you opted in. Then you got hurt. Is that what happened? Then you ended up playing 3 games. How did last year go? Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I had a grade 1 hamstring and missed the first few games.
Man, that's tough. All right, Rondale. Well, good luck with everything, man. Hope you do fantastic. Hope you enjoy the NFL, man. Do you have any workouts scheduled or anything like that, or is it just kind of all Zoom calls right now?
Yeah, it's all Zoom. I don't think there'll be any in-person workouts.
Oh, nice. Okay, I don't know if that's rules or not. Well, good luck with everything down there. Let me know if you need somebody to sling it.
Yeah, no doubt. I appreciate you.
Hey, no problem. Rondale Moore. Yeah! Hello, Rondale! Woo! All right. So we have we have a couple now. There's the Jerry Rice. There's the Kerrigan.
Jeez.
then there's the Rondale Moore there.
Kerrigan will come back to later on. He was part of one of the trade-ups in that list of quarterbacks taken in the first round.
Oh, he was a part of it?
Yeah, he's part of one of them.
Really?
Kerrigan.
Yeah, he turned into one of the premier player. For
It
the
was
football
us. I
team.
think it was me, huh? Was it the red rifle shirt, you think?
Maybe,
No,
yeah.
that shirt's popping.
Doesn't want to go to Chicago.
I love that shirt.
Oh, do you really?
I actually do. It looks awesome.
This is a Zito specialty. I mean, as soon as Andy Dalton became the quarterback for the Bears, he immediately said, I thought we're getting Russ Wilson. And then he was a little bit upset. And then he was like,
That shirt was made.
got to back my guy. And then
Great shirt.
He showed up. This shirt showed up in the group text, I think, 6 minutes after Andy Dalton. I was like, Zito, how did you sit on it? Yeah, well, I had to wait, Rondale Moore. He's going to do well, I think.
Oh yeah.
You think it's because I said hand time? Like he knew that was a...
I don't know. Maybe rookies just don't want their stock to drop at all. So if they just
come on, don't say anything.
Exactly.
JJ's got something.
He came in. He looked like he'd been in Zoom meetings the entire morning.
Oh, okay.
Derrick Henry.
It happens, yeah, like Derrick Henry. We'll get Rondale Moore back on after the draft.
Absolutely.
There we
He'll have
go.
a big week at some point.
Yeah, we'll get him back on.
Yeah.
Hey, we don't want to affect anybody's draft stock.
No.
Exactly.
No.
People thought that we might have affected Najee Harris.
Instead, I've heard from people that it actually went the other way.
Gross.
Hey, it was great to see that guy has a good personality. Would like to hang around that guy.
Yeah.
If you remember, last year had Herbert on before the draft. That
Got him drafted.
yeah, it didn't seem to hurt.
Tom Zalesko said I actually drafted him because he was on the show.
Yeah, he did.
Very fun.
Is that a record, though? 3 minutes?
It was almost earlier. I think.
I thought you were going 2.
Well, there was all right. I think I said at one point, then I didn't. I appreciated his time, so I wanted to give a little bit more.
Purdue guy.
Boiler up.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just sometimes I fucking miss. That's some things that I can't. Sometimes I just.
I spent more time making the graph.
It was a good graphic, though.
Good graphic.
Great.
I feel like my hit percentage is pretty high, though.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's pretty high. And I do take a lot of pride in that. I would like to let everybody know there's people that talk about it on the internet. I appreciate it. A lot of people disrespect the way I do things as well. Those motherfuckers are stooges. Never heard them have a good recorded conversation with anybody. But I take a lot of, that was a miss. Sometimes that pitcher is just painting corners.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? And it felt like that was one of them. I
Just couldn't get the bat head out there.
I couldn't, you know what I mean?
You can't be a dentist pulling teeth the whole time, too.
Well, yeah, but you can, though. I mean, you think potentially, sometimes when you're seeing it, you're getting good word on everything. There's something, a chance. We gave big pop to it early. There was no reaction.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Early, I knew, this pitcher's fucking feeling it today.
These guys throwing mud.
And you step in there and you try to really turn on it. But I think
Fighting.
even from his first pitch,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That thing was moving.
Yeah, that thing dropped from the sky. Curveball, strike one.
And there was a couple times where I even stepped out of the batter's box.
Hold on.
Gave
Look down the first baseline, see what coaches think.
what are we doing?
Do I bunt?
Excuse me.
What's the deal?
Please.
Barry Zito's on the hill,
And then he fucking came with another one.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Look, Wakefield comes in for the third pitch. You got a knuckler. You got no chance.
We kind of had an expectation, by the way,
Oh, yeah.
going into the show.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll get him back.
Hey, up from here.
Hey, next time I face that pitcher, I'm gonna come better prepared.
Yeah, you're sitting dead red.
I'm gonna have a little bit more tape on the wrist.
Oh,
A
yeah.
little more pine tar on the bat.
Maybe you have 2 bats.
Bro, I'm coming with a list of questions.
Yeah.
Just straight up.
Separate sheet.
We're doing Q&A right now.
Yeah.
I gotta remember that. I can up my game. There is a couple pitches to get me. That's one. That was like a knuckler. That was also
Just dancing.
Exactly.
potentially.
Like a 95-mile-per-hour knuckleball.
That was Wakefield and fucking Randy
Yeah.
came together.
Combined.
Yeah, it was a bird-killing knuckleball.
Exactly. Thing was moving.
The YouTube comment section seems to be enjoying it.
Of course they are.
Shout out.
I'm sure they are. Shout out. Let's go to some phone calls.
Yeah. Go.
Let's get to a break. Dude. Let's go to a phone call. It's hard for me to hold it together right now. I am having a good time.
Yeah. This is awesome.
Zig in Mississippi, what's going on, man?
Go.
Pat and the boys, what's the word?
Hey, just hanging out, Zig. What do you want to talk about, man? Please.
Well, first of all, I called yesterday. Call got dropped. I was out in the Kill, Mississippi.
Sick.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I do remember that. Thanks for calling back. Happy to have you back on, pal.
First of all, I just wanted to say how much I appreciate you guys, how much y'all really helped me keep my head up. I haven't been able to see my daughter in about 2 months, and every Monday I drive 120 miles round trip to not get her. But I listen to y'all, and y'all keep me laughing and happy, so I really appreciate what y'all do.
Well, hey, we're lucky to be a part of it. Thanks for having us a part of that. We appreciate you for that. Now, granted, I want to let you know what we just did is not going to be good for the ride. You know what I mean? What we just did there with Rondale Moore, maybe a little bit of a 3-4 minute turnoff there. But we do appreciate you, man. We appreciate you a lot. What do you want to talk about?
We're going to plow right through that, boys. No worries. I just want to really understand the realistic expectations for us Saints fans with Jameis. Yeah, he threw for 5,000 yards. He couldn't see when he did it, but it's whatever. I just don't know how much faith to really put in a guy that just, you've seen him in Tampa, and he wasn't the guy and all this stuff. All the tools that Sean Payton's able to create and put around and put the players in the best position, do we really, really think he's going to be the best one? I think Taysom needs time. I like he can learn behind Jameis, but I don't know.
Hey, you think he could learn behind Hey, you think he would need more time to learn behind Jameis? He just had Drew Brees for, 4 years?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, though. I mean, were they using him as an actual quarterback at that time, or was he just that gadget guy? Hey, go fling the rock 60 yards.
Okay, hold on now, Zig here real quick.
Come on.
The Taysom Hill, you would want him to no longer be the gadget person and just sit on the sideline with a clipboard behind Jameis then?
Possibly for now.
Zig.
I really do. We got Kamara out there. I mean, you put him in between the tackles, he can still make a miss. You put him in space, no one's touching him. I mean, I don't give a shit what you got.
Yeah, good call there, Zig. The thing about it, though, is when Taysom comes jogging on the field, the other team's job is there's defensive assistants and scouts that are telling them the personnel that's coming on the field so that then they can send out the right defense, whether it's a sub, nickel, dime, whatever the hell they want to do. When Taysom comes on the field, you have no idea if he's X, Y, you have no idea if he's an H, you have no idea if he's a running back or the fucking quarterback. Yeah. You have no clue what he is. So that is an added layer to that Saints offense. People say, oh, Kamara can do. Believe me, I'm a big Kamara fan. Kamara can do things that Taysom Hill cannot do. He's an absolute stud. But when he comes on the field, there's added layers to it. Like they don't know if they're in the right defense, for instance, for what he's doing. Sean Payton, who's a great play designer, then takes advantage of that, expects that type of thing. So although I understand that you might see like the 7-8 plays that he runs on offense or whatever and puts them on repeat as something that maybe it doesn't work. Like the RPOs, there was a couple fumbles, I guess, sometimes. Mm-hmm. But there's different layers to that whole thing. Now, do I think Taysom Hill could be an NFL quarterback? I think there's been a lot of people that have been NFL quarterbacks that have just been NFL quarterbacks. I think if you watched Taysom Hill last year, there was a game where he ran for 2 touchdowns, threw for under 100, right? And they won. Yep, I think it was against Denver.
When Denver was playing the receiver at quarterback.
Yeah, right. So, no, I don't think that was the same game. Was it?
Zuber Mahenzi was at quarterback for the Denver Broncos.
The kid from Wake Forest.
Yeah. 1 for 9, 3 picks.
By the way, electrifying game. It was an electrifying game there. But then the second game, it was the same type of Taysom Hill. The third game, I think it was against the Eagles. I'm not 100% sure. But he started dropping back and in rhythm, he was throwing the ball. It was on time. He was letting it fly because in college, what somebody being open versus what is open in the NFL is vastly different. You have to throw to spots. And then that next game, he went back to holding on to the ball or whatever. So is it him mentally not being or not having enough reps as an NFL quarterback because he's doing all the other stuff? Maybe. Is it maybe that he's not like an elite NFL quarterback because there's only a few of them? Maybe that's the case. But Sean Payton likes Taysom Hill a lot. Yeah. I mean, he just signed him for 4 years, $160 million.
Whoa.
Yeah. All voidable years.
Oh, okay.
Which that's not a contract then.
No.
I think that is just like a
monopoly money.
That is a script for something.
Yeah.
That is not real life there. But Jameis Winston, if he is given the keys to the car here with LASIK eyeballs.
Yes.
With the Drew Brees motivational speech, this is your team now.
That's right.
Yeah. Maybe Jameis goes and lights it up.
Yeah, I think he could.
I think so too.
Threw a touchdown. Now his workouts are absurd.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand that he's no stone unturned. I'm gonna work hard on everybody, but all that shit where he's doing it, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Okay, and if he's not trolling the internet, and that's actually his workout, and he's very confident in him, even more so that I like him. But with his eyes being fixed, Sean Payton down there, Mike Thomas, Kamara, plus Taysom Hill options down there. I mean, it feels like Jameis could really give it a go next year.
Taysom's just too important to their offense, too, I think. Like, he's one of the few guys in the NFL who can be successful, like, all over the field. And like you said, Jameis, I mean, he really hasn't gotten an opportunity since he got the LASIK. He's got one of the best receivers in the NFL.
Threw a touchdown in playoffs.
Threw a touchdown in the playoffs. He's got one of the best running backs in the NFL. Their line's pretty good. Their defense is pretty solid. I think Jameis could lead them to a playoff berth.
Now, they did have to cut 25 people to get on the
did.
salary cap, so that
They
team
did.
might look a little different. But, Zig, I think you should have a little bit of faith in Jameis, and then if he stinks, then bury him.
Put in Taysom.
Do what you got to do, Zig. We have some updates from some pro days. Justin Fields at Ohio State just ran a 4.44.
Whoa.
40.
Damn.
Okay, that's hand time, so that's anywhere between a 4.40 and a 4.60 then if you want to get that right. Fast 40, though. The guy can move. I think that proves what everybody has thought about him from an athletic standpoint. He can fly around. I think his biggest knock is that he has to wait for the player to be open. He doesn't what was
Anticipate.
that? Anticipation, yeah. His anticipation isn't great. That came out of nowhere, by the way, because he was the number 2 overall quarterback for 7 months.
Yeah.
He was the number 2 overall quarterback. We got Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, then who's next? Mack Jones wasn't even in conversation at that point. Then he runs Sarkisian's NFL offense last year. 2 Heisman finalists on the thing, 1 Heisman winner on there. He's there. Now all of a sudden Justin Fields like, this guy, maybe not an NFL guy, he's dropped down. Could be all bullshit, but I like the thought that Justin Fields gets a chance to put on a show today because the only conversation around him has been bad ones since he was the overall number 2 guy in everybody's eyes.
And the Niners are doing they requested a second pro day, I believe, with
so what's
Justin
that?
Fields.
Like, this is...
You not see enough?
No, it's one of these things where the second pro day...
Yeah, like
I don't understand what it is.
Do they not-
Is this because the COVID combine thing, like, hey, we're going to have you have another one because these GMs want to come to this one? Well, why weren't you at the first one? Well, because there's 2 on one day. You know, so then Saban's like, yeah, fuck, we'll open it up to, we'll do 70.
I was going to say, do you think it's that, or do you think it's because there are so many draftable players that maybe certain guys didn't get enough looks on the previous pro day?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Because I assume Alabama's probably got, like 40 guys potentially that can get drafted?
Yeah, and everybody, the stars steal the show here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Zach Wilson stole all the TV time. There was a wide receiver that was running out there that probably got himself in like top 3 round conversation.
I think he sat out, or he graduated last year, and because of COVID didn't have a pro day or anything like that. He got signed by the Panthers right after that workout.
Yeah, so these pro days are a big deal. Mm-hmm. You find a lot of guys that are going to end up on punt teams that never played punt in these pro days. Mm-hmm. That's why they're running those 3 cone drills. That you just got like special teams coach. Well, I think he could pass that if he had to. Absolutely. He can fucking cover a punt. Yeah, he can cover
The next Adam Thielen. Who knows?
Adam Thielen had to go to a regional day that he had to pay $600 to get to.
Yep.
Now look at him. Nobody else has ever come from those and had success.
Don't forget that, Sam Darnold.
Hey.
When you're out there.
By the way, if Sam Darnold ends up in fan-crazed football...
Oh, man.
I'll be bummed about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
He does not deserve that.
No.
And by the way, if Sam Darnold is in fan-crazed football, do not be diving after that ball either. You do exactly what Manziel did.
Yeah.
You keep your arms in place. We got to get to a break. This is the Pat McAfee Show. Did you hear everything that was being said whenever you were potentially...
Just from you.
Oh, so you did hear it. Yeah. Okay. So let's address it.
Hold on.
All right.
You can be a hater.
No.
And you can change.
Carson.
You can change. We can change your
No,
opinion.
at the moment I was at, okay, Carson. You know, with the Daily Show, the live Daily Show, you know, we can potentially get referred to as prisoners of the moment. You probably did hear me say some things. That was at a much different time.
Backtrack a little.
No, No,
It's cool. We're here face to face. You can change. People change, all right?
By the way, you are much bigger than I thought you were. Oh, yeah. When Jalen gets drafted there, was that the beginning of it all? Was there a miscommunication? What happened between you and Doug? Because they were saying it was fractured beyond repair.
Yeah.
What happened there? Is all of that accurate? Is that all kind of getting blown out of proportion?
Yeah.
And where did it start?
For one, I don't like to ever come out and say reporters aren't telling the truth because I don't. But
Orlovsky does it.
I'm not. I'm not going to dispute every report that's out there. The way the season went obviously wasn't ideal. When Jalen was drafted, that had no bearing on me. I trusted the organization. Okay. I signed that contract. I was devoted to them, and I felt like they were devoted to me. So I trusted the pick. That had no bearing on my confidence or my abilities. The season unfolded not how I would have liked it. Personally, I could have played better. We lost a lot of games at the end and just didn't fall into place the way we wanted. But there's a lot to learn from it, as a man, as a player, and all those things. And, I have still a lot of respect for Coach Peterson. And I think, without a doubt, those reports are very exaggerated. Like I said, I don't hear a lot of them. They come to my attention from my agents or different things.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of respect for him. And it was unfortunate for everybody and how the whole thing kind of just went down.
There was a couple still shots that made its way around where you and Doug Peterson appeared to be giving each other a nasty look.
I saw those.
It's not true.
Not true at all.
Oh, you were not saying, I wish you died. With your
I don't even think I was looking at him in those shots. So I did see that. I'm like, of course, they're going to play this one up. They're gonna make a story out of anything. That's how it is. So, but yeah, that's not true at all.
Okay, so I'm happy to hear you weren't giving Doug Peterson death looks. Like, you never thought, like, oh, football isn't for me. Like, there was never a thought where I don't like football anymore, or I don't want to be in this bullshit league anymore with this business. There was never a thought like that?
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. The way the season went, I mean, it was frustrating. And
People
so
have those moments.
that's why I stepped away, and it almost rejuvenated me. It's almost like last year pissed me off so much. I want to come back in a different way and do everything I can. I am thrilled to be here and to have this new start, new opportunity. And community seems amazing. Fan base seems amazing. Like we said, it seems like the perfect fit.
Thank you. I'll tell you what, it's pretty cool. Roger Goodell gave me a big hug beforehand, too, so that's good news there. Thank you so much. Shane, you drinking? Yeah. Cheers to you, man. That was a good one. That was good. I feel like it went pretty good. Oh, look at the phone.
McAfee at the top of the key. 5 seconds. 4 seconds. Step back. 3 for the win. It's good! Splash! It's not Sunday because the bank is open!
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to that show. For those that are wondering, yes, the commercial break was pretty lively. A lot of questions about, how do we change things around here? Somebody tweeted that they've never seen somebody more uninterested in being on the show, and they watch AJ Hawk every day.
That's good.
Rondell Moore will be back on the show.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. We are gonna step back in the batter's box with Rondell Moore. Hopefully, I hope.
Yeah, we'll see.
Looking forward to it.
You know what else I'm looking forward to?
What's that?
Hold on, this is a little bit. We need something a little more upbeat for this. There it is. Hey, the average American spends $200 a month on subscriptions.
Whoa!
Yeah, but they think they spend closer to $80 a month. That's
true.
That's why the folks at Truebill are on a mission to meaningfully improve the financial health of millions of everyday people.
Okay.
Did you hear what they said?
Yeah.
That's why the folks at Truebill are on a mission to meaningfully improve the financial health of millions of everyday people. They will find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, lower bills, and track your budgets all in one place.
Oh, I need that.
Hey.
Truebill safely and securely gathers all your accounts into one place, identifies recurring expenses, notifies you of your upcoming bills, and most importantly, will cancel subscriptions for you if you don't use them.
Yes.
They can even negotiate your bills for you, rent, cable, etc. Nobody has time to negotiate all day with a cable provider, so Truebill will actually do it for you. The average Truebill user saves over $700 a year.
My God.
Truebill helps you visualize your ratio of earnings to spend and sends friendly notifications when you've exceeded your budget. Plus, they can keep track of small changes to your credit score to help manage your financial decisions.
Okay.
Truebill.
Hey, this is a big fucking deal here. So goodbye to forgotten free trials, subscription fatigue, and living paycheck to paycheck for no reason. Truebill, the all-in-one financing app, has everything you need to take control over your financial life. Go to get.truebill.com/Pat. That's get.truebill.com/Pat to sign up today and stop wasting money. That's really nice of them.
Yeah.
I'm all in on that.
I need that.
The average Truebill user saves $700 a year. Hi, there's a couple pairs of shoes,
Right.
nice shoes you want, a couple of nights out.
Yeah.
If you're getting back out, the Amazon that you can do for $700.
Ooh,
Come on.
some Oculus games.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on. That's a lot of money, $700. Or just pay bills. Do whatever you got to do. Just don't pay the bills that you don't need. That's what Truebill's for. They say, hey, you're getting scammed, bamboozled, fugazied. Let's end that right now. Shout out to Truebill. Welcome back to the show. The Pro Day pictures are becoming something to talk about. Right now, currently, Bill Belichick is standing at a Pro Day next to John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, and Josh McDaniels. So the internet immediately starts to buzz. First of all, they look good, by the way. Shout out all of them, had a good offseason. Bill Belichick had a gator on, had it down. Want to make sure everybody could see because he knows that communication is 80% nonverbal or whatever. So he wanted to make sure everybody heard what he's saying. But then it immediately goes, is Jimmy Garoppolo going back to the New England Patriots?
Whoa.
Why is Bill Belichick laughing and smiling with John Lynch? Are they thinking about making another move down there? Or are they just maybe catching up, having a conversation? We'll never know. Let's assume that they're all dialed in on football. Every conversation revolves around football at some point. But those guys standing around each other, especially at a pro day where another quarterback's working out, you can't help but wonder. And Joe Brady's there. Matt Rule just seemed to lead the conversation. The Carolina Panthers, who are also in the quarterback market, were in there. What's going on at these pro days? Is it actually college kids working out? Or is it potentially because the combine didn't happen here in Indianapolis where the NFL spring break gets to take place, where everybody gets to chit-chat and bullshit?
Yeah.
Is that just happening now, satellite-like, for all these pro days? Feels like that's a much bigger, important part of this thing other than the people just running 40s and everything.
From the look on Bill's face, it seems to be one of those like, oh, do you think Jimmy G would take a $20 million pay cut? And I think they're saying no. And he's like,
That's what we do.
You know?
That's what we do.
Yeah.
You guys need to get into that game. Maybe that's what Bill is telling them. Like, hey, guys, you need to get into the game where you tell your quarterback that, yeah, they could get paid this, but what we're going to do is pay them nothing.
Yeah.
And that's what you guys need to start doing. We can all start doing that. It'll help us all out, I think. Or maybe there is a conversation. Kyle Shanahan's holding his bucks. John Lynch got his bucks in his hand.
Yeah.
They just stopped before they got here. Let me go ahead and get a Trenti, Venti, Latte, Hottie.
Hell yeah.
Okay?
Hell yeah.
They're getting juiced up. Bill Belichick wearing a polo, just got off the course. How you doing? Keep it moving. Josh McDaniels like, still here. You know what I mean? Still the same old song and dance. Been doing it for 20 years, okay? And then maybe they are discussing, though. Maybe there is a discussion about Jimmy G right now happening. And maybe Jimmy G gets moved by the end of the day.
Well, you know, he might be asking about Kendrick Bourne, too. And Shanahan and Lynch would be like, why the hell did you pay that guy 3 years for $22 million?
Is that what you think? Do you think they're haters? Do you think Lynch and Shanahan are haters?
I don't think they're haters at all, but I mean,
Wow.
they just spent $135 million on one player. I know how Bill feels about that.
Let's go to Nick in New Jersey. What's going on, Nick?
Oh, hi there, boys.
Oh, hey there,
Shout out
pal.
to the YouTube comment section.
Shout out.
You guys are such a blessing to so many people. I don't think you even know it.
Rondell Moore
Shout out to everyone who's listening. Shout out to the boys and your family. Quick to my point. Louv means egg in French, and that's why it's 0. 15 is because usually it would be a game played by with hands, and when you hit the ball, you would move 15 feet up, and then you would move another 15 feet up, giving you 30 feet, and then you would move another 15, but the net's there, so you only moved up 40, giving you 5 feet in front of the net.
Wow.
Jesus. Thank you, Nick. That's tennis scoring, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh.
Louvre means egg, which means love.
0.
Louvre is the paint art museum.
That's right.
That's right.
That's Louvre.
Pyramid.
Love is egg. Is that what that means?
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. And then you move up in the hands thing.
Yeah, 15 feet every point.
But you can't move the last 15 because the net's there. So maybe when they did the scoring, why didn't they do 10 feet you move instead of 15 each time, I wonder. And this is a conversation from yesterday a lot of people probably did not hear.
Right.
But I do appreciate Nick coming in and fact-checking that the scoring for tennis does have a rhyme or reason. We just thought it was potentially completely fucking dumb.
But
Turns out it's not.
I don't understand it because not every guy's scoring points running up to the net playing the volley.
Right.
Yeah, but the game has changed, dude.
And at the end of the game, you
But
walk
the
up to
players
the net
are
and
the
shake
same.
hands.
No, the game's changed. You don't get it.
So the scorekeeper's
guess.
a guy walking up and down the court?
Yeah, and then it seems like, that's what you want. You want your guy or lady to move up. That's what you want them to do.
The scorekeeper sits in the middle, so you kind of have to walk to the middle
To get to them, to give them the
tell 'em.
So that's
Hey, 15.
so you walk.
Yeah.
And then it's like, come on, I got a message.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then you go 15 more. And it's like, I'll go 15 more. They're like, well, stop. Because the person's there and you say, we win.
It's like Candyland.
There you go.
And then you switch sides.
Exactly.
You go the other
Yeah.
side. And sometimes you just stand there all the time if your person's doing bad.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Because you're right there with the egg. You got egg on your face.
Oh, yeah.
Because you didn't score.
Back to the start.
And you look like an egg because you have
And then
0.
whenever they would both get there, you know what I mean? It was like, all right, now what do we do? Well, it's deuce.
Take a
Deuce.
deuce.
Because there's two of them.
Yeah.
So then
they both take
So
dumps.
then they take a step, and it's like, well, I have the advantage.
Oh.
And then the other person's like, not anymore, bitch. We're
Yeah.
back to deuce. And it's like, well, I got the advantage. And then,
Okay.
And that's tennis.
That makes sense.
We got to get to a break.
Welcome to the game.
That's how we're
Welcome
on.
to the game.
Shout out Nick in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick. 26,000 people watching roughly. What are you doing? We have no idea what this next hour is going to bring us, but we do know Pierre Maguire will be joining us. Pierre, you know what? Always a good conversation.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I do think he's potentially going to be exhausted because I think they've been working their asses off with this hockey season, which has been going on. We'll talk to Pierre on the other side, plus more of your phone calls. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Tuesday, March 30th, 2021. Today's event is me versus a Carolina Reaper pepper. A pepper that has what?
2.2 million Scoville on average. I think it's pretty much the hottest pepper in the world.
In comparison, a jalapeno is
6,000 Scoville.
for every second after it is in my mouth, I don't grab this milk. We'll give $25 to a random person in the comments section right now. $4,500 feels like a good amount to give away, though. And that'd
3
be
minutes.
3 minutes. This is going to be a long 3 minutes.
That's redder than devil's dick. That crunch. How we doing so far? Doesn't look too bad.
I should have taken a drink of water beforehand, though, because I think I had a dry mouth. I had a little cotton mouth. Oh.
Oh, okay. Once the hiccups start, I think you're just about done for. What's your biggest regret in life? Do you have 2 more minutes in you?
I think it's just starting to hit like the peak. The curve on this thing is just starting to go up.
You are handling this much better than Bill did, though. You are, yeah. Billy Tubes was puking 10 seconds in. 130. 130.
It's burning my esophagus.
Do you feel like you're gonna puke? And that milk looks ice cold too.
No!
Fear that broke my heart. Hey, one more. Yep. Now we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dance with me. How you feel now?
A little bit better, but not great. Oh, God. That's a bad idea. I need more. I need more milk. Oh, God, God. Yikes.
I heard you had $6 left in your account. Is that accurate?
It is. Current balance is $6.
Do me a favor and refresh that.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. That's crazy. Wow. Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much. I'm going to call my mom.
Let's go, dude. Jaleel, how are you doing on this beautiful day now that you're a new millionaire, Jaleel?
Man, it's truly a blessing, especially in the middle of a pandemic.
And how did this whole thing kind of unfold here with FanDuel?
I woke up Monday morning, got a call. I actually didn't answer because I didn't know the number. So, fortunately...
$1 million is calling?
Yeah.
Fuck 'em.
Right, you know.
Hey, this money is not supposed to happen like this, okay?
Right. It's just now starting to set in, like, I'm really a millionaire now.
Yay! Jaleel! How much will go back into betting, you think? Because, by the way, they're giving out another $1 million. Maybe it'll be Jaleel again. Hey, maybe you go 2 for Rocker.
I'll definitely place a few more bets. You know, I don't know if I'll win as much or anything at all, but it's truly amazing. Once again, it's amazing.
Jaleel, congratulations. Enjoy this. I hope you win the next one, by the way. And if not you, obviously somebody else.
Thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate it. Definitely was not expecting it, man. It's crazy.
FanDuel, your favorite sports book, yeah?
Definitely.
Yeah, I would assume. What do you do day to day? Are you going to continue doing that? What do you do day to day?
Yeah, I plan on still working.
It's going to be hard not to tell your boss, though, today, I'd assume.
Man.
Hey, get over there, Jaleel. Hey, hey, how about not? How about you get over there now?
I think you should go out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jaleel Harden, congrats.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show here on Tuesday, March 30th, 2021, years after the birth of Jesus Christ. Hour 2 on SiriusXM and YouTube will begin right now. Shout out to Twine for that beat drop. In the first hour, while we were talking to Rondale Moore and covering all the things happening in the world of sports and the world in other worlds in the first hour. I guess there has been a lot coming out of these pro days that are happening at Ohio State, and Alabama is also holding another pro day. Devonte Smith, Heisman winning wide receiver from Alabama. He was running routes today, but will not run a 40. Nobody knows what that's all about. Maybe it's just because he doesn't want to have to train for the 40. Maybe he's running routes because at the original pro day, he wasn't going to do anything. This time, he said, all right, I'll run some. Maybe some teams asked him, like, hey, we're going to be in town. Is there any way you could do this? He said, you got it. I did see some completions from Mack Jones to Devonte Smith, but the internet has been saying that Mack Jones stinks.
Oh, no.
That's what the internet has been saying. We have not watched, so I want to let you know that this is, once again, not our opinion. This is not, I'm just observing and reporting. This second pro day for Mack Jones was allegedly supposed to be one where he's going to be throwing from uncomfortable positions, off-balance throws. I assume this is an answer to the Zach Wilson crossbody, one-hop, 55-yard ball that people are comparing to the Sam Darnold throw in the game. It was just about 30 yards further than that. Mm-hmm. So it was an incredible throw. I assume this is why it was being talked about as Mack Jones off-balance day, because everybody thought he's a guy who, as long as the pocket's good, he could be good. But in the NFL today, quarterbacks have to be able to move. And you heard all these quarterback gurus on television who might have seen a lot of themselves in Mack Jones and said, you know, this guy, more athletic than you think he is. This guy will be able to scramble and make plays if he has to. I seen the film. Today was supposed to be about that. The big story, Justin Fields runs 4.44. That's a conversation. I don't know if he's throwing at some point today or not. I'd assume he will be. He looks absolutely yoked on the screen. We just turned it on. And the other story is that Mack Jones has not done as well as some people think that he should have done. So pro days, in my eyes, have always been mostly bullshit. Okay?
Yeah.
They're ways to work out, showcase your athletic abilities. But I always thought maybe scouts take it very serious. But when it comes to coaches, GMs, like nothing's going to get ruined by a pro day. But then last week, because there was no combine and because these pro days have been amplified so much by the NFL scouts and by NFL GMs, they're like, Zach Wilson is throwing for the number 2 overall pick today. And I was like, we're putting a lot of heat on a pro day. Now, that combine, this is also basically a combine too, because they didn't have the combine because Uncle COVID. But if you put that much upside on a pro day where this person could potentially lock in number 2 overall pick, you have to also then in return, because every action has an equal and opposite reaction, I believe, then you would have to think if Zach Wilson had a bad pro day, is he doomed then?
Right, drop.
And with the conversation that's happening around this Mack Jones pro day, I saw some good throws. I guess he has not looked fantastic, though. I can't reiterate enough. We were not able to watch it because we're doing the show for this whole thing. Is he potentially dropping out now? Is this becoming the Mack Jones comes out of nowhere as a superstar? He has one bad pro day in shorts and a T-shirt thrown off balance. Now he's gone again. This is very interesting if this is how people are judging the next 10 to 15 years of their franchise, which is what you would think you'd be doing with a first-round quarterback pick.
And we were just saying right before we came back, our quarterbacks who go to Alabama set up for too much success, where whenever they, you watch the table, well, they got the best wide receivers and the best line in the league.
Well, yeah, it's almost like a detriment.
Yeah.
Because I saw the ball, he threw a deep ball. It was a double move. He threw a pump fake, and then he threw like a 55-yard deep ball to Devonte Smith or whatever, and it was a good ball, it seemed like. That's from today's pro day. And everybody, I think, on the internet that's saying Mack Jones isn't doing well is like, anybody can throw the ball at Devonte Smith. That's tough. It's like every quarterback from Alabama, though. It's like anybody can be a quarterback when you got Derrick Henry in the backfield. Anybody can be a quarterback when you got Trent Richardson in college back there. Anybody can be a quarterback when you got the best offensive lineman. It's almost like they have to overcome more and more. But this Mack Jones hype came out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
After today, I'll be excited to see what it is. That guy might get buried tomorrow on television.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. I hope not. It's just a pro day. Let's relax a little bit. Joining us now is one of the voices of the NHL, a man that we've had on this show who is a hilarious dude, has had every job in the NHL. Now he does an incredible job commentating every single night on NBC and NBC Sports Network. Ladies and gentlemen, Pierre McGuire.
Yeah, Pierre!
Pierre, how you doing, pal?
I'm excellent, Pat. How are you doing?
Hey, it's in our world, not in the hockey world, but I would assume the same thing. Do you guys have a combine, and is there how does that whole process go in the NHL?
There usually is a combine, Pat. Because of COVID, they didn't have a combine last year. They usually invite the top 105 players in the world to a combine in Buffalo, New York, and they go forward from there. And it's a lot. It's not so much on-ice stuff. It's off-ice stuff. It's conditioning work and max VO2s and strength tests and flexibilities and things like that. But we do have a combine, yes.
Does that, aside from them passing whatever physical test that you would hope that they would have to pass with the VO2 testing and everything like that, is that big of a deal, or does the tape carry more weight? Because let me tell you, in our world right now, in the NFL worlds right now, we're in the middle of draft coverage, and we'll get to hockey soon with you because you're the best in the business to talk about. But you've been a scout, you've been a coach, you've been in this whole thing in your world. There's been a couple guys that have come out of nowhere since the season ended, right? Like come out of nowhere, like, hey, this is going to be the guy. Now there's a couple pro days. A guy did bad today. It's like, how much does that really affect him if his film was so good a week ago? You know, like how do you, as a scout in the NHL, I would assume the NFL operates the same way. How much does one workout really crush you if you do bad?
Not that much, to be honest with you. I think conditioning levels matter. It shows a little bit of the character. It shows your determination. It shows where you fit in with an organization. But I think a big part of the process is being consistent throughout the year, Pat, and also what your interviews are like when you meet with the director of player personnel, or you meet with the general manager, you meet with the head coach of an organization. Those meetings matter probably a little bit more than what your workout would matter.
Yeah, and I think the hockey culture is so much different than every other sport. It feels like, and I might be wrong, but is that a sport where even as a kid you're told, like, you cannot be confident with how good you are, you cannot tell anybody, like you can be inner confidence, but we don't need you. It feels like there's a massive amount of respect whenever players talk about themselves or about their sport or anything like that. It feels like hockey is a much different culture than everybody else.
Well, I can't speak for the other sports, but I can tell you there's a humility to a hockey player that makes me really proud. The way they carry themselves, the way they conduct themselves with the media. Most of the players that we have in our sport, whether they come from Russia, Sweden, Finland, Czech Republic, Canada, the United States, a lot of them come from smaller area backgrounds. They usually have to move to big cities. They leave home when they're very young. They establish a level of maturity probably by the time they're 16 and 17 that you probably wouldn't see in the rest of society, only because they've had to move. They've had to be educated in different places. They've had to go to teams. And sometimes if they're playing junior hockey, they've been traded by the time they're 16 or 17. And it's a totally different world. So I think you have to grow up a very quick manner when you're in hockey.
Well, and I think also you don't really hear, like, there's great personalities that come out of hockey, right? There's great personalities, hockey players, great personalities post-hockey, but you never really hear the players ever bash the sport. You know what I mean? It's always, the sport is almost always lifted. And I think that was highlighted when the Tim Peel situation happened. Like, I do believe whenever something like, if something like that was to happen in football in the NFL, all ex-players, coaches would have been like, yeah, I lost my job because a ref did something like that, or we lost a playoff game. But in hockey, it felt like most of the people that were in hockey came out and they're like, no, this is how the game is. Like, the respect level for the nuances of hockey, I think just something that everybody carries that's a part of it.
Well, I think everybody understands that it's not an easy sport to officiate, number one. Number two, there's no out of bounds in our sport. And number three, the referees are involved in the play. I mean, there's hitting, and guys, sometimes referees are getting severely hurt in some of these games. So I think there's mutual respect. That being said, is it easy to see what happened with Tim? No, it's not. I mean, he had a distinguished and long career. He refereed over 1,000 games in the National Hockey League. But I would say, again, that there's a lot of respect, I think, from our players to the officials, from our management people to the officials, and from the officials back to the game. The officials are not making the millions that the players or the coaches are making, and they really respect the game, and they want to do the very best job they can.
I feel like everybody, though, is like that. The hockey community is a very cool one. It's like I feel like it's a tight-knit group, and it's interesting because fighting is allowed in the sport. So it's an interesting thing. In the NHL right now, what do we have going on? I know the Pens are about to win it all, huh? That's what's going on right now, Pierre?
Well, the Pens are doing outstanding well. When you consider all the injury situations, Pat, that they've had to deal with, it's been phenomenal. No Evgeny Malkin, no Chris Tanev, no Mark Jankowski, no Teddy Bluger. They just got Brian Dumoulin back a bunch of games ago, and their record with Brian Dumoulin in the lineup's been outstanding. So I got to tell you, Pat, the Penguins have been very, very good. The Washington Capitals have been very, very good. The Tampa Bay Lightning have been very, very good. We got a lot. Colorado Avalanche have been off the charts good. So Vegas is good. We got a lot of teams that are real good right now, Pat.
Wow. Thank you. No, sticky mitts. Don't worry about it, Pierre. The Ovechkin just became the leading goal scorer of all time. Is that right?
No, but he's on his way. He's on his way.
Hey, he's greatest goal scorer of all time?
He's on his way.
So that seems like that is maybe a conversation piece. Let's dive in. We all know Sidney Crosby, greatest hockey player of all time, facilitator, goal scorer, everything like that. You don't have to agree, but let's just get past that because what we're talking about right now. Ovechkin, if he ends his career all-time leading scorer in your eyes, like, okay, he's the greatest goal scorer of all time, is that what has to happen?
Yeah, I think so. The hard part's going to be staying healthy enough and keeping the Washington Capitals young enough so that Alexander can get to where Wayne Gretzky's numbers are right now. It's not going to be easy. Obviously, he's an older guy. He was drafted in 2004. He's 18 years old then, so that's a lot of miles on the odometer.
Jeez.
That being said, his shot is lethal. Washington's power play is very good. He's still got Nick Backstrom there. He's still got, a very good supporting cast there. He's got a coach that really believes in up-tempo offense and Peter Laviolette. So does he have an opportunity to do it? The answer is absolutely yes, he does, Pat.
Well, okay. Do you want to give an opinion on whether or not if he was to play back in the day, he would be, what do you think?
Well, there's a difference. One of the big differences is we took the red line out in 2005. That allowed for the stretch pass, and that opened up a lot. I can't even imagine the numbers that Wayne Gretzky or Mario Lemieux would have put up without the red line, or Bobby Orr or Paul Coffey. The numbers would have been skewed tremendously. Jaromir Jagr without a red line in his prime, I can't even imagine. When he was putting up huge scoring numbers, it was tackle football on ice. So things have changed pretty significantly without the red line.
Okay, this is kind of like the NBA thing too, because the NBA has opened up rules to make it easier to score and everything, and all the old school fans are like, hey, if they were to play now, well, let's assume Sidney and Ovechkin would have figured out how to play red line hockey.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's.
They would have.
Okay.
100%.
All right, good, Pierre. I appreciate that. I thought we were potentially going to get a little, you know what I mean? I thought we were potentially going to get into it a little bit there.
Well, Ovechkin would have figured it out too. He would have. I mean, it wasn't easy to score back then. It wasn't easy to get to the net back then either.
Hey, he will skate backwards. I saw him the other night. He skated for like 3/4 of the fucking entire rink. He was skating backwards down the side, like getting to his spot or whatever, where he was great. It was one of the most impressive things. I still think, and this might be completely, you have to learn how to be better on ice than when you walk when you play hockey, right? Like that is, so like you have to be an elite skater, right? That is rule number one through anything if you want to make it to the NHL.
If you watch the most dominant offensive players in the game today, their edge work and their speed is phenomenal. Crosby's one of those players. Connor McDavid out in Edmonton's one of those players. Mitchell Marner, Austin Matthews in Toronto, Nathan McKinnon out in Colorado. He's a human highlight reel. I mean, you go around. There's a young player in Minnesota, Kirill Kaprizov. His edge work is as good as anybody's in the league. So honestly, skating is a huge dynamic in our sport, but also balance and edge control and strength in your feet. The New Jersey Devils under Lou Lamoriello, Pat, had the best saying of all time. They had a legendary scout working there. His name was David Conti. He still works. He works for the New York Islanders now for Lou Lamoriello. They used to call it hockey strong. They used to get smaller guys, Zach Parise, Sergei Brylin, Andy Green, smaller guys. Yeah, Brian Rafalski, big guys, lower, stout bodies. And man, oh man, were they good on their feet. So it didn't matter how tall they were, it mattered how strong they were on their feet. And that's a big part of it.
So when you're coming up through hockey and you're trying to make it as either a kid or college or whatever the case, junior hockey player, and you said that the physical is testing the VO2 level. So that's like putting on that mask and basically figuring out how big their lungs are. Is that the number one? Conditioning is the number one part of hockey?
I think core strength and conditioning is a huge part of it in terms of being able to compete physically. But the brain also matters too, Pat. You know, you see the most cerebral quarterbacks. Let's just go to your sport. The most cerebral quarterbacks, they don't have to be the fastest guy. They maybe don't have to have the strongest arm, but they know when they can fit a ball into a tight window or not. They know how to read the defense. So that cerebral ability matters in football, and it matters in hockey too. Sidney Crosby's brain is insane for the game. It is. It's unbelievably insane for the game.
And by the way, great sport to have good vision too, because, you know, like highlights are made. Soccer's another one where Zidane Zidane, for instance, Zizou used to have great vision. So he was bigger. He maybe his cardio wasn't as great as everybody else, but he used to be able to have great vision. Hockey's one where if you have great vision, there's highlights that can be made. It's almost like it's one of those things that is like spotlighted, like, oh, look at this nasty pass in this entire thing.
Well, one of the most glowing examples of that is Wayne Gretzky. And quite frankly, if you ever meet Wayne, you say, what about that play? What about that play? He says, I couldn't tell you how I did it. I just did it because his peripheral vision was so much superior compared to everybody else that he was playing against or with. It was just phenomenal.
Last question before the boys have some questions for you, Pierre McGuire, and we appreciate your time there. Is Marc-Andre Fleury going to score a goal this year or what?
Yeah.
I offered up, I don't know if you know this, I said I'm going to donate $100,000 to a foundation of his choice if he scores this year. And I'm not sure he's even attempted yet. And I want to say, maybe a bad guy.
Wow.
Maybe he hates foundations, you know what I mean?
No, first of all, you know better than anybody being a Penguins fan. Marc-Andre Fleury is one of the best people you'll ever meet.
He's
an
awesome.
amazing human being. I'll give you a quick story about him. His goalie coach in Pittsburgh was a guy named Gilles Malache. And Gilles was a legendary NHL player. And I worked with Gilles when I was working in Pittsburgh. And when Marc-Andre Fleury got his first start in Vegas, he flew Gilles Malache and his wife out from Florida to Vegas just because he thought so much of him and he appreciated the tutelage that Gilles passed on to him over the course of his career. He never told anybody. He just did it. He's just that kind of guy. He's a phenomenal, phenomenal guy. I don't think he will score a goal this year. No, I don't.
Hey, well, listen, kind of good.
Yeah,
Kind of a
not
win.
bad.
I mean, not great for the foundation, great for our business. I did bet quick 1,000 on that, though. They put it up 2,500 to 1 odds or whatever if he'll score. It's hard. It's very difficult, I guess. Because when I asked him about it, I'm like, hey, let's score. You know, he's like, you have to hit it perfectly straight. It has to go over people's heads. I mean, it's not an easy thing or whatever. I'm like, you can make it happen. I love Marc-Andre Fleury. Hope he scores so we can donate. What do you have, Ty?
Pierre, do you think the league has returned to like a state of normalcy this year? Like, are there still fans in a couple stadiums, or is it still kind of eerie when you go to a game and there's really no one in there?
That's such a good question. I've done some games where there have been limited fans in the building, and I've done games where there have been no fans in the building, and it's really different without fans. It's really different with limited fans, but there's still a little bit of jam. There's still a bit of juice when there are some limited fans in there. I do think the league is returning to normalcy. The level of play has been phenomenal. I can't believe some of these teams are playing five. Pittsburgh just finished at 5 games in 7 nights. Tampa Bay, 5 games in 7 nights. Montreal, I think, is about to play 26 games in 43 nights. I can't believe the level of play of these players and the professionalism of our league. So is it returning to normalcy? The answer is yeah, I do. I think it's becoming much more normal.
Hey, that's why you got to test those VO2s.
That's right.
Got 26 games, 43 nights. You boys better learn how to breathe. All right? You guys can't be dying out there. The fans, you said you can tell the difference. In our world, when the Browns had like 27,000 in there and it was a primetime game, it sounded like there was 400,000 people in there. I would assume, and you mentioned it, the limited fans, every little bit helps instead of those super quiet arenas in the bubble up there.
100%. And you can feel it in Pittsburgh. You can feel it in New York. And I know they're feeling it down in Tampa. I haven't done a game there yet, but I've heard from people that have been down there. They're feeling it there. Nashville's the same thing. So the answer, in Vegas, I watched the game from Vegas, and they have fans in there. So the answer is yes. Is it as good as when there's 18,000? No, but it does matter that they're there. Absolutely.
Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Pierre, the greatest team in hockey right now, the Boston Bruins, had to miss some time due to some COVID protocols, probably from playing those stupid Flyers.
Amen.
How hard is it for teams to get back into it when they have to take a couple nights off and then to get their legs back underneath it?
It's really difficult. And you know what? One of the biggest things for the Bruins is they're battling not just COVID, they're battling major injuries, especially in the back end. No Kevin Miller, no Brandon Carlo. Remember, Char moved on to Washington. Torrey Krug moved out to St. Louis.
Are they
so they've
done?
been dealing with some injury situations, too. They just got Jeremy Lauzon back. So Boston's been dealing with a lot of injuries. But I'll tell you what, I really respect the way they do the business, the way they play.
Me too.
They got a big game with New Jersey tonight. They want to get back on the winning track, and maybe they'll be able to do it tonight.
What's the response been to the new divisions? What's within the NHL? The fans hate it, right?
Yeah.
Fans hate it.
Yeah, I think at the beginning everybody was kind of pumped about it just to get hockey back. But now I would say I think people are kind of getting tired of seeing the same teams over and over and over again. So I think the league's going to look at that. I'd be surprised if we had the same kind of divisional play next year.
Pierre, you're the best, dude. What are you doing? Are you about to go skate on the pond a little bit before?
No, I'm about to go to work. I've got to do Carolina and Chicago tonight, and then I'll be in Buffalo tomorrow, and then I'll be back for Carolina and Chicago on Thursday.
You're in Chicago right now?
No, I'm in Connecticut going to do the game at the studio.
Oh, so you've been calling it from studio. How is it? Is it interesting? Do you have more angles than what we see on TV?
No, we don't. But you know what? That being said, it's been better than not being able to call the game, so that's been good. And the producers and directors that we're working with, the young people that are really trying to get in the business, they've done an outstanding job. I've been blown away, not just by the players' professionalism, but by the professionalism of the people behind the scenes. Our young people have been really, really good at this.
Is there a delay, or how's that work? Is the whole game?
No, there's been virtually no delay at all, Pat. And a lot of this technology really was found out, I have to be honest with you, this summer. When I was doing the show with you from Edmonton, and I was doing the games from Edmonton, they were all being produced back in Stamford, Connecticut. And it's the same thing from, so it's amazing. But there really is no delay. It's been pretty amazing.
Can you run replays and everything from where you're at?
We can. But we usually have to take the on-site. So let's just say tonight's game is Carolina and Chicago. We'll take the feed from the Chicago feed. So they'll be doing it locally. Carolina will do it locally. And then our feed will go around the country. We'll take the pictures from the Chicago truck. And that's where when you're the analyst, you got to just be ready for whatever they're going to throw on the screen. And you got to adapt to that.
So I did a remote Thursday Night Football whenever we did it on ESPN, and the game was being shown in, let's say, Eastern Carolina or whatever, but all of the feed was going to Connecticut and then back to us on the screen in the stadium. So if we were looking at the screen, that was 6 seconds behind. We're 6 seconds past that. So we couldn't run a replay. We couldn't look at the screen at all. It's whatever you see in life. And that's why with all these, basketball's doing it from at home. You guys are doing it from at home. I'm incredibly impressed with your ability to do it because it's much different than being there and seeing like the bench. You see this, you get extra shot. It's much different. Because I haven't really noticed.
Well, you're really kind, thank you. And I know how much you watch, but I'm going to tell you right now, the young people that are working behind the scenes for us, probably like young people working behind the scenes for you, they're the stars of our show. They do a fantastic job. They really do.
We got a 90-year-old man back here. That kid's liver has been through it.
Pierre, I actually have a quick question for you. For the first 22 years of my life, I got to watch the Detroit Red Wings in the playoffs. I just want to know, is Hockeytown ever going to be back?
Dead!
No, they're not. I do think they're going to be back, though. I do. I really believe that. They had a real solid draft last summer. Chris Draper ran their draft. He did a real good job. Steve Yzerman being there, I think, is going to get it going.
There we go.
Very interesting to see how active they're going to be at the trade deadline because I do think they have some components that they can move away and make their team better. But I think that Steve Yzerman will do a fantastic job there, and I think hockey in Detroit will be back sooner rather than later, and I can't wait. At the beginning of May, I've got a game, Tampa at Detroit, in Detroit. I love going to Detroit. It's an unbelievably passionate hockey town. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a dead one, but yes, they are passionate. Yeah, because it's hockey town now in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I believe Motor City Dana Campbell will also motivate, the Red Wings. And we need octopi coming down on the ice. We need octopi coming out there. Pierre, thank you for your time. Good luck in the game tonight, pal.
Thanks a lot, Patrick. Really nice visiting with you. Take care.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pierre McGuire.
Hell yeah.
Pierre's awesome. We used to talk to him about sport that I know about because I'm the aficionado, but none of you guys do for 20 minutes.
Yeah. What are you talking about? I love hockey.
You know nothing. Your whole team's hurt. You didn't even fucking know.
Our team's not hurt. Most of them had to leave, due to the fact that we're getting younger. We're getting better. We don't want to
Most of them had to leave? Was that trades, cuts?
No, free agency. We didn't want to run into a Red Wing situation where we're signing everybody and then we stink forever.
Hey, he's calling that game just from TV. That's got to be difficult.
Yeah, especially when you're like he was right there
in between the glass.
Yeah.
So that's with some places he's not allowed to go. Chicago, they're not allowed to be on site. I'd assume other places he travels for. Yeah. So that's very.
And they put a camera there just for him though, just like his spot.
From the glass,
from where he was,
side to side.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering because if he had like all the different angles, you could still see like what the bench is doing. You could still see what the coaches are saying. But if he's just seeing what TV sees, you're dependent upon the shots to be at least pretty good. I guess that's a tough go. I'd assume.
It's terrible. And also, you got to think for a sport like hockey, right, that has so much energy to it when you're there live, to have to replicate that in a studio far, far away is not a good time. I feel bad for what you guys had to go through. I didn't realize that you guys were live on site while your game was being fed
There's
back
replay
to
on- there's
Bristol
replay.
and then fed back to you,
you.
so that you can call it while you're watching the future pretty much happening live.
I had the $1 million idea just to FaceTime to the studio so you knew what was actually being programmed.
Yeah, Zeke said, why don't we just FaceTime? And everybody, I was like, that should work. And then everybody, no, because we got our trucks and blah, blah, blah. I do believe that was the right answer because everybody, in this world that we're in now and what COVID caused everybody to do is what internet shows have been doing. This is what we do here, right? Like there's a lot of, people not in studio. You don't have access to anything really. So it's like you kind of got to make do. That is what a Zito production is.
Yeah.
Hey, you just got to make this fucking thing work. And whenever there was a couple things we've done that have had ideas from people that have really a lot of degrees and a lot of accomplishments, and they would say like, oh, we'll do this. And then me and Zito will kind of look at each other and Zito go, won't that be a bit laggy? That is what Zito uses to say everything. And they're like, it will be laggy. That kind of comes with it. Nah, there's just FaceTime. There's no lag with the FaceTime. And they're like, well, we got, and they always kind of, I want to say they kind of shoot.
Oh, yeah.
They kind of shit on.
Can it, Zito?
All right,
all the
What's his name? What's Cheeto?
Is that Tito?
Tito?
Shut your mouth, Cheeto.
Yeah, he kind of shut down. I'm like, well, I'll tell you what Zito would have for us. We'd be able to fucking call right for a replay if we really wanted to in this entire thing. But they had full trucks. The people were very talented that worked on that.
Of course.
I mean, the crew, Adam, Matt, Molly, the production, they were all very talented people. But yeah, the whole truck was basically in Connecticut.
My favorite part was like, you're 5 seconds in a replay right now. I was like, what's happening?
Okay, so I have to remember. And then, like coming out of half, they want you to recap. So they'll tell you which highlights are coming, and you just kind of have to guess what they are. And it's like, I don't remember 4 minutes ago. How am I supposed to remember something? Like, don't you kind of want us like in the zone? Like I don't want to. Okay, remember that was the third play in the first quarter, whatever that's going to come, and then the following whatever's going to come, and then whatever's going to happen. I'm like, all right, I'm sure those plays were great, but we'll let Hasselbeck do that one. I don't even know any of that.
Zito's FaceTime idea was great, but it caused 2,500 people at ESPN to be laid off. Probably that's why they said, you know what, we can't do that. We can't do the FaceTime. We can't do the FaceTime, or 50 people in trucks across America are going to be
They lay off 2,500 people every year. That just would have
I would like to say that all those people, I'd assume, are very good workers.
That's what I mean. That's why they shut down the FaceTime idea.
But it seems like there was a lot of bad ideas.
Good workers doesn't necessarily mean that you're smart.
And good people, though, too. And good people. But whenever you do something one way for so long and the world evolves, you kind of got to do that with it. And I do believe that is one of the outcomes from the COVID situation in a lot of places. It's like, okay, what do we need? What do we don't need anymore? Sad, not good, don't love what happened. But I do believe that is something we'll carry on moving forward. There'll be a lot more Zito productions.
Oh, yeah.
Zito was just ahead of the goddamn curve.
That's right.
Always has been.
First of his kind.
I love Pierre, dude.
Great guy.
He's the man.
Bro, we had no replays.
How did that work? How was that a thing?
Well, they'll just tell you in your ear, like, oh, yeah, you want that. Yeah, that's where 10 minutes.
They're running the play right now.
There was that one time, too, where your mic wasn't on and you were on the field and you had to sprint all the way up to the booth, and it was like 100 degrees out in New Orleans.
It was a good time.
I did that run up the stars just like you did, and I stopped half. That was
then the
10
kickoff,
flights of stairs.
Then the kickoff happened, then a touchdown happened on the first play. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was perfect.
That was a good time. Hasselbeck asked the ESPN people to allow me to be a part of that or whatever, and I was pumped for it. Adam Amin is so goddamn good too.
He's amazing for Bulls games.
And Molly is unbelievable, right? So whenever Matt's like, oh, it's Adam, Molly, myself, but it's a Remy production. They're kind of mailing it in. It's like one of those things. And I was like, what do you mean by that? He's like, you'll learn, you'll see. And then when I got in there, I was like, do we have I'd love to do like a telestrator. Me on a telestrator would be very good. They're like, can't do a telestrator. Actually, we don't even have highlights or replays. And I was like, what do you mean?
Oh.
Well, everything's 5-6 seconds delay. And then before every game, Adam Amin would look at the camera and he'd put his hand up and he'd go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it would show up on the screen that we're looking, and his hand would go up 20. You go 6 seconds tonight. Okay, here we go. It was just like,
that when you look at Hasselbeck, like, oh, this is what you meant by that. Yeah.
Insane.
I feel like me and Hasselbeck and Adam and Molly got a fair shake at that. You know what I mean? To really showcase what we
It's
can
not
do.
talked enough about you guys being that delayed and still doing like a spectacular job.
I think we did okay. There was a couple times. There were a lot of people that hated me in there. I mean, that's going to happen.
Then there's that one game where the lights went out.
Lights go down, East Carolina.
How you guys gonna get an Emmy for that? Blows my mind.
There's a couple moments I think we should have. There was some absurd shit happening. Then last play of the game. Yeah, Tulane. There was also last play of the game cover that happened where.
Temple?
Yeah, I forget who it was. It was like a pitch touchdown where I was literally giddy. It was like, so many people lost so much money right here on this play, and that was a good time.
The Egg Bowl was wild too.
The guy pissed on the field. We had an electric run.
That was awesome.
It was. The Egg Bowl was the first time I ever got to experience like an SEC crowd, by the way. And it was loud down there.
What do they have? The bells?
Yeah.
That should not be allowed. That was insane.
That was piercing the ears. All right, we got to get to a break. Big shout out to Pierre McGuire calling games at his house, though.
Weapon.
Ooh. You know the only person that gave me any broadcasting advice when I did the Packers-Lions game, which, by the way, full replay, everything like that, had a blast doing that game.
Yeah.
And then also that whole run, Michael Cole, WWE.
Really?
The only person that gave me
He's the absolute man.
any advice. The only person that gave me any advice at all. I was like, Cole, before that Lions-Packers game, I was like, Cole, what the fuck am I supposed to do out here? You know, like, they just dropped me in here, and I think it was because of a conversation that happened behind closed doors between people, and they're like, well, if you could do this with Pat, this would be cool. So then I get a call like, hey, you want to call a game in 2 days or whatever? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'm like, all right, I'm getting in the booth now. I got to have a little bit of couth here. Who's the only human I could potentially call here to give me a little bit of advice? It's fucking Michael Cole. I call Michael Cole. I go, what the hell am I supposed to do? He gives me a 2 to 3 minute answer that was basically just like, yeah, they want you to be you, bub. Just go fucking crush it or whatever. But I would live by these bum, 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 bum. I'm like, thank you, Cole. Appreciate that. Everything he told me, by the way, my performance in that Lions-Packers game was reviewed by an old executive producer from Fox Sports. He gave me a D.
He gave you a D?
Right.
Yeah, I gave me a D. And then I had a follow-up call. And you're too wrestly, you know. It was too.
He didn't fail.
Well, he has a passing grade. These get degrees.
Yeah, it's true.
But I was telling stories too much in the situations that were happening. Prater throws that touchdown. I go, in Lambeau Field, week 17, Matt Prater, blah, blah, blah. They said that's too wrestling-y.
So you're too entertaining.
That's amazing. Hey, Pat, how many good commentary teams are there in the NFL and all the networks?
Well, I'd assume this guy does a lot of judging.
Yeah.
I'd assume this guy does it. And I don't even know if he's hired by Fox. Like, the email came as like an independent review almost. I was like, who the fuck? I didn't ask for this.
Yeah.
I didn't.
No thanks.
Excuse me. I did not ask for an independent review from you, pal. But we had a full 30-minute conversation. It was just like, it was too much of this. You know, you can really be something, but too much of this. Okay, fuck you. Huh?
Thank God you did, because that game was fucking boring.
Terrible
I would have
game.
rather drank lead paint than watch who they typically would have had out
Bro,
there.
I had Aaron Rodgers clips for days. He got hurt in the second play.
Yeah.
I had it was going to be I had Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, okay, big fan of both of these dudes. 4 hours. This game, no playoff.
Nope.
None. There's nothing on the line here. Week 17, regional cast, basically. I got shit for days. Aaron Rodgers gets speared, second play, concussion. He's out. He almost like it felt like he walked down the field as he was going off after the first series, and he almost just like looked up to the booth and was just like, "Hey, sorry about it.
My bad.
What'd you guys win? What was
It was
the
like
score?
38-3 or something.
Yeah.
Nothing.
31-0.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because I had an entire Mason Crosby thing. They didn't even get a chance to kick a field goal. I've enjoyed my commentary attempts. You know what I mean? I got the chance to really go out there and do it in the games that matter.
A lot of people dressed as seats out here today.
Oh, yeah.
Just tag Baylor.
Got a call. Hey, they're asking if you could please not talk about the attendance. All right, if we could zoom in then. All right, let's get to a break. It is the Pat McAfee Show, a terrible show. I do believe Bob Carpenter is on the field at the Ohio State Pro Day.
Yes!
Justin Fields has just started throwing. There's going to be a lot of conversation around this, especially with how Mack Jones did earlier today, which we did not see, but allegedly was not his best work. We'll talk about that on the other side. Plus, AJ Hawk will join us in a few moments. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Tuesday, March 31st. A White just caught the ball for Ohio State. Does anybody know who that guy is? Me neither. We'll follow up with that on the other side as well. What a day. What's the most beer you did in one night, you think, of one of those shows?
Well, I never forget when we went to Japan one time. Dudley, Stacy Keebler. I mean, there were so many people out there. I think we went through 103 or 108. Now, between just for myself, you know, I'd always make sure to have about a 12 or 18 pack there. And, you know, here's the thing when some people say, oh, shit, man, you got too much of that beer on. You don't even know how to drink beer. It's like, dude, fuck you. You don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to entertain 20,000 people in an arena. If I just go out there and sip it real properly, how fucking exciting is that? So when you're out there on an empty belly and you're shotgunning beers and all that shit's going in, the half that was going in was for me. The half that was going on was for them.
Nice.
But I'm telling you, Pat, when you shotgun a bunch of beers like that and you're drinking about half of each beer, you got a pretty damn good buzz when you come out. And that's a sacrifice I was willing to make every single night.
I would assume you were pretty fucked up, yeah. When did you start
you know,
self-cheersing? When did you start self-cheersing? Was that something you did in college? You're like, hey, Steve, good for me, man. Like, when did that start?
No, you know what? You know, I got to give credit to Sandman for starting that, but he was bashing him off his head, and I don't remember, and it wasn't because Sandman was doing it, so I don't want to say I copied him, but he was the first. So, and then my style was, because people always get us confused. They'll say, yeah, man, you used to bang them on your head. No, motherfucker, I was the guy that clacked them together. It was just something we came up with. I don't know how the beers got introduced to the ring, but it became a thing, and we ran with it.
Okay. Cousins pressure. Okay. Okay. Oh my God! Best sign spinner in the world! At least now he says, that was unbelievable. Bro, thank you for what you just did right there. What's your name?
Mike.
Mike, where you from?
Right here in Los Angeles.
That was fucking awesome to watch. Good luck out there. They should be paying you more.
Tune in for the World Sign Spinning Championship in Vegas.
There's a World Sign Spinning Championship?
In Vegas.
Are you like a national, are you a champion?
I rank.
You rank? What do you rank?
I got 8th in the 2013 Olympics.
What do we have to do to get better? How do we get to first place? What's the new move? What's the new move? Maybe light it on fire.
Yeah, well, let's go about half this one.
Oh! At least now! Oh my God! If I was getting to the end with the kickflip, I don't know how you're 8th in the world. You should be number 1. And if I was leasing a place, I'm fucking coming here. Oh my.
Giving the old white guys something to complain about. It's the Pat McAfee Show.
Oh, no. There it is. Yeah. All right. It happened. This guy's from Finland, by the way.
Ooh, shout out.
Shout out, Finland. Welcome back to the show. Bruce Arians got a tattoo.
Yeah.
Bruce Arians got a tattoo of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers being Super Bowl champions. I don't know who he said, if we win a Super Bowl, I'll get a tattoo. But he said it to somebody, and he owned up to it right on his left shoulder as if he was being branded like a Kyle out there. This is why Bruce Arians is Bruce Arians. This is Bruce Arians following through on something. This is Bruce Arians being more competitive and wanting to win games than any other coach that I think I've been around. Feels like he was actually on the field for a lot of the plays. It felt like he was in there talking shit to the defense in practice, talking shit to the defense in games, talking shit to the refs in practice, talking shit to the refs in games. Yeah. Bruce Arians is an OG, a legend, and I love the fact that he got a tattoo as if he was a fan or a player, because this is his first one as a head coach in the NFL. Who knows how many more he'll get? He said, we ain't running it back. That's Kansas City's bullshit. We're going for 2 down there. Mm-hmm. And he might get another tat, hopefully, if he, if that team, which they has stuck together, allegedly they have contract offers for Antonio Brown, waiting on whether or not Antonio Brown accepts that or not, I guess. They could have that entire team back for another year. And at the end of that year, they were only getting better and better at football. This could be a little bit of a run here for Bruce. I hope he's got enough space on that shoulder for more tattoos. I'd assume he does.
And if they're waiting for AB to respond, do you think that's because AB might have other offers from, the Colts, the Ravens, some other teams out there who are looking for a wide receiver?
Now, you would think maybe he's just waiting it out to see what his options are or whatever. But off the field, has that been settled?
I don't think so.
It's been delayed a couple times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once again, just like in every single situation where this happens, if whatever is being alleged is true, terrible, we hope justice is served. Mm-hmm. If not, excited to see if there is other teams that have options out for Antonio Brown, or, is he just potentially waiting to go back to the Buccaneers? Justin Fields rolling left crossbody dime to a tight end, it appears. He's throwing the ball pretty well here.
Yeah.
Justin Fields has been performing very well. Now, does this change any of the narrative that he can't anticipate what a defense is going to do or throw the ball to make his wide receivers open? No, but I do like the fact that we're getting a chance to see a guy and hear stories about a guy that aren't just absolutely ruining him, which is what it has been for Justin Fields for the last month and a half or so.
Is it just me, or does physically, does he look much bigger than he did in his last game of the season? He looks huge.
He looks very yoked up. Now, he did look small. Remember, he became full vegan or whatever, and I'm not saying he's not still doing that, but it does look like he's added muscle, which, by the way, he might have ran faster than a 4.4. They might have told him he needs to put some weight on to be a quarterback in the NFL. That happened to Pat White whenever he was coming out of West Virginia. He gained, I think, 15 or 20 pounds or whatever, because they told him he had to beef up or whatever. It's like, okay, if he was coming out now, guy's top 5 pick probably.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Back then, it was like, you need to gain weight, and also, we don't know when we're going to draft you. Bad timing. Pat White deserves better.
Yeah, they weren't telling Kyler Murray that when he was coming out.
No, they weren't at all.
Not at all.
Pat, by the way, was I think 215, 220, and then they had him go up to 230, I think, or something like that.
Before they had him gain weight,
maybe he was 205. Maybe he went up to 220 or something like that. But that's a lot of weight. Yeah, 15 pounds, 12 to 15 pounds, a lot of weight. I wonder if Justin Fields did the same thing. Here's him dropping back with an out route to a White.
It's a good release.
It's a great throw.
Yeah, great ball.
Great ball. He did miss a guy by 5-6 yards earlier, but it was cross field, cross body.
Not as bad as Mack Jones.
Well, have we seen any of the Mack Jones stuff?
There's been one overthrow where it looked like the guy could have maybe made it a little bit of an attempt, and he just decided to let it go.
So is that teammate on Tua's side? That's what that is. Let's go to Brandon in Omaha. What's going on, Brandon?
Hey, Pat, boys, how's it going?
We're not doing as well as Justin Fields is throwing the ball right now, but we're doing pretty good.
Okay, that's all right. Shout out Ty. Go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go. Go Pack Go, dude.
Talk about.
What are we watching here?
Aaron Rodgers. No restructure yet. No news on that. You think maybe they're waiting till next year? With the media deal. Cap space going to go up, or what do you think is going on there?
Hey, great question, Brandon. And, the Aaron Rodgers renegotiation, we all thought was a restructure was going to happen. I wonder if those conversations started. I wonder if they didn't start. I wonder if any of that reach out has happened. Aaron told us on his last Aaron Rodgers Tuesday of the season as Justin Fields completes another ball drifting to his left there. He basically said every year, the conversation happens, basically, with front office, with management, with the coaches, kind of a recap, reflect on the year. We all assumed after watching everybody else's contracts get moved and changed that Aaron was potentially going to have that happen. For whatever reason, it has not happened. Ty, did you expect that to happen? I think we all kind of did, right?
Yeah, I think
maybe
we
did. A 10-year deal?
Yeah, I mean, that would be nice. But I think everyone started talking about it more and, was trying to, talk it into existence. Listen, I believe Raj is on vacation right now in Mexico, so I think he's still kind of in that headspace. Like, I don't know if he's really trying to get something done super quick, but I also did see that the Packers are one of the few teams where 4 of their players make up 50% of their cap. So, like, they could, help themselves out a little bit by restructuring that.
Yeah, it's because what if they just thought, the MVP year was an anomaly? We still got Jordan Love here. Wow. Why would we, he said he wanted to be a Packer for life. Mm-hmm. I mean, why not just put a 10-year deal right there in front of him and tell him, hey, here we go. We made a mistake trading up for Jordan Love. He might be your backup. He might not be, but we'd like to put our swords aside and have you end up as a Packer. And also, we can kick the can down the road for all the money. This is how much money you're going to get over the next 8 to 10 years if you want to play that long, and we can make this whole thing work. They could have done that.
They could have. You're preaching to the choir. Had I been in the negotiating room,
you are an owner.
Well,
this is happening under your watch.
It's not. Well, you know what? Then there's infighting, because I've been pitching this to the board for well before his MVP season this year.
Let's go to Garrison down there in Auburn. War Eagle, Garrison.
Yeah, War Eagle, Pat. How you doing, man?
Hey, not too shabby. Roll Tide too, huh?
Oh, no.
Don't you dare.
Mack Jones throwing interceptions all over the place.
Oh, no, Pat, I just wanted to say last Thursday you and AJ talked about equipment managers and just all the different equipment y'all would have back in the NFL. And I just wanted to say I'm a student equipment manager for the football team. And
shout out. Shout out. Now, listen, student equipment managers at colleges, especially at Auburn, and I'd assume COVID has made this different, but the equipment managers, they also sometimes act like the regular students, have a good time, but then they're in there like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning. We're talking about that is a blue-collar student human job out there. They were talking very drunk to very early mornings doing work that is not I would assume in a lot of people's eyes as like dreaming, a dream job. So I want to appreciate your work down there, Garrison. I assume all the Auburn football players do as well. Equipment managers are a backbone of a lot of operations.
Oh, yeah.
Albert Breer is tweeting that along with draft-eligible guys, Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields will be throwing to underclass wide receivers, and then he listed off a couple of names.
Chris Olave.
Okay.
That was the first one I saw.
Hey, by the way, good for them getting a chance to work out in front of these NFL scouts whenever they're younger. I thought there was a rule against that, but I guess not. Good for these younger dudes, by the way. They're getting a chance to work out for all these GMs and scouts who are potentially looking at a top 5 quarterback. Not that Ohio State won't have that again in the future. It feels like that's a factory over there. But these younger guys getting a chance to run routes right in front of these scouts is an incredible advantage that I don't think a lot of other places are allowing to happen. So shout out to Ryan Day and Ohio State over there.
Other receivers, Garrett Wilson and Olave might have been the first round pick if he declared, and they both have a shot to be in 2022.
Who was the freshman they had that made that incredible catch? They have a freshman wide receiver who is filthy. Ohio State has one. I forget his name. He like first week he had a catch where he did this thing, and then his body control, you watch him like shove his foot in bounds or whatever, and like this freshman is going to be the guy. Ohio State is one of those places. It's a factory. They're just going to be good. The transition from Urban Meyer to Ryan Day is difficult. Losing the power, you think of any, and I'm not saying, well, kinda. I'm not saying that they're, organized crime syndicate, but you think whenever you lose, okay, Godfather.
Yeah.
There's always infighting. There's people that leave. There's always who's next. And I'm not saying that college football programs are like that, but as soon as you lose a figurehead, every other coach that's trying to recruit the same people is like, oh, they don't got it anymore. They lose this. They were able to transition right into Ryan Day and kept everything intact, still at the top recruiting-wise, still have the chance to have all these superstars. That's why the conversation goes back to when Saban inevitably leaves Alabama, will they be able to have the seamless transition as well? The handover of power, basically, and not have other teams pluck away at them. Because what Ohio State's been able to do in the Big Ten has been very impressive.
Yeah, I mean USC, Texas, neither one of them have really been worth a shit for 15 years now.
Florida, the last place Urban left, they went down for a little bit until the other dude,
but still,
Dan Mullen, turned them around. Yeah, but still not in the college football playoff.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Miami, I mean, there's been a lot of places that you lose, and then you lose the culture somehow, then you lose everything, and then recruiting changes. Ohio State being able to hand off that baton, very impressive.
Yeah.
Because they got guys working out right now that'll be a first-round draft pick next year. They're going to be.
Oh, yeah.
And that's only going to continue to grow, I'd assume, at this point. Is this the catch?
I don't know. And the end zone here?
Yeah, who is that?
Let's find that. Oh, Jackson Smith and a very crazy last name, NJIGBA.
Ooh.
I don't even know how to start with that.
Go ahead and give it a go.
Throw it.
I'm going to go Jigba. N is silent.
Okay, so it's
Jigba. It is Jackson Smith Jigba.
How do you spell it?
He's going to be top 10 pick.
NJIGBA.
NJIGBA. Jigba?
Jigba.
I think you do. I don't think the N is completely silent, but I don't think it's a hard N.
Because I think it's like an Ngannou situation.
Yeah, who, by the way, coming on the show tomorrow.
Whoa!
What?
Whoa. Francis
Ngannou's coming on the show.
Heavyweight champ?
Yeah, him. He's coming on the show tomorrow.
Oh,
now
let's
listen,
go.
we are a Stipe show. I will make sure that he knows that, and he did potentially tear the ACL of our guy knocking him out or whatever, but there's a potential John Bones Jones fight in the future. Who knows if that's going to get worked out, but we'll talk to Francis Ngannou tomorrow, and I cannot wait for Mr. Njigba to be a top 10, top 15 pick.
He's going to be a stud. I think that's why, Bill didn't go to Ohio State's Pro Day this year, because he's already thinking about that guy next year.
Well, there is another pro day coming, and I think it's because Ohio State and Alabama have their pro days on the same damn day. And I would assume in normal years you can get scouts to different places and do that whole thing. But without the combine, a lot of GMs, a lot of head coaches, a lot of people traveling to all these pro days. So that might be why they're doing multiples here.
Yeah.
Mack Jones allegedly not great this morning.
Oh?
Allegedly not great this morning.
What's that about?
What's that about? I saw him complete a hell of a ball to Devonte.
But even for Justin Fields, if the worry with him is that he doesn't anticipate with where defenses are going to be and his players, how does this help you at all?
Yeah, not help or hurt.
Yeah.
I guess if you just got balls on ground all over the place, so you start to worry. He does look much more yoked.
He does.
Why can't we throw pads on? See how they throw pads on.
No, come on. Let's go to Breck in Arkansas. What's going on, Breck? Skip out Breck. The must bus left town anyways, pal.
Woo pig.
Oh, no. Woo pig suey.
Damn shame.
Breck. Let's go to CJ in Washington. What's going on, CJ?
How's it going, boys? How's it going, Pat?
Hey, just hanging out, having a good time. Got about 30 seconds here. What do you want to talk about?
I just want to piss off some Cowboy fans. For the next 4 years, they're at least going to go 8-8, maybe 2 of the 4. They're going to at least get a draw in there somewhere, some way. They're terrible.
8-8.
8-1. Is that what he said?
That's prehistoric
draw
NFL.
in there somewhere.
I'll tell you what, if they figure out how to do 8-1 so they can continue just to be the most 500 team of all time, almost more impressive.
Yeah.
Teams going 8-1 would be amazing. CJ, thank you for bringing that up. That would be amazing. What are we watching?
So it's on a YouTube lot, like a YouTube stream.
So we're stealing this from somebody. Somebody's stealing this from something.
To my understanding, yeah. I don't know who the actual person is.
So, they're 62 subscribers away from 9,000 subscribers. They have a good ticker on this.
Yeah, they do.
Whoever this is, they're only about to get 9,000 subscribers. Congrats on that, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
But they have a ticker. We haven't been able to figure out a ticker for 4 years.
They would have to license this, right, though, because they have the logo right up there in the top right-hand corner. You'd think that they'd come back and take this thing down pretty quick.
Yeah, it feels like they're potentially going to have to rip this one off the internet immediately following it. But I do appreciate what they're doing. And
They are taking
should hit
tips.
that subscribe button, by the way, because they do have a better ticker than us. But anyways, we're watching Justin Fields' Pro Day via an illegal stream on the internet. Subscribe to them. We appreciate their service. Hour 3 is on the other side. AJ Hawk will be joining us and Ian Rappaport. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Tuesday, March 30th. If something happens one time, anomaly. Happens 2 times, it's like, oh, okay, maybe. But whenever there's a trend of 18 plus, 20 plus things being predicted, you got to go like, hey, Groening, the gig's up. We know. You're a time traveler.
Just tell us.
Bro, I just want to talk to you. I got so many questions. Siegfried and Roy tiger attack. Do you remember that?
Of course.
Do you remember back in the day how tight Siegfried and Roy were with their tigers? It was like every main story was like, oh, these tigers are the best behaved animals on earth, blah, blah, blah. Simpsons in 1993 said the tiger is going to turn. This little friendly tiger is going to become an enemy of Siegfried and Roy quickly, and it's going to happen. 2003, it actually happened. Autocorrect errors, 1994. Before you could even play Snake on the gray little box phone, they predicted that autocorrect will happen on your phone. Are you kidding me? Didn't happen until 2007. FaceTime, 1995. Not even a thought. I don't even know if anybody knew what the fuck the internet was.
Oh, that's that little mark with the A and then the ring around it. See, that's what I said.
No,
what is internet anyway?
In 1995, they said, don't worry, you'll be carrying around a device where you will be face-to-face with somebody on the opposite side of Earth. 1995, they said that. 2010, it happened. Faulty voter machines. 2008, they predicted it. 2012, it became the forefront of conversation in a big, big way. I assume these voter machines have been up in question for a long, long time, but they just knew that it was going to come to fruition in 2012.
No, I want to vote for Obama.
2 votes for McCain.
Come on, it's time for a change.
3 votes for McCain.
The God particle. Now, this is the big one. Ty Schmidt did research. He said the God particle is the absolute reason why he is 1,000% a time traveler. Homer Simpson got up there like fucking Matt Damon in that movie where they have that
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting, and draws up this equation for what the God particle is, which what is the God particle?
Yeah, it's basically this equation that essentially like explains how the universe was created.
And they did that in 1998, and the exact equation happens in 2012.
That's unheard of.
14 years ahead of time. They got Homer Simpson up there looking like that goddamn janitor from Harvard, solving equations up on a chalkboard. And 14 years later, it's like, yeah, that's actually how the universe was founded. It's like, wait a fucking minute, little comedy writer with the goddamn yellow cartoon, bro. That's insane. The NSA spying scandal. Everybody knew that the Patriot Act was like in existence, but nobody had a clue that NSA literally knows everything about you. Every dick you've sent has been seen by some government agency, but it wasn't always like that. We didn't know that everything was getting spied on, Sean. Nobody knew that.
I didn't know.
They predicted that in 2007, 2013 it happened.
No, Lisa, it's not like the government is listening to everybody's conversation.
Smartwatches. 1995, they said it would happen. 2014, they came to fruition. America's Ebola outbreak. 1997, they said it. 2014. Do you remember when Ebola hit? It was literally
hospitals like shutting down.
Oh, they had people wearing like hazmat suits, carrying people around because they were scared Ebola was possible. In the modern world, this was happening. Years and years and years and years ago, Matt Groening said this is going to happen. The FIFA corruption scandal, 2014, they called it. 2015, it came all crashing down. Everybody knew they were getting their pockets greased, making decisions, sending a World Cup to a goddamn desert. Matt Groening said it's going to happen. It happened. Greece's debt default, 2012, they called it. 2015, it happened. So many countries out there, by the way.
They picked Greece?
The exact country to happen. Trump's presidency, 2000, they called it. 2016, it came to fruition. The Simpsons called this. President Trump out there, and everybody probably looked at, those Simpsons guys are so funny. Bang, 16 years later, it is about to happen. It goes down. Lady Gaga Super Bowl halftime show, 2012, they called it. 2017. I mean, I think we all knew that she was born this way. She would probably get the halftime show at some point, but to the details that they had. These are not coincidences. Coincidenci. I don't know how you pronounce it.
How the fuck do they know this stuff? It's got to be time travel.
Matt Groening is a time travel. I have so many fucking questions. Disney's takeover of Fox, 1998. They said it. 2017, it happens. The Shard in London, which is a building behind Big Ben, I guess. Is that right?
Apparently, that's what Google search said.
1995, 2009, it comes to fruition. Robot librarians, 95, they called it. 2016, it happens. The censorship of Michelangelo's David, 1990, 2016, it happened. Three-eyed fish from the fucking nuclear waste place.
In Japan.
Three-eyed fish comes to fruition in 2001. Matt Groening did it in 1990. 9/11. 9/11. They called that happening. If you do recall, planes going into buildings, they said it in 1997, 2001, it happens. The Syrian uprising, everything that's going on in the Middle East has all been talked about on The Simpsons. And then he created another show called Futurama. That is huge. He created another show like, yeah, listen, here's me rubbing it in the face that's where I could go if I have to. I have so many questions for Matt Groening, and guess what, Matt Groening? The gig's up. We know. I'm all in on you, Matt. And I'm a fan, by the way, aren't we? We're big fans. I'm
a huge fan.
If you want to travel to future me or current me or past me and say what's up, I think we would all be appreciated.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the show. I'm getting bullied on the internet by a guy named Cock Johnson.
Cock! Come on!
Hour 3 will begin right now. Cock Johnson says, I hope you do some homework because you clearly have no fucking clue when it comes to anything other than the NFL and stuff in your face.
Oh!
Whenever that was in response to us announcing Francis Ngannou is coming on the show tomorrow. Cannot wait to chat with him.
Yeah.
I've done my homework, pal. I've seen him play bongos on people's faces. Okay, Cock Johnson?
Multiple times.
All right. What's wrong, Mr. Johnson?
Take it easy, Cock Johnson.
And to be honest, by the way, stuff in my face, I only have a couple go-tos, to be honest. I actually don't have that good of a palate, which is something that you would be wrong about there. So within your tweet being very rude to me, Cock Johnson.
Disrespectful.
That's unbelievable. Anyways, welcome back to the show. We'll focus on the positives here. Positive is we have a college football national champion and a Super Bowl champion join us. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
Let's go. A to the J.
AJ, obviously you appreciate what Cock Johnson tweeted me there, but can you appreciate what's going on at the Ohio State Pro Day, pal?
Yeah, I wish I was there watching. I think General Bob is actually there. I saw him post a video of Justin Fields 4.44.
And I've also seen him on TV, General Bob Carpenter, and I would assume that they only allow people in the building for pro days, especially big days like this for Ohio State kids, is whenever if you say I owe back to people, then you have a lot of pride. So General Bob got invited, numerous other of your teammates got invited back there. You were left on the do not disturb list because you did not IO, which in turn led to an early exit by the Ohio State basketball team.
Well, no, I have a responsibility at 2 p.m. Eastern to come on the show, so I couldn't really do both.
Whoa.
Well, actually.
Is that really what happened?
No, I didn't think so. I got a text today from a couple guys that are there that came in that are scouts and work for other teams. Like, hey, are you here at Pro Day? And I said, I didn't even look into it. I assumed that they would be super strict with who they let in, but I guess they're not.
Well, what are you saying? You're not that restricted because General Bob Carpenter's in there?
No, of course, like former players come back all the time. There should be. There's a lot of former players that I've seen on the sidelines. I assumed none of us were allowed back.
No, because of COVID, because teams are only allowed 3 people allegedly.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. Obviously, that's not the case. It's a big indoor facility too. You could spread out, but yeah, I mean, it would have been cool to see. I've been back to a few of them, but it'd be cool to see Justin Fields and all the big wigs there.
He's billing them at Max or Justin's?
Yeah, they're at Max.
They're at Max. They're not at Justin's. Okay, so Justin looked bigger. I don't know if you got a chance to watch the Pro Day.
Yeah.
Has that been any conversation piece? Because I do believe the only thing that's been said about Justin Fields, quarterback Ohio State, who was the lock to be the number 2 overall pick for what seemed to be maybe an entire year. And then as soon as the season ended, after they get a win in the play, it goes the opposite direction and they say, no, not anymore. It's only been negative about him. Has there been any positives about coming out of this Pro Day? He seemed like he threw well. He looked big. He ran fast. This is good news. Is he going back up, you think?
I mean, it definitely seems like good news. It seems like a successful Pro Day. He threw a lot of nice deep balls I saw, and going across his body, he was showing how athletic he can be. But don't you think teams are trying to look at, was he trying to show him too, like, hey, I can be a pocket passer too, like I'm not just an athletic guy to move around?
Well, I think that's what Mack Jones did today. Mack Jones did another Pro Day today, and it was this one, they announced it like, hey, today's going to be off balance Mack Jones.
Whoa.
So it was like for the people that don't know whether or not he can be anything other than just a perfect pocket passer in an offense that had a lot of motions, great offensive line, people were open, he made incredible throws. Can he also maybe make plays? The Orlovskis, the Simses, the quarterback gurus in the media world, they did a lot of research on him. They love Mack Jones from what they saw. They said the film depicts a guy who can be an NFL guy. Now, the question was, can he move? Today, I guess he did a lot of moving. Nobody has a clue. There's a lot of negative reaction, but maybe he was trying to make some impossible throws, so maybe we should have a little bit realistic expectation. Seems like Justin Fields, he showcased a lot today. I assume he's going to have another pro day. Hopefully both of them are good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like both of them looked pretty good. I don't know what to look for, though, when you're looking at a pro day. Should you be 100% and have no incompletions? Yeah, probably, but you never know. Like different receivers, you have underclassmen, different guys running routes. But with Mack Jones, I don't know if you saw this. You watch him catch a touchdown pass on the last play?
In the thing?
Yeah, they hyped it up the whole time. They were saying, "Hey, this is something special's coming at the end. Something special is coming."
Who did? The commentators were doing that, or Mack and the boys were?
No. The commentators were saying something's coming at the end. They were like teasing it, and he ran like a little option, and then he caught a touchdown from Najee Harris.
Wow. How was the catch? Smooth? Did he look good?
He jumped and kind of like cradled it because the ball wasn't high. I think Daniel Jeremiah even said, "Hey, I know Mack really wanted to one-hand that ball if Najee would have put it up there and given him a chance."
Okay, so Najee got a chance to showcase his arm.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I can throw touchdowns too if we need to. And Mack got a chance to be, athlete guy outside the pocket. Let me make a catch here too. Let me jump and cradle this thing. You know what I mean? Just in case there's a crowd. You can throw that in double coverage. I'll go get it. I think the commentator set them up for failure there, though. You know what I mean? Big time. I think commentator set them up for failure, and that's not their fault. That's not their fault. They just, the whole thing, but.
It's kind of who do you want? But if you're looking at it, especially think about it though, Pat. If you're comparing the two pro days, they're different kinds of players, yes. But Mack Jones is like the old school kind of prototypical big-bodied QB that can move enough, but has been super accurate, and he's been a winner in his I guess small sample size we have in what he did in college. And Justin Fields can kind of do it all right now.
Yeah, but it's hard for me to take any of this shit serious. My pro day was a big deal for me. I was not invited to the combine. There's no combine this year. And I remember thinking it was a massive ordeal. And it was, I think, ultimately. But the Colts weren't really that interested in my pro day until they had me do a private workout for them, basically. They had me do I did a brain, I don't know if it was an IQ or personality test. I did one of those for them. That was really the only thing. Pro Day, I think, gets hyped up. Now, this year, it's obviously more meaningful because there is no combine and all that stuff. But the workouts, the throws, like Justin Fields, Connor was heavy on this in the last hour. Justin Fields are saying his anticipation, his throwing wide receivers open, none of that is being proven today. I guess he's just proving that when the pressure's on, he can complete passes or whatever. So for me, it's hard. It's really hard to put too much stock in this, but I guess some people are. Like the Mack Jones thing. If people were talking about Zach Wilson could throw himself into a guaranteed number 2 overall pick, does that mean he could have thrown himself out of it too? Yeah. And is that what happened? You know what I mean? Like in my eyes, it's hard for me to take these serious, but it seems like the way they're being covered is these truly mean there's billion-dollar organizations, allegedly, that's entire futures are being changed on a 35-minute passing thing. That is a mind blower to me.
Well, I guess how much can it change your opinion if you're a scout or you're a GM or a coach? Like if you go in and you're really high on a guy, what could the quarterback do in his pro day workout to where you're absolutely out? You're like, nah, this isn't my dude. Like, is that possible if you were really high going in?
Or if you're really high going in, what could possibly happen here that you're like on the field? I'm not talking about the meetings. I think those are very important. I'm not talking about the 40s and everything like that, depending upon who wants to run it. But is there anything he can do on the field? Is it like his fourth throw? Like when Zach Wilson hit that cross-body 55-yard toss or whatever, skipping off balance, where they're like, yep, that's our guy. Did something like that happen? Because that's...
Maybe. I think things like that can... Like seeing Zach Wilson do that and make a couple throws, it can just confirm what you thought coming in. If you were a Zach Wilson guy and you were planning on drafting him, like, okay, I didn't really have any doubts. I wanted to make sure that he put a stamp on it, and I saw it with my own eyes, and I watched him up close, and he is that guy. Like one or two throws like that, I think can at least make that GM feel much more confident, pulling the trigger on the draft.
I wonder if there was anybody after, all the Mack Jones build it has been and the rumors that he taught Bill O'Brien the offense, when Bill O'Brien came back, and then at the Senior Bowl, he knew the offense better than everybody else or whatever. And then his first pro day, he was slinging it, throwing it around, There's Tom Brady in him. There's all that. I wonder if anybody that was just fell in love with Mack Jones over the last month and a half, like learning about how great he could be as an NFL guy. I'd assume scouts know that, but maybe people that are just learning about him. I wonder if this second pro day, they're like, oh, no, now what? Does he stink again now because he threw bad in shorts here? You know what I mean? He did catch a touchdown. But does he stink? I wonder if there's anybody that's like that.
Well, and if anybody was low on him, like if he caught that, like if Shanahan was like, maybe, and then he caught a touchdown, he's like, there he is. That's our guy. He can catch a touchdown. Come on, bring him in.
Or is this all just for media?
Yeah. I mean, also when you say how much impact I guess their pro day has, this is television that they are producing at what? 11, 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which is not not prime time by any means, but they're getting a ton of eyeballs because it is. It's dramatic. You show Belichick, you show Nick Saban in Alabama talking to Belichick. Like, yeah, there's big time decision makers there.
By the way, and I'm somebody who has never had an actual job, so that's a lie. Rudy Subs and Pizza 286. How can I help you?
There it is.
Had that job for 2 weeks or whatever, but I've never had an actual job. The daytime activity, I fucking love it. When they moved Combine to just prime time, I thought it was bad. I didn't think Tomlin, by the way, was looking at Justin Fields. Tomlin, who ran my pro day, by the way, at West Virginia, is hands-on here at Ohio State. Absolutely love that man, that coach. But I like the daytime stuff. Yeah. Like I enjoy. Now I don't have a regular job. I understand that. I have no clue what I'm talking about when it comes to the year schedule and everything. But whenever something's all day, I enjoy it. I'll watch any one of these pro days just because it's something to fucking watch.
Absolutely.
I mean, I watch college basketball because it's all during the day.
Think about that.
You know what I mean? Could just go to LA Fitness. But
hey, who's going to be the first quarterback at some point? Don't you think there's going to be a QB that sets their pro day like 8 p.m. Thursday night prime time and sets the stage and everyone just jumps all on board like, yeah, this is how we should have been doing it all the whole time.
If I'm South Dakota or North Dakota, where's Trey? North Dakota. If I'm North Dakota State, I would have done that for Trey Lance.
Absolutely.
I would have set it up as a because I think that's the team that sets it up, right? Isn't it the team or is it the players? Who does it? I don't know the back end.
The team, I'm sure now though all the quarterbacks have these quarterback gurus they go to. I'm sure they have to. Yeah, it might be tough to schedule that stuff with your quarterback. The team obviously is the main thing. Like you have to use the facility and whatever. But yeah, you don't want it to be on the same time as other quarterbacks. Like today we had that.
Hey, they're doing 2 pro days now. You know that?
How does that work?
I don't know. I was very confused by this too because it's combine, pro day, individual workouts. Like that's just how it goes. You have a pro day and then like, well, he's going to have another pro day. Are they just changing the word workout to pro day because it's a quarterback involved? I would assume that that's what's happening. There's teams maybe that are requesting a workout, but since you can't have individual days because the COVID protocols, they kind of are doing workouts in groups, and that's why they're just calling it another pro day. I don't know. And that's very good for all the other players, by the way, that get a chance to work out for these teams again and again because the quarterbacks get to do it. But normally it's combine, pro day, and then workouts happen. I would assume because there's only a certain amount of people allowed that they're just calling numerous pro days or whatever.
It has to be a COVID year thing, I would imagine. But Rondale Moore, he was talking about it. He doesn't have any workout set up, does he? Could he go jump in one if he wanted to?
That's what I was.
He wanted to play at Ohio State.
That's what I was saying. I wonder if that's going to happen. I wonder if we're going to have a pro day that just becomes an. That was my big. I was thinking to myself like these 7-on-7 camps where I guess guys are just showing up, getting put on teams, and then making highlights.
Yeah.
It would be awesome if if Devonte would go up to an Ohio State pro day with Justin Fields and like if they would like almost.
It happens. I know at Ohio State at least there's been times where guys that played in other smaller schools in Ohio, maybe they didn't have a pro day, they let them jump in and they would run with us and do everything.
Yeah, they did that at West Virginia as well. We had some guys that I'd never met before out there running. I don't know if it worked out for them, but I thought that was pretty dope. But the thought of like an all-star pro day happening in 2021, I think the reason why I'm so excited because that could happen. Like, you know, and they would talk it as if it's normal too. They'd be like, yeah.
And they're doing one-on-ones. Think about they're doing one-on-ones with the corners, like the top corner against the top receiver. There'd be fights everywhere, probably.
Fights everywhere. The guy would get, the amount of highlights that would come out of that whole thing.
Well, and they're probably doing 2 pro days too because half of the league's at Ohio State, half's at Bama, and then they're just switching it. Like, how often does Bama and Ohio State have the same pro day on the same day?
Well, who knows? Like, they might normally do it, and it doesn't matter. Because normally it might just be like, we'll cut screen on both of them. But since there was no combine, since there was no time for any actual head coach or GM to meet with them, I think that is That definitely plays into the multiple pro day thing.
Well, and it's only, you said it's 3 team personnel, right? So, like, if a head coach and a GM are going, only one scout from that team can go too.
I don't know if that was just at the one that I read about or if that's league-wide, university-wide. I'm not sure if that's a rule for, states or, like, for instance, Indiana, April 6th, open.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Indianapolis,
What do you mean?
not.
What?
Yeah, Indianapolis still mask mandate. No, that's Now, I'm not saying the mask mandate is not going to be elsewhere, but I do believe the city of Indianapolis has its own rules where the rest of the state is going to have different rules for this reopening thing. I would assume the pro days are the same time. Like, hey, at this particular town, you're allowed to do this, you're allowed to do this. Just like San Francisco 49ers getting kicked out of their stadium this year.
Yeah, I mean, but can teams come in and work players out? Could they come in and come back with Justin Fields and have a workout with them next week, like if the Niners wanted it?
Like a private workout?
Yeah, like they've done that in the past. I don't know with COVID if you're allowed.
Yeah, and I think that's why they're doing multiple pro days is because they probably have them in groups, but that's pure speculation at this point. Because the private workouts, everybody probably has to pass COVID. They probably have to do some sort of COVID protocol to get into the private workouts, which I would assume they're all in right now, right? Because they're all in the building. I don't know. Bill Belichick had a Gator Don. He was talking Shanahan, Lynch, and Josh McDaniels, and it appeared as if Joe Brady and Matt Rule had just left the conversation. A lot of quarterback potential chatter in there at these pro days. I think that is what these pro days are becoming a big thing as well. I think that also plays into the second pro day. I think there's a lot of deals that normally get done in Indy here at the Combine also happening at these pro days too. I think it's a big business opportunity for a lot of people.
Well, not having the Combine is huge, I guess, for agents that have guys that are about to be drafted. And then also every agent that has all their other guys that they represent that are in the league. Like, that's where all the negotiating gets done. That's where they really feel like, hey, with free agency coming up, that's what the agents get a very concrete idea of who is going to have interest in your guys.
Ian Rappaport will be joining us in about 6.5 minutes. Let's hope he has some fucking information.
No scrap sheet.
This guy. Dude, you know what I mean?
Hey, it wasn't him. I got a darn Rappaported. It was not him that joined.
We know.
Cap sheet was actually the name of the
cap sheet. Yeah.
It's all right. I pulled a pat. I didn't look. I just saw his picture.
No, you didn't pull me. You pulled a Diggs.
Yeah.
Do not put me in that.
I read the headline. That's all I did.
Yeah, but the headline came from Cap, Mr. Cap.
Yeah, read the bio, bro.
Probably won't be the last.
Well, hey, I like that you pulled the trigger on that, though, and say, hey, we deserve to give them a little bit of respect. Is Urban Meyer just dapped up somebody? Urban Meyer's down there? Whoa. Is Justin Fields potentially going 1 overall? Wow. Urban Meyer's back in town. You golfing with him?
Chase Young is there, too. There was a picture of he and Chase speaking.
Wow.
Is he trying to recruit Chase down to Jacksonville, too?
Oh, no. Urban Meyer's back there trying to bring the band back together.
Uh-oh.
You guys should see this thing. With free agents, I can't fucking even meet people. They're signing other places. Need you guys to come back down to Duval County.
Ohio State Jaguars coming at you.
Hey, the Patriots moved to Houston. Then they moved out. Who says the Buckeyes can't move down to Duval County?
Why not?
Who's this guy on the workout right now? AJ, offensive lineman, defensive lineman.
I don't have it up, but one of their guys did 40 reps.
What's a good number for that?
Well, I think the D lineman is the one that did 40. I mean, 40 is very good. Anything O-line, D-line over a 25 is fine.
Yeah, that's all they have to do. The reason why that is important, right, is because that is their entire basic life. But they just have to showcase that they can get a certain amount. And then after that, it's like exceptional, okay, very good. But we just need to know that there's some sort of strength in there to kind of move forward. These tests all have, I'd assume, certain qualifiers. How many did you do?
I did 24. I was never I could never do a bunch.
Is that because the
torn pec?
Yeah. No, I tore the pec later after that.
How come you couldn't do a bunch? You're just not built for it? Too long of arms?
I don't know. I don't think I have. No, my arms aren't long. I just never been a super heavy bencher. It was always killed my shoulder. Yeah, it was just I still do it, but that wasn't great.
So what do you do now? You just put like 135 on there and just rep that thing up?
No, I put way more than that. I just have that different ball.
I can't do this. Oh, because your pinkies and stuff in your, you can't. It's hard to grip on that thing, so it gets you like a baby in here. And you're just doing that. So you're doing just skull crushers off your chest the whole time?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
How much weight you putting on there?
Well, it depends on the day, I guess. I don't know.
Today.
What's max day though?
I don't max. I'm 37 years old.
Oh, you're so cool.
Body.
Yeah. Okay, what is heavy day? Okay, what is
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. On that close grip, I don't know.
Say it.
You have to know. Who's putting it on? You got your kids putting the weights on? You don't know what the weights are?
How many reps do you want me to do?
Have you ever been in a gym before? You don't know what the weights are, dude? What's going on?
I had people.
5 rep. 5 rep.
Oh, 5 reps? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. With that close grip, it's tough. I could probably get up to 265.
Holy shit!
Probably not, though. It depends. There's different levels. Not super close, but you can go one more out. Yeah, then I could get.
Does Schlegs know the amount of bullshitting around in the bench you do? We cannot. Does Schlegs know about this? We need to give a call down to the strength and conditioning performance advisor for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Anthony Schlegel, who is an absolute savage in the weight room. Does he know that a guy he shared a cereal box with has no idea what he's benching in this world? What's going on here, AJ?
Yeah, Schlegs knows me well. I worked out with him for many, many years, and he's always begging me to come back and work out with him. But Schlegs is like a professional deadlifter. You could. There's videos of him wearing cut-off flannels, jean shorts, and boots, deadlifting like 750.
Weapon. Hey, that's the guy you want in your building.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, you can design a whole new place too if you want. Oh, really? Okay, so this is the Carhartt and Boots deadlift. Okay, we're gonna get a little toughness out of the boys over here, down there.
Oh, your 3-cone was 6.82, huh?
Is that good or bad?
Oh, it's a little slow in my eyes.
Oh, Scott Zeet says you 24 and a 6 point something. Doesn't know how you won 5th, is what he said.
Yeah, I don't know. What is a good time in the 3-cone?
I know none of these things. Like that guy did 40. I'm like, oh, that's good. Guys normally do 40. They're like, no, it's really good. I'm like, I fucking couldn't tell you.
And how many great draft picks fell out of the first round who are unbelievable pros who had like a 7-second 3-cone that meant nothing? DK Metcalf.
Yeah, DK Metcalf dropped, almost fell out of the first round.
Yeah.
Actually, that 3-cone's actually very, very good. 6.28 was like one of the best ones, so 6.82 is...
I mean, that's 1/6 of a second, though. 6/10 of a second.
Was that another linebacker or a DB or something?
That was like a DB.
Oh, okay, AJ knows.
Yeah. Lightning quick.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what in those tights too.
Yeah.
You know those tights. You remember we've pulled up photos of him from his pro day. The hair flowing. Click clack.
Yeah, that was the fastest in 2018.
He was the fastest linebacker?
No, that was the fastest time in 2018. 6.28. I was like,
hey, that boy, AJ.
That boy, AJ.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, you take that victory cigar.
All right, we got to get to a break. Rap sheet. Ian Rappaport's on the other side from the Alabama Pro Day. Let's hope he tells us something of, importance and relevance. That'd be great. Rap sheet's on the other side. About 4 minutes. Be a friend, tell a friend. You have got to experience so many things, both as a businessman off the field and on the field. Is there a moment when I ask this question that pops your mind, like, what's the craziest shit you've ever seen in your entire life? Because there was a time there where it felt like you were just getting dropped into insane situations and the world was like watching you do things. Man vs. Wild, you and that Bear Grylls guy, fucking electric. That was maybe the most electric shit I've ever seen. Is there anything that you think of whenever you think, like, what's the most ridiculous thing you've been a part of?
Probably some of the most ridiculous shit I ever been a part of was, I had got the restaurant which I'm in right now, and when we first got it, I would come in here and I would clean up and go outside in the front, sweep up, make sure everything looked nice and shit. And one morning I got up here and I noticed, damn, this is a funky ass smell. And I looked, to the side of my front door, and it's a big ass pile of shit. And I'm talking about human shit.
Yeah,
and it's right on the side of the door. So I was like, somebody done came and popped the shit right in front of the door. Like, oh, this shit is crazy. Like, I can't be in here serving food. Motherfucker come walk in and they smelling straight ass cheeks when they come in there. Like, I don't think that's the restaurant I need to eat in. So, man, I get the water hose and I'm hosing it down. And, I see, we got a couple, dolphins that usually walk back up in front. Hey, man, did you do this? Like, oh, no. So, one of them owned up to it. I said, look, man, check it out. So you don't do this no more. Look, you come by here, we get you we get you a broom and, you help us, we help you. You feel me? And, we put together a little, I put a proposition together for him, and I ain't cleaning up shit no more.
It's a win-win. It's a win for everybody on that one. Hey, one of your former teammates. Yeah, hey, everybody wins. You're helping the people, man. That's awesome. That's why people love you. But hey,
one of them owned up to it. Just a line of questioning. The line of questioning.
His name was Willie owned up to. Matter of fact, he just left out. He saying sweeping up. He like, hey, what's up? Oh boy, I've been looking for you. You feel? Okay. Yeah, we bust down together up in the front of the restaurant to get it all cleaned up and everything.
Hey, you're helping people. Hey, Willie went from shitting outside to working inside. Let's go.
Yeah. All right.
Let's go, Willie. Let's go.
Give it up for my boy Willie, man.
Every day is game day for these guys. It's showtime on the Pat McAfee Show.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out to what's his name?
Josh Norris.
Josh Norris?
Yeah. The guy that put the video together?
Yeah.
Welcome back. This is Marty Vicks with this song. Josh Norris on Twitter put a video together of Mack Jones overthrowing a wide receiver in the middle of the field. And then the cut is to Kyle Shanahan's side profile. Then it is a cut to Jimmy G overthrowing Emmanuel Sanders in the Super Bowl. And then it is a cutback basically for, oh my God, why are we in Alabama? From Alabama right now, reporter for the NFL Network. Also the host of the very impressive show Rap Sheet and Friends. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rappaport.
Yeah!
Rap Sheet, you got a boy.
You know, let's go. I was actually, I was hoping you wouldn't cut away from Marshawn before. I was actually talking to one of his proteges. I was going to put him on with him, but
it's a video.
Najee Harris.
Ian,
I don't know if it was live or not.
Ian, that was from the Super Bowl. Ian, okay, thanks for following the product.
My bad.
Okay, we all said Peyton Manning on that fucking day. All right, Ian. I mean, it was a big deal.
Some of us, hey, I called in. Some of us work. I was trying to make some actual TV happen.
Oh, thanks.
So,
Ian, let's talk about actual TV, okay? These pro days have become big deal because Combine didn't happen. There was a shot today, I think from the Mack Jones, which we will talk about in a second, his performance and thoughts. But there was a conversation. Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels, Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, and it looked like Matt Rule and Joe Brady had just left the conversation. Is the Indianapolis spring break that the NFL normally has around the Combine happening at all of these pro days, and what are you learning out there?
Yeah, I mean, so this was my first pro day I've ever done, because usually, you know, I've had the Combine, I've seen everyone I need to see, and by this time I want to just crawl into a hole and die and go on vacation. But this year I haven't left my house in like a year basically, except for going to the Super Bowl. So I kind of wanted to come out here and see some people, and it did have a Combine feel. I mean, I'm waiting to talk to Kyle and John Lynch, and I'm like, God, if Belichick could just stop talking, then I could get in there and have the conversation that I want to have. And that's basically what I spent most of my day doing. It was a lot of fun, and for people watching, it was, you know, it was good. It was who's wearing a mask and who isn't, and who's been in the sun and who hasn't, and who's been traveling the country, and what kind of gossip can you get. It was everything I had hoped. I would say everything I had hoped.
Good for you, Ian.
Yeah,
hey, Ian,
it's
what
all
kind
about
of
me.
What kind of questions are you asking coaches like Belichick or Kyle Shanahan, all these guys? Like, what kind of conversations can you have at these pro days?
Well, it's mostly one nice thing about this time of year is there's not a lot of like actual news, right? I mean, when the trade happened on Friday, that was obviously some news, but otherwise it's kind of mostly like gossip, right? So, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think of this guy? And anyone who watched Mack Jones today, there's literally a trailer that's going by. So I'm gonna
you're doing great. Yeah, good TV you're making, Ian.
Yeah.
Hey, good TV.
Wow.
I mean, come on.
It's a beautiful facility, by the way.
Anyway, so all the teams that really aren't going to have a chance to draft Mack Jones, I kind of asked them like what they think. I spent a while talking to some Alabama teammates, some support staff, like just get an idea for what people thought about the trade. Like talk to some Dolphins people about moving back, and just kind of good time to touch base with a lot of people and do some gossiping, which, as you guys know, is one of my favorite things in the world.
Hey, that's what we live off of right now is you guys gossiping and being, within the conversation. And I do believe the NFL just passed the 17-game season. Congrats to the NFL, the fans, and the
players.
The players,
They get the money.
Yeah, 1/17th bonus. There's a lot more money coming in than just 1/17th. It should be viewed differently, but I respect the fact that we got a 17th game as somebody who covers the sport and loves watching as a fan. But I do believe you're going to hear some gripes from the players. But for all of us, you got showcase weekend, wild card weekend. I mean, there's going to be great football coming up. We're thankful for it.
We also, I'm pretty sure. Do I have to do some TV? I'm pretty sure. Hold on one second. I'm pretty sure that we're getting a Black Friday post-Thanksgiving game, which is a fantastic showcase, which we've never had before.
On Amazon, right?
What time you need me?
Oh, what time?
3 minutes? I got 3 minutes.
Okay, well, let's get right to it. Did Mack Jones' stock drop today? Did you hear that from how he performed? Did you hear anybody talking about that?
I really didn't. It sounded like today went well. Went fine. I mean, these things, like, I don't know how much you can actually learn except to maybe see him move a little bit. I think what most people look for is, like, how does the ball come out of his hand? And then how do his teammates react around him? Like, that kind of stuff you can see in person where obviously you can't see it on film. Devonte Smith wasn't going to do anything today, and then Mack Jones got to him and kind of convinced him, like, that's meaningful. Like, that's a quarterback who can get his receiver to come out and run routes for him. Like, he's definitely a leader type. Did you know Josh Chapman?
Oh, yeah. Love
you guys
him.
Teammates?
Oh, yeah. I love Josh Chapman. Strength coach now down there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the greatest. So we spent a while talking, and he was saying that Mack Jones, when he was the scout team quarterback, it was like the Super Bowl to him, and he was talking trash to the defensive lineman. He's like, that's when I knew this kid was going to be legit, because he treated scout team like it was a really meaningful thing. And that's the kind of stuff that you can learn on a day like this, really.
Okay, last question before you have to go do TV, which I'm sure will be absolutely riveting. Justin Fields. Oh, look at that. Oh, you look good in that light. All right, last question real quick. Same day pro day. Why was that? Are they planning on everybody just that was at Alabama is going to go to Ohio State for Justin Fields' second pro day? What's going on with the scheduling?
I mean, and that's a great question. I have no answers. How about Florida and LSU being on the same day tomorrow? Half the scouts I talked to are going to Florida. The other half are going to LSU. It's never been much of an issue before because everyone has the combine, but hopefully we'll never be in this position again. But it is logistically annoying. I'll say that. All right, got to do my real job.
Hey, good luck out there, man. We're proud of you. See ya. Okay, Josh Chapman, by the way, former teammate of mine. He has one of the greatest clips in the history of the internet. Former employee here, Jeff Gorman, asked him about Thanksgiving, before Thanksgiving, and he goes on a rant about what he's going to eat for Thanksgiving. And Gorman is like kind of prodding it out of him. And he starts talking about sweet potato pie. He just goes through an entire, he's classic nose tackle. Mm-hmm. But he was captain, I think, for Alabama as a junior. They won a national championship. Then as a senior, now he's gone back and worked there. He is legend of a human. And what he's very dialed in with the locker room. Very well-liked guy. I think him talking up Mack Jones means a lot to a lot of people, I think, if I had to guess. He looked like he there were some incompletions today, though, AJ. Some incomplete. Now, talking Devonte into working out, by the way, huge.
I mean, yeah, it is huge. And Devonte, I thought, looked good. They threw him some high balls where he could go showcase how high he jumps. They actually redid one right before the infamous touchdown catch by Mack Jones. He threw a ball in the corner of the end zone. Devonte jumped about 80 feet in the air, but couldn't come down with it. So they redid it, and he caught the next one, got his both feet in. Like, the dude looks smooth. He looks really good.
And he wasn't even prepared to do that. That wasn't set up at all.
No.
Seems like that was set up.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little.
Hey, Devonte, you're going to be the first guy off. Everybody knows that. We're kind of battling right now. Is there any way we could get you to say you're not going to do anything, and then guess what? Mac.
Yeah, he's going to come in and grab you.
He's going to say, hey, come on. Hey, Hey, let's play football again.
Mac's a leader.
Hey, let's play football together again. Shout out to whoever planned that.
Mac's
genius.
You got to assume.
I hope Saban did it. I hope Saban's like, hey, here we go. And told him the whole plan.
This is what we're going to do, okay? I'm done with it. God, could you imagine? That's next level.
Yeah.
Devonte, listen, you're going to sound like you weren't even prepared for this. You didn't even do anything. We're going to throw you a ball. You're going to jump. I mean, we're going to do this whole thing.
Showcase you as well.
And guess what? Mac looks like I mean, this is a win-win for everybody. I guess we're doing chess around here. We're doing chess around here.
We'll send the strength coach out, tell him how Mack Jones used to talk shit to, the starting Alabama defense while he was on scout team.
Lighten him up. Because what was the first thing Rappaport said? Wait, and Devonte wasn't going to work out. Mac talked him into it. He said, we'll have our PR people even tell the fucking. Oh, wow.
Genius.
Good for that. That's why Alabama's Alabama. Yeah. Alabama, baby. Roll Tide. That's Bama football, baby.
I sure hope that's how it went down. But Mac did seem like he was having a good time. Like, he's smiling. He seems goofy and fun. Like, he does seem like he has good rapport with everybody. And there was even early on in this pro day I'm watching, he has like this play action. He's rolling deep, and he kind of like he almost could have rolled his ankle on Najee Harris taking a knee, and he kind of like threw the ball and got out of the way, and then just kind of smiled and patted Najee on the back. And I was like, geez, man, like that could have been nasty right there.
Catastrophic. How'd Najee do? Did he catch balls?
Yeah, he caught some balls, ran some routes, especially in the red zone. Yeah, he looked good to me. I love that dude.
I'm a big fan of his as well after coming on the show. I'm a big fan. What's that, pal?
Opening dates for the NFL season and the Super Bowl date have been announced as well, coming out of the owners' meeting.
Here we go. 17-game schedule has been locked in. Now,
so this is your 17-game schedule.
Bingo, got it. No, it's ESPN. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Maziano just broke the news. September 9th, opening day, and the Super Bowl will be February 13th, 2022.
So it's back a week or two or whatever, so they can add in another week there.
Right before Valentine's Day.
Hey, what are you doing? Trying to ruin love?
Come on.
Come on.
Yeah, that's their goal.
They don't care. Bro, God used to be on Sunday. Yeah. And the NFL was like, which day?
This is my day now.
At some point,
we want Sunday.
They could have picked Saturday. Yeah. You know what I mean? They could have told college football to go elsewhere.
Yep.
But they were like, which day is everybody done with? The day of rest? That's going to be our day. We're going to go ahead and do that. Sure, I guess there is the official schedule formula was released. Under the scheduling formula below, every team plays 17 regular season games with 1 bye week. Clubs will host 10 games overall, either 9 regular season games and 1 preseason game, or 8 regular season games and 2 preseason games. Got to talk about the business there. Home and away against its 3 division opponents. That's 6 games. The 4 teams from another division within its conference on a rotating 3-year cycle. That's 4 games. Then the 4 teams from a division in another conference, a rotating 4-year cycle. That's 4 games. And then 2 intra-conference games based on the prior year's standings, 2 games. These games match a first-place team against a first-place team in the same conference divisions and team scheduling. That's 2nd place, 3rd place, 4th place in conference, blah, blah, blah. And then 1 inter-conference game based on the prior year's standings on a rotating 4-year cycle. That's 1 game. Okay, so that's what we expected, by the way. Pumped up about that, them getting that whole thing done. I think my favorite part of this whole rescheduling was the confidential email that was sent from the NFL to all of the teams, basically talking about why the 17-game season is going to get passed or whatever. AJ, I only read the first sentence of this, and we're going to have to zoom in on this for me to really get it. But the first sentence of this, the NFL sent this around to the rest of the NFL. There is no higher priority than improving the health and safety of the players. Yeah. First sentence, okay? This is if you're going to be asked about the 17-game season, we want to let you know. First sentence in this motherfucking email, this memorandum is, there is no higher priority than the health and safety of our players. while this work is never done, okay, the changes implemented during the past decade have had a tremendous impact. As a result, the league is now positioned to expand the regular season for the first time since 1978. The effectiveness of our health and safety initiatives and our demonstrated commitment to continued improvement were central to the NFLPA's agreement to a 17th regular season game. Okay, so good. That's the first paragraph that was sent out to the teams. If anybody's asking, this is what happened. The NFLPA, it was in the new CBA, right, that they could do this at any time. It wasn't like the NFLPA was like, you know what, NFL, since you guys are doing such a good job of protecting us, we will. We'll just fucking go ahead and open that thing up. I love that the NFL is always working, though. No sentence left behind, by the way. Every single sentence is going to be like, this is why we're doing what we're doing.
Well, guess what? Because lawyers help write that letter. So that helps protect them in the back end, too.
Go back to the full screen of that thing. Yep. This memorandum was a page and a half. 3 people wrote it. Okay, this is like a song that has 14 lyric writers or whatever. You know what I mean? Like all right, listen, we need you, Christopher, right there in the front, okay? In the middle, Hans, is that the name? Hans Schroeder? Hans needs you to kind of, you be the meat of the sandwich. That's right. And then, Brian, you come in there at the end and just really wrap this thing up.
Bring it home.
But remember, health and safety, all the way throughout. That's awesome. I would say there was a few lawyers that wrote that memorandum.
It's smart. Did they claim that was confidential and they didn't want that leaking out?
Yeah, on the second page, it actually says right in the top right corner, confidential.
They know.
Then here's the end of that. The second resolution, 2021 M1 attached, is sponsored by the Media Committee and would approve the new media contracts and the scheduling procedures contemplated by those agreements, which were reviewed with you guys last week. Please note, we have also attached additional briefing materials in addition to the resolutions. So this was sent out to everybody that has to vote on these things. Remember, health and safety, we did great. Also, we just $110 billion deal.
Don't forget.
So just remember we got them all covered here in this 1 page and a half little layout here. Go ahead and vote yes for this if you could. The media committee says we're okay if we want to add another game or so.
I love it. I just love how obvious they are. Like, they know, hey, players are going to say, like, what are you talking about? Player safety, you want to add a game? So, like, let's just get it out there. Right. First line. We're going to answer it. We know this is going to be your first question. Guess what? We're not answering it because we just did right there.
And by the way, last paragraph is about the media. We don't even care about the money. We don't care. It's the last paragraph. The first thing we talked about is player safety. That's why we're going to add another game.
Protecting you guys.
You're welcome.
Important. Okay.
You're welcome, dude.
Best part is confidential, and they know. Hey, everyone on the planet is going to see this sheet of paper, so let's make sure we get this right.
Let's get to a break, shall we?
We did.
Oh, did we really?
Yeah.
This show stinks. No, but play this. Play this. Please play this. This song was sent to us.
This the waggle land This the waggle land This the waggle. Waggle, waggle, I'm feeling like Patty Mack, Waggle, waggle, you know the boys always back. They got my back. Never one stepping on out.
These are a little bit too old here. Hey, LA Joe put that thing together.
That sounds good.
Hey, waggle. Shout out LA Joe.
Wasn't LFO one of those boy bands?
Yeah, so those are light funky ones or something like that. This one is actually Lee Harold Oswald, I believe.
Okay.
Wow. That's pretty close.
We had the same thoughts. We did. By the way, your whole LFO thing was our exact, like you literally followed our exact thoughts while we were listening.
Like you were in the room.
Yes, you were in the room, yeah. Let's take some phone calls, I guess, because we... already took a break.
Already took a break.
Let's go to Dean in Montreal. What's going on, Dean? How are you, pal?
Hi, Pat, AJ, and the boys. How's it going?
Hey, not too shabby up here. How's Montreal?
Hi. It's beautiful. It's cold. Well, it's 15 degrees, so we're not that bad today.
Hey, isn't your Saskatoon up here? Where's Montreal at?
Montreal is in Quebec.
Quebec.
Oh, so it's north, right?
Yeah.
East of Toronto in Ontario.
Where's Saskatoon at?
That's out west. Well, more out west than me, at least. More towards Gumpy.
What? You got it, Dean. What do you want to talk about?
I wanted to try and make you guys a little bit of money. And I don't know if you guys can bet on hockey, but the Canadians coming back is a good thing for you because in 23 games in 46 days, like Pierre Maguire said, they're 1-9 in overtime losses.
Oh.
So in overtime losses, you guys can make quite a bit of money betting on them to lose.
Okay, thank you for that, Dean. We appreciate that so much. So we bet against the Canadians. They're 1-9 in overtime. So live bet that game gets to overtime. The Canadians are going to lose. Is that what he said, Gumpy? You are Canadian and a bettor. Is that what he said?
Spot on.
Okay, I like that a lot. We have some breaking news from Jay Glazer. Do we have the tweet? Go ahead. 2 weeks ago, Bruce sent me this photo. I immediately did two things. A, I threw up in my mouth a little. B, told him, oh, dude, you got to let me post this. He said, no way. And now I know he just saved it so he can build up his side hustle as a social media influencer. So as we expected, this Bruce Arians tattoo, Jay did know about it 2 weeks ago, and that has to be just the best Jay Glazer move of all time.
Well, I tried to fucking tell you guys, okay? I know everything that's going on. I was with Bruce. He got the tattoo, and I said, oh, dude, it's sick. Let me put this out. He said, no, we know why. I mean, I'm not fucking around when I say I get this stuff before anyone else gets it.
So you got J.J. Watt before. Yep. Nobody really knew that whole thing. The first COVID in the NFL.
Brian Allen.
That was that whole thing.
Yeah.
You really do. People think sometimes that, during season, Jay Glazer hits home runs during the season, Sunday on Fox.
Every week.
Off season, though, sometimes nowhere kind of relaxing. Is that what you do in the off season? You're just relaxing and kind of come out for moments like this?
Relaxing? You kidding me? I was hanging out with Demi Lovato and Kim Kardashian.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Fucking kidding me? I'm a huge deal. I mean, that's why I do shit like this.
Hey, I got a question for Jay. Jay, if you had this 2 weeks ago, couldn't you just screenshot the conversation in the picture?
Oh. No, it might have been on that deleting text app.
Yeah, they were gone. AJ, you fucking horse's ass. What do you mean? Don't question my methods. I had it 2 weeks ago.
Snapchat.
Once again,
I love Jay.
Once again, Jay Glazer does not deserve that.
No.
But it is awesome.
Sincere, it's full of flattery.
And by the way, I think a lot more eyes on Jay Glazer because of this potential outcome.
Yes.
And just like we knew it, though, Jay had that shit ahead of time. As soon as I saw the tweet, I thought that actually.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jay, what's next? You got any
No. We gotta. Let's go to Rock. Is there anything else that you're sitting on? Is there anything you're sitting on?
Let's just say I'm cooking a little something, but next, maybe Columbus, Ohio, and fucking smacking AJ in the mouth. Guy needs it.
Yeah.
I wonder if he knows about Jimmy G,
Well, I would assume Jay knows about Jimmy G. What's going on? Is Jay at the pro day?
Be patient.
Are you at the pro day?
No, I'm training with Francis Ngannou tomorrow. I can't.
Let's go to Evan in Buffalo. Evan, what's going on? Jay Glazer does not deserve that.
Love you, Jay.
Love you, Jay. Thank you, Jay. Evan, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, geez, I can't follow Jay Glazer like that.
Well, if it means anything, I thought the show was over 20 minutes ago. What do you want to talk about, man?
So, Pat, with obviously baseball, starting off soon, it got me thinking, why is it that, next to football, baseball is the most watched sport, when out of the four major sports, it's arguably the most boring compared to hockey and basketball. Is it just a media rights deal?
Where's your stats?
Yeah, Evan, what are you? Did you talk to Nielsen? Who are you?
Come on.
Who are you calling? Who's telling you that they're the second most watched sport in America? Baseball?
Maybe the total time, because they have 162 games, maybe like total time people have a baseball game on.
Or maybe like those local networks, which is a big part of the MLB deal, is the local numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume that the local numbers are being reported, like old school metrics are being reported. This is in potentially 450,000 homes or whatever. Like maybe that's what. Evan, where'd you get this number from?
I do not have a number, Pat.
You made it up.
Okay.
I'm reporting false numbers. I didn't look at the denominator.
You know what happens when you do that.
But what I mean is, general interest. There's more interest in baseball nationally than there is hockey and basketball.
Is there? I don't think basketball. I think you're wrong there, Evan. I think basketball has definitely passed baseball in interest. I'm not saying that is reflected upon ratings because I believe basketball is consumed in a much different fashion than the old school rating system can keep up with. And the NBA is going to have to figure that out, by the way. And maybe the NFTs are the way they figure that whole thing out because those are going for a lot of money. Hockey, though, hockey needs to garner more attention, and it just doesn't. I don't know why it never will. Nick's not here. I don't know why it never will.
They don't let their stars be stars, or their stars they don't promote them. They promote the teams instead of the players.
Well, and they don't really let their clips be spread.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just there's a lot of things, and they didn't allow the players to go into the Olympics, which is, I think bad marketing. You got a lot of people that watch the Olympics, and maybe they'll enjoy the sport because the best players are playing, which maybe they'll become NHL fans. And I mean, they lifted that ban, but a lot of the decisions that could potentially help grow the game outside of the cities it's already big in, I think they have really dropped the ball in at the NHL.
Well, like AJ just said, they promote the players, they don't promote the stars, but the stars also promote the teams before they, promote themselves.
Super chill.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of real, headlines coming out.
Chirping.
Yeah,
They
but
don't
on the
chirp,
ice there
right?
is. On the ice there's a lot.
Yeah.
And then in the media though, it's real, everything. And we actually talked to Pierre McGuire about it. How there's a respect almost for the culture of the sport is hey, there's nuances of the game. We do this whole thing and just keep it moving. But
hey, Pat, don't you think that's a huge miss by the TV networks in the NHL and whatever? Because any professional hockey players you've ever been around, they're usually are some of the funnest guys you can be around. And they're hilarious and they're super relatable. No matter, they could be the biggest star in the league. They're normal people. And a lot of times you don't get that with other sports.
I've said this a couple times now. I think the NHL did a much better job at marketing the game back in the day than they do now. Sidney Crosby should have been known by every human that existed. Yeah. And there's a lot of people that have no fucking idea that he exists.
Especially when you look at the cup celebrations when they do win and they're all over the place. They're awesome.
Awesome. Hockey's awesome. Let's go to Dylan in Delaware. What's going on, Dylan in Delaware?
Yeah, what's up, Pat? I wanted to talk about
a little dope.
How the Eagles fans in the comments on Instagram are saying fire Howie. All the comments are fire Howie.
Do you not like Howie?
No, I don't. Not particularly. I think he misses in the draft a lot.
Is he all right?
Okay, Dylan, we appreciate that. I think Dylan likes the dope up there in Delaware. And that's okay, but I think he's saying that a lot of the fans believe that Howie Roseman is the issue in Philadelphia. You get rid of the head coach, you get rid of the quarterback, only one real, franchise name still there. It seems like the Eagles fan that I'm around thinks he's also terrible.
Yeah, he's a fucking accountant.
That's what everybody says. He's an accountant, but he's also following Joe Douglas, who put together a Super Bowl winning roster. I mean, it is, and the whole place is upside down. Who knows? Dope Dylan in Delaware.
It's also tough when they draft Jalen Reagor and then you watch the Vikings celebrate because they passed on Justin Jefferson 2 picks before it.
Hey, Justin Jefferson really good at the football.
Stud.
Let's go to James over there in Seattle. What's going on, James?
Hey, how you doing, Pat and the boys? AJ?
Hey, much better now. What do you want to talk about? Love this guy. He's not.
Hey, man. Gump the other day was alluding to Seahawk fans being fair weather fans.
Yeah.
Hey, that's 100% true. I live in this city. I see the 12s out there. They're nowhere to be in sight these days.
Whoa.
Great big phony.
Now, we don't know if that guy's lying or not, but I'm not saying it. He did. From deep in the hills of Humboldt County, the clock ticks on the dip and rip baseball card bonanza. We're getting close to baseball's opening day, and Canadips has another giveaway to celebrate. You may not have noticed, but baseball cards are very back.
Yes.
Canadips is opening 2 prized boxes of Topps Definitive 2020 baseball cards. 16 total cards, all autographed with a total value of $4,000. Each card could be worth hundreds or even thousands, and none are easy to find. Go to @Canadips on Instagram and give them a follow, or head to canadipscbd.com/opening day and enter your email. You're allowed to enter twice. @Canadips, follow them on Instagram. You automatically enter into the potential giveaway here, or go to canadipscbd.com/opening day. That's CANNADIPSCBD.com/opening day. There will be 16 winners, one of each card, and one winner of a PS5.
Whoa!
So head to CanadipsCBD.com/opening day and enter to win. Each winner will be picked on March 31st on @Canadips, @CANNADIPS. Instagram Live. Some cards in the set could be worth 10K plus. Who knows? Wow. Let's go. Shots candidates. AJ, before we hand this thing over to a trailblazer in sports radio, Chris Mad Dog, do you have anything to say to these serious listeners?
I appreciate being able to share some time with a big personality like you, so thank you.
Well, another big personality is coming in about 6 minutes with a man who trailblazed himself into a decades and decades long career talking about sports. Mad Dog Unleashed, Chris Mad Dog Russo on the other side of this break. We'll see you manana. Got there.
That was a nice little beat, too.
Yeah, it was. It's called El Gordo.
Zeet's theme song.
Oh, come on.
Ty.
No, that's what he said. He made it for Zeet.
Yeah, Ty, but you kind of, when you said it there, it sounded like you were potentially
Yeah, it was like a slam dunk.
in a different language.
No. Because I know that song was made specifically for Zeet.
Wow.
That's despicable.
Song of endearment.
Is it?
Yeah.
Let's go to Lee Battle Diner in Starkville, Mississippi. This is the second call from the SIP, by the way.
Oh, big Mississippi show.
Yeah. MISSISSIPPI. What's going on, Lee Battle? Great to have you back on here, pal.
Hey, Cuzzy, boy, Mr. Hawk, happy Tuesday, Tommy.
Happy Tuesday to you too, Lee Battle. Great to hear from you. What do you want to talk about?
Hey, Cuzzy, I got somebody who wants to ask my question for me today. Is that all right?
Oh, Lee, don't fucking do it, Lee. Lee.
Come on, Lee.
Come on, Lee, don't do it.
Hey, Pat.
Probably his dog.
Lee.
Well, I mean,
Lee had a good fucking run too.
yeah, I was excited for Lee Battle.
Me too. By the way, wasn't going to go to the calls.
Usually you don't right after the.
It's a very nice day. It's about to rain for like 4 days straight. So I was going to go wrap up business and potentially go swing this new set of golf clubs. that I have.
Nice.
I was potentially going to do that, but I saw Lee Battle and I'm like, you know what? We'll go through the phone calls. And what does Lee do?
You ruined it.
Why'd Lee do that?
That's a.
I like he was
bummer.
getting creative though. Maybe we should be thankful for that.
Yeah, but
Who was it going to be?
I don't know. He was kind of low in his voice there.
Why change the recipe? I feel like Lee Battle always delivers. You know.
Was he tapping into an impression?
Well, yeah, I think he was tapping into an impression, which maybe we should have gave him more time, but it came in soft. Anytime you come in soft, by the way, people are immediately going to tune out. That's why if you ever get into the microphone talking game, your first time coming in cannot be soft, cannot be hesitant, cannot be anything, because as soon as you do that, the rest of the time you speak, everybody's going to be like, oh, that was the motherfucker that was really nervous to talk the first time. So you need to come in, you know what I mean? You need to come into the conversation. You need to, be like, hey, maybe I shouldn't be a part of here, but I'm here, and this is going to happen. Lee Battle, always a good call, because the leadoff, how you guys doing down there? Then he gets in there. I like that he took a swing at the bat. Like, Rondale Moore will happen every once in a while.
That's right.
I saw some of that. It's a talented kid.
How'd you know?
He's very good at football, dude, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think he's very good at football.
35.
I did almost miss it. Almost missed it completely, but yeah.
Well, I did. There was some people on Twitter who said, what happened to the interview? Where was it? It did happen.
It did.
It just felt like there was no chance I was going to get any better. You know what I mean? It felt like maybe could toss it over to the boys there, but really, is now the time. We'll have him back on, AJ. He'll be good the next time, I think. Really good conversation with. It's my fault, not his, by the way.
Yeah, I wasn't saying anything about that. And Pierre,
you kind of were though.
Yeah, you did. You were alluding.
You said you missed it. You said. By the way,
I almost missed it.
Hey, did you watch it back?
Rondale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a point about a minute 30 in where you actually almost see me go, okay, well.
Yeah.
All right, what do we?
Saw that.
I was trying to. I didn't really know what. All right.
I mean, you gave him the foot drill. You did what you could. Yeah.
I gave him my bet, dude. Sometimes you have off days.
I knew something happened because I went back. I pulled up the show and I'm scrolling through it, and just seeing the thumbnails. I wanted to see when the guest popped up because I wanted to see Rondale, and all of a sudden I saw his head pop up, quick, boom, and it was gone. And so I'm like, okay. I went back, ran, my cursor over there and realized, all right, this is pretty quick. So I thinking, all right, something happened. Someone's connection dropped. Something happened.
Is that the fastest?
Well, a minute in though, I see you and I saw that moment. What'd you say? Would you say okay?
Yeah, I thanked him for something at one point. I was like, oh my God, this is not going well at all. Was that the fastest you think? That's the fastest.
Yeah, for sure.
We've ever. Joe Flacco was on a little quicker.
He was, but he said, hey, what's up? I got to go spin the football right now.
Yeah, he was in the background. Mm-hmm. But we definitely labeled him in the show.
Oh, yeah, he was in the title for sure.
Because he popped his head into the FaceTime we were having with Brandon McManus. Mm-hmm. And I said, Flacco! Hey, you!
He's on the show.
And he said, hey, how's it going? I said, thank you for saying that. We're definitely going to say you're a part of the show now. And he was, oh, and he just literally.
Yeah.
So Flacco's the shortest.
Yeah.
than Rondale.
Mm-hmm.
Still not the worst.
I think one time we had Greg Olson, and that was like 4.5 minutes or 5 minutes because he was
really.
It wasn't a bad interview. He gave us like 10. And he was like, I'll just do 5.
Oh,
something like that.
Jerome Bettis too. Remember that was way back.
5 minutes still doubled it though.
Yeah, that's still longer than Rondale.
Yeah.
Sometimes when they get on for like to promote a product or whatever, they'll like do the whole thing. And I, at this point, and this is not me saying like bigger than this thought, but at this point in my potential hosting career, I ain't fucking doing it. Okay, you're saying a dog and pony show for whatever product you have. You're not saying the whole thing. I have a show here too. Like, you know what I mean? Like we have people that dedicate time. I'm not doing the same bullshit we're not doing this that you do everywhere. We appreciate what you're doing. It's a good hustle, and we'll talk about the product, but we're not doing the bullshit. Blah blah blah. No. Jerome Bettis, he came on. He was supposed to be a part of a call. This was whenever we were still, I think, recording out of the basement. I think at this point we were still recording in the basement of my house or whatever. And it was a big get. We were pumped for Jerome Bettis, and we had I think like 15 minutes with him or whatever. And I was like, yeah, Jerome Bettis, we'll fucking do 15 minutes, no problem. And then we call the number that he's supposed to be on, and it's a lady, and she goes, hi, we have another call set up. He only has time for 5 minutes or something like that. And we're like, oh, okay, that's fine. And then she goes, okay. And then she literally just handed the phone over to the bus, right? So we're like, oh, Jerome definitely told her, like, we're only doing 5 minutes. I'll be the bad cop, good cop. That was a terrible conversation. So I always leave him out of the terrible combos we've had recorded thing, but I do believe that one deserves a mention every once in a while.
Okay, honorable mention.
Yeah, I think that one deserves a mention.
Hell yeah.
I didn't get a good 5 minutes out of him either. He was selling something. I forget.
Yeah, I was going to say 4.5 minutes of it.
His restaurant's good, by the way.
Is it?
Grill 36.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Got drunk there one night. Pretty good place.
So what's your plan though if you ever get back to if they ever have Media Row again, Radio Row at the
That's
Super Bowl?
different.
Everybody's promoting something.
Yeah, that's different though. I have made a rather large exception for that because
you have to.
I actually want to do Radio Row where we actually shoot out. I actually want to do Radio Row as a observe and report. Like that's what I think that's been on the table there for however long they've been doing it.
So we're thinking drive-by interviews?
No, not even interviews. Just like, young Jeezy just walked by. I believe he is on his way over to blah, blah, blah. Because that's much more interesting than the goddamn...
Yeah,
that's a great idea. Hey,
Aaron Darnold
I think that's
promoting
an
Pizza Hut.
awesome idea, and I think you'd get people would just be curious. That big time people probably pop on for a minute or two at a time if it wasn't like just structured like, okay, we're going here, like they would say, man, what are these guys? They seem like they're having fun, and they would jump up.
People get paraded around there with their teams. There's like 4 or 5 people dragging people around back and forth. Got to get here in 2 minutes. We got to be here in 2 minutes or whatever.
And everyone on their team looks like they just ran the New York City Marathon 5 times. So frantic.
And they are so close to getting fired at all times, it feels like.
Hey guys, we only have 90 seconds. We really have to move.
I will never succeed. I'll be homeless if we don't do this. That's what they act like. It's insane running around there. So I think that is the exception, though, where it's just one big marketing bullshit ploy thing,
Yeah, if you want to be down there, you understand the deal. But there's an art to it of, you're selling a product, but you're going to get to it, you're going to mention it, but you're going to actually have a conversation in between.
You like tailgating? Let's get some phone calls.
Imagine the person who had Patricia that day.
Oh, no phone.
No wallet.
No wallet.
No keys.
I can't even get in the stadium. I'm going to lose my job because of you.
What he said? He said,
long night.
I think he said there was a reunion with the New England folks last night.
Yeah.
Like that. He came in, no phone, no wallet.
They almost turned him away, right?
Sweating.
Yeah, sweating bullets when he got to us.
His collar looked like a deep V-neck.
He said, it's great to talk to you, dude. It's great to have you. Great to have you, man. Yeah, Radio Row is something, definite exception. Definite exception to the rule.
And free pizza.
Have to.
That was also Patricia's
shakes.
Yeah.
Last Radio Row as a head coach, lo and behold.
Yeah, but he needs to do those again. He was. He brought those.
The MVP of the day.
I do believe Jeezy was maybe on the most moves. Jeezy did, I think, 45 shows within a 15-minute period. It was unbelievable watching that.
Everybody wants Jeezy.
Snowman, please, come on. Come on.
What was he promoting?
I think
Life.
It might have been his gold bottles. I think he was maybe selling a champagne or maybe an album or something.
Ooh.
I forget what it was.
Champagne.
Jeezy's got me through a lot of workouts in life. Me and Jeezy. Jeezy's been there. You know what I mean? Jeezy will always show up for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Drake used to. Now he starts singing, for love and everything. I don't need that whenever I'm about to fucking get on this Stairmaster.
No.
Okay, Drake, I need you hustling out of Toronto. Okay, that's what I need right now. Jeezy has always been there for me.
It's like the Get Rich or Die Trying.
Best album of all time. Best rap album of all time. Always shows up. There's a lot of debate on my Instagram, by the way.
Really? People were questioning.
People were showing up in photos I posted 2 weeks ago in the comment section. They let me know how stupid I was for my IG story last night. It was a nice little activity.
What'd you say in your story?
I was going to go through the entire Get Rich or Die Trying album and talk about how it's the greatest rap album of all time, and there's no debate. And the reason why I believe that is because every single song is a smash. Every single song is good. There's other albums that are good, okay? Graduation is obviously good. Dr. Dre obviously has some good ones. Tupac, Biggie. You go through the entire thing. But for me, Get Rich or Die Trying, every single song is a smash. And I was listening to Pandora, and In the Club came on. And I was like, the weather was nice, and I had the windows down. It was like I was driving to school in high school. I listened to that song like 100 times a day, basically. And then I reminded myself, like, this fucking album they don't make albums like this anymore. Nope. So I immediately went through the album, and I was like, I'm going through every fucking song on this IG story. I only made it through 5 or 6, but I got the point across.
Yeah, all bangers.
All bangers, that album. All bangers, AJ.
This was was this the black and white selfie videos in your car?
Yeah, there was a liquid death can in my cup holder. I got a couple tweets from people telling me to drive smart or whatever. I'm like, yo, that's non-alcoholic water, dude. Fucking get over it. Ugh. It's great water, by the way.
Unbelievable.
Ice cold.
Opposed to alcoholic water, right?
Oh, no way! This is great news here on Tuesday, March 30th. Somebody got paid. Who was it? At My Sports Update is reporting that Jeremy Fowler is reporting that left tackle and the Raiders, Colton Miller, have reached an agreement on a 3-year, $54 million extension with over $42 million in guarantees. So the Raiders, who cut basically their entire line, have now signed a left tackle to an extension and Denzel Good, I believe a guard, to an extension. They had visits with Kyle Long. He ended up on the Chiefs. Maybe Gruden just hated the offensive line and wants to redo the whole thing because they obviously have some money to pay some people. They bring back Incognito as well. So maybe everything that we thought was happening originally is for a much different motive over there in Las Vegas.
I mean, that's a pretty good deal, though. 3 years and $42 million of it is guaranteed, and you'll become a free agent once again in 3 years when you're still somewhat young.
Yeah, good for him. Good for the Raiders. I like that people are getting paid. Justin Fields just threw one right in the dirt here against Northwestern.
Oh, no.
First quarter.
Oh, no.
He's not. Pro Day's not happening still, is it?
No, we're watching the game against Northwestern. We're on the Big Ten Network here.
It's a good game so far.
The stadium looks great.
Hey, it's a Big Ten championship, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Justin Fields drops backs, pressure out of the pocket, stiff arm somebody, extends a play, gets slaughtered from the blind side, keeps the play alive, almost throws a pick. See, that's that shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Teams are watching this right now, right after the Pro Day.
Can't have it.
Backup punter came out. But did the punter punt today in the Pro Day?
If he did, they didn't show it.
What's that all about? He's good. Crispin, right?
You can't really. Do you think they can? A guy punting on an indoor facility with coaches standing around, could you tell if a punt is good or not?
Well, they take him outside, I'd assume, right?
Even harder to see, I think.
Because of sunlight?
What are you, blind?
What are you talking about?
Even harder to tell if the punt is good or not. Yeah, you can see if you're trying to pin people inside the 20, you can see that. But if a guy's bombing the ball, I mean, I think it's tough to tell with the hang time and everything. The dude can smoke a ball 75 yards with no hang, and everyone's like, man, this dude has the strongest leg ever.
Okay, that happens in college a lot, by the way. There's a lot of these guys who just, and we talked about this before we got on the show, actually. So Justin Bethel and Matthew Slater, all right? These are two all-pro special teams guys. Both of them are on the New England Patriots. Both of them just signed an extension for a couple more years. Mm-hmm. Jake Bailey, their punter, unbelievable punter out of Stanford. If I was him with those two guys playing gunner, I would drop that thing about a half an inch off the ground, and I would hit it 95 yards every single time and just say, we got the two best coverage guys in maybe NFL history. Slater definitely in there. Bethel has an, they're unbelievable. You just hit that thing as far as possible. But in the NFL, it's much different than college punting. You're 100% right. There's a lot of punters across the country in college who their fan bases love, and I appreciate the hell out of them. And I think they automatically assume they're going to make it to the NFL. There's only 32 jobs, and you got grown-ass men trying to do the same exact thing. There's only a few jobs open. That Crispin kid, I thought he was athletic enough to maybe make the transition into a NFL punter. I'm excited to see if he does or not, because there's a lot of guys that don't make it even though they got big, strong legs out there.
Well, he's definitely going to get a shot, but the thing is, how do you evaluate punters coming out of college? Because a lot of them do that stupid rugby thing where they run sideways and hit a liner because the guys can release whenever they want.
That's what I did. And the way they evaluated it, Tom Telesco watched me in warm-ups at the Meineke Car Care Bowl when I was fucking around basically with my roommates who were redshirted, so they were going to be around. This was our last game together, basically. I had already moved out of Morgantown. This was basically it, you know. So before the game, we were just fucking around. I was throwing balls. I was kicking balls for like an hour and a half or whatever. And Tom Telesco said, I have no idea if this guy's going to be able to learn how to NFL punt, but he kicked for an hour and a half before the game. Then he kicked during the game. He's got a strong leg. So I think the big thing is like athletic. Are they athletic enough? Do they have a strong leg? And do you think they can figure it out? I think that's just from my circumstance. But you're right. It is difficult to see who's going to make it in the NFL and who's not. And they'll probably just get put on that carousel and who's going to stick and who's not. You know, it's tough.
I mean, it's a tough life, man. I mean, credit to you what you did, but man, it's tough if you do get on that carousel and you're going in for those workouts with 3 or 4 other kickers like every week. Like that would be, it's like auditioning for a job if you're an actor.
And it's like pro day too. You know, like how we're judging Mack Jones pro day. He had 3 incompletions or whatever. Like, does that drop him down?
Yeah.
When you're kicking in those workouts, those carousel workouts, these guys literally just kick from the same spot, and there's 10 of them. It's like, all right, whoever hits the most, like, we're going to go ahead and sign. You get a job right now if you would like it. And then the other 2 guys, boom, boom. I'll see you next week in fucking Tampa. All right, see you down there. Like, that's kind of how the whole thing goes.
And look what happened to Ryan Allen. He had an unbelievable Super Bowl. Patriots find Jake Bailey, and now, you know, Ryan Allen doesn't have a job anymore as a punter.
Jake Bailey's very good.
Yeah, he is.
And Bill Belichick's big on, like, the fair catch, no yards or anything like that. That's why he has Bethel and Slater. It'd be really hard for me not to look out there and just be like, these fucking guys are paid too, and they're really good. Mm-hmm. I'm going to hit this as far as I can every single time. But, Clay in Boston, what's going on? Maybe the last call.
What's up, Pat? Guys, y'all looking good? Feeling good today?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, I have been dieting. Thanks for that. The boys and the mustache on Connor is really coming in full. Ty looks very handsome today, obviously.
Thank you.
Did you wear? No, it was your sweats, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was your sweats. And
Jeans
Zeta,
yesterday.
And Zeta looks thin. You know?
Oh, yeah.
It's been a great day. We appreciate that. AJ's always handsome. How are you doing, Clay?
Good, brother, good. Hey, while we're on the topic of looking, Foxy, I was a little disappointed in him not sporting repping the gear for tonight's Final Four ticketed game for the Michigan Wolverines.
All right. We get it, dude. You guys are good at basketball.
Yeah, you got to give it to us, man.
I actually, well, the credit. You guys are really
good. Okay, Fox. Thanks. Way to go, Fox. Way to give them
way to get off your high horse.
Yeah, way to give them the okay, the stamp of approval from Foxy.
They're good.
Yeah, I mean,
they are good, huh?
They don't care, though. They wish they were good at football, and that's what I'll always go back.
Wow. Michigan State's good at football, right?
Mel Tucker.
Nah.
Oh.
Get smacked.
Oh, they're not.
But we beat Michigan, so nothing else matters.
Oh, yeah, you're
That's
right.
right.
You're right.
They were plus 1,100 in that game, too.
They do be like that, too, yeah.
Yeah, they do be like that sometimes.
Clay, what do you want to talk about?
Hey, my real question, though, is am I the only one in the world that was thinking when the Dolphins pulled off this major trade that they were stocking up to possibly go and get Russell Wilson? I mean, everyone says it reaffirmed, you know, their love for Tua, but I'm thinking put Tua together with a couple of these first-round picks, you get Russell. I mean, you're an automatic contender.
Great question, Clay. Great acknowledgement. I think the Dolphins already had enough picks if they wanted to. Now, them stockpiling and moving down in the draft, I'm not sure that helps, but maybe that's what they're doing, AJ. Maybe they're in for Russell Wilson.
It's hard to, like, count anything out because we know between now and through the draft, like crazy things happen. So yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Who is Tua's backup right now?
Jacoby Brissett.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So they're set. I mean, what if they wanted to try to trade a bunch of picks to Seattle, get Russell, then does Tua go to Seattle? I mean, for Seattle, that'd be intriguing if you know you're possibly going to lose Russell, which you probably will after this next season. Do you like Tua?
And then they have 4 picks in the top 50 this year.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
they could really turn that entire program around.
Yeah,
they could partner Tua with Devonte Smith.
They could also maybe like get an offensive line out there too.
True.
I mean, we saw a stat on a graphic made by a 17-year-old kid that probably gonna make $1 billion making those graphics. Mm-hmm. He's been in the top 3 for most sacked in the NFL, like 7 out of the 10 years of his career or something like that. He gets killed back there. He holds on to the ball, but he gets killed back there.
He does.
Hey, does Warren Sharp or anyone like that do any of the studies on these quarterbacks, like when their numbers, how many times they're sacked with how long they hold the ball and move around the pocket, and like it's not exactly comparable when it's a guy like that can move like Russell and extend plays compared to like a statue back there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's because that is what everybody says. Whenever that came out yesterday, all anybody said was he's got to learn to get the ball out of his hands quicker. And it's like Andrew Luck, they said the same thing to him. But then also maybe there should be plays that should be specifically designed to get it out. There's so many levels to every decision that's being made and how you could potentially counteract those decisions with other decisions. Like Russell Wilson holding on to the ball too long or whatever, and that's why he's getting hit. It's like, okay, why not draw up some plays then where it's out very quick, where it's like a timing thing, like a Peyton thing. And they're like, well, that's not best for offense. It's like, well, maybe it is best for your offense because your quarterback's getting killed. There's so many, you could do for all these stats. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, especially, when it comes to pressure, every offense needs to have, every play needs to have like multiple hot routes, hot reads when you know someone's coming. Like if you're sitting there in the slot and you know the nickel is coming and they're trying to disguise it, you have to recognize that at the line of scrimmage and turn around, run your little slant, run whatever it calls for when the guy's blitzing right over top of it.
Hey, go run your little route out there.
Yeah. Catch the ball.
Just turn around, let me throw it to you so I don't get killed.
Please.
That's what he said.
God. My back's tighten up.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
The chair?
No, the chair obviously stinks.
Yeah.
You guys, everybody in here has brand new chairs, by the way.
I tell you, this back's
everybody.
nice.
Everybody has brand new chairs in here except for me.
We've tried integrating the new chairs with a high base. It's pretty hard to integrate.
I was going to say, the desk, the size of the desk, the tallness of it, if you will, kind of hurts your chair.
Yeah, it is.
Ability.
Because if I get in one of them comfy chairs,
then you're too low.
I'm too low.
Then you're down here.
I'm doing one of these.
And you just look foolish.
Can't do any of this.
Can't be doing this.
Can't do that. Can't do that.
It's just foolish.
Yeah, you can't do it. Nobody.
You just can't do it.
Now, people do that. That's okay.
Of course.
But for me, the way I am, I can't do that.
No.
Can you drop that one down and show us what it may look like?
Well, that's what I think so. Yeah.
It does drop pretty low.
Oh man. Yeah. It needs to go lower.
You know what I mean? Like this is tough, isn't it?
You got to actually angle the mic down.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I'm being told by my sources.
If they pan down on you and cut the space from your top of your head to the top.
It'll look even worse, dude, down here.
Just gotta be real close up.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's fun. Who's running the camera?
Foxy back here. Yeah, Foxy cuts cameras and zooms in, zooms out. This isn't bad though, I don't think.
I kind of like it down here almost. At a certain point, I'm enjoying it now.
That looks good.
That's level, baby.
Yeah, exactly. I got a low center of gravity.
Yeah, we're pretty
Connor,
good.
why are you laying your hands on the table? Why can't you put your arms up?
Because that's what we were referring to.
No, because it has to be like this now.
Because if he goes no arms, that would look even worse, I think.
Yeah, I mean, now it's just absolutely foolish.
You have to.
You can't do that. It's got to be here.
These chairs, the chair that I'm in is not that comfortable.
Well, it doesn't even have the arms. You need arms if you want to come
but I stand so much.
Yeah, you're against arms.
What do you have over there? A stool? Because you sit. What is yours?
No, it's not that comfortable. It's like I don't. It doesn't really have arms. I don't know what you call it. I don't know. But you're right. I've tried other chairs that are more comfortable, but they're too low. Like I can't even reach the desk.
Yeah.
AC Slatering a cooler out there, dropping his piss bottles into it.
His camera.
I'm glad Connor knows what AC Slater is.
Yeah. What do you think?
Of course, I'm not.
He's too young. He's too young for Saved by the Bell.
It's all right.
Hey, they're rebooting that, aren't they?
Well, as long as they should remix that song. If the teacher pops a test, no, I'm in a mess, and my target on my homework last night. Right low in my chair, they won't know that I'm there, and if I hand it in the mall, it'll be all right. So that's it.
YouTube's going to get you for that.
I'll tell you what, it sounded so similar. Yeah, they probably will send me a cease and desist there. I was a big Saved by the Bell fan.
Hey, Screech died, didn't he?
Rest in peace, by the way. Yeah. And I guess Zach, he went on to be a lawyer. Pretty prestigious lawyer.
Yeah, he did. Hey, he was governor, wasn't he, too?
I don't know, man. I think AC Slater is in every single fucking hotel.
Yep.
As soon as you get in there,
he's explaining the movies to you, right? Every single movie.
As soon as you get to a hotel, you know who's going to be there? AC Slater.
What was that deal like?
I don't know. Hey, we'll put 7 billion eyeballs on you every single day, dude. It's the same one. He had to film that, once, two? It's probably 4 minutes of work.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, doesn't he have to update it with the newer movies? I'm sure he updates it every couple months.
He probably does that in the basement, right? Just walks down there.
Green screen.
Looks handsome. He's lived an interesting life, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
the dude doesn't age. He looks the same now. He looks better now than he did on the show.
Whoa, AC Slater, dude, when he was going for the championship, dude?
Yeah, shooting for takedowns.
Against Nedick.
Marvin
He was
Nedick.
wrestling Nedick.
Yeah, Marvin Nedick from Bally, babe.
You know who did not? No, actually, I think he's a fan. Belding. Isn't
he's an interesting character.
Isn't he a WWE fan? He's big.
Let me put my chair up. This is ridiculous.
Big personality.
Big WWE fan. Big creep as well.
What?
Whoa, Belding?
Whoa,
man.
Whoa.
I can't say that.
I don't know if you can. You know a lot more about him than I do, apparently.
Just the strange
Did
dude.
I
He's a
say
strange
that?
Okay, so
He's a strange dude.
All right. Well,
I'm going to be honest with you. Mark Lopez has done a lot.
Oh, yeah.
General Hospital?
It's easier to count what hasn't he.
You can't forget about Pac Blue, Zeke.
Yeah.
Pac Blue, was that
The Bike Cops on USA.
when was Zach Morris the
Franklin and Bash.
There it is. He was Bash, right? You never watched. That's unbelievable.
I did not see it because that show stunk.
Come on.
It was on like TBS, wasn't it?
It's on
A lot of
TNT.
slander right now for the Saved by the Bell cast.
Hey, listen, I love Zach Morris. I love Mark Paul Gosselaar.
What, are you going to bury Lisa Turtle next?
No, of course not.
Sound like it.
Yeah, he was, Peter.
You remember the caffeine pills episode?
Oh, yeah. So excited.
Yeah. They got credit for tackling real subjects there.
As they should have. I was eating my cereal just like, seems pretty jacked up.
Well, there's that episode, too, where Zach Morris turns down the doobie and says, hey, smoking isn't cool.
There's no hope with dope, Ty.
That's right.
That's a good one.
He was wrong. Let's go to Finn in Colorado. What's going on, Finn? That is not investment advice.
Hey, boys, how's it going?
It's terrible, dude. I'm watching a Northwestern Ohio State game. The show stinks. You can make this thing better, though, Finn. What do you want to talk about?
I'm a huge Packers fan. I'm a little starstruck right now, actually. AJ, you're one of my top 3 Packers of all time.
Hold on. Who's the other top? Who's the other top 3? Who's AJ in there with? Who's the Mount Rushmore?
A-Rod and Jordy Nelson.
A-Rod, Jordy Nelson, AJ Hawk. Okay, let's go.
Good list.
I actually got to attend a practice one time and watch AJ pick off A-Rod.
Whoa. AJ, you remember that? That probably didn't happen. Was that something that happened often, or?
No, I don't know if I ever picked him off in practice.
Oh, this guy's lying.
no.
You're fucking lying,
Probably
Finn.
Frank Zombo.
That might have been somebody else. Anyway.
Zombo's a fan.
Hey, Finn, I do like the fact that that's just a story you tell them.
AJ Hawk, beat him up.
I was at practice fucking this guy, AJ Hawk, flying
No,
around.
I'm sure it happened because Aaron would get mad because if I ever got a pick, I would punt the ball super far. He'd get pissed.
Yeah. So you didn't run it back for a touchdown. You punted that thing immediately upon getting it.
I would start running, I'd get outside, and then all the coaches and offense would be coming at me, and I would just blast it as I was running.
Athlete. I love it. Equipment manager's like, this motherfucker. Gotta go climb across the neighborhood, jump 2 fences to go get this ball. Finn, what do you want to talk about?
My question is, why aren't we seeing veteran defensive players flock to Green Bay on vet mins? We've seen Reggie White, Charles Woodson, Julius Peppers all come to Green Bay, have success. I would love to see Richard Sherman, who's a free agent right now, maybe come on a vet min, come over to Green Bay, bring his leadership, his vet savviness, and just teach up the young cornerbacks we have.
Hey, Richard Sherman, why don't you come on over here and make no fucking money? Is that what you're saying, Finn?
Well, I mean, go get yourself a ring.
Oh, okay, go ring chasing over there. It is because you would think with Aaron Rodgers being your quarterback, you would hope that people would want to do that. But maybe the powers that be aren't interested in that right now. You know, maybe they're not interested in that the whole thing.
Who knows? They may assume that he probably wouldn't play for vet minimum anyway, so they don't even really reach out.
Same type of defense over there?
As who?
Sherman?
I mean, he's like primarily a zone guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
They got a new. They just got a new coordinator.
Pettin?
Green Bay. Green Bay's got a new D coordinator.
Yeah, they
this year,
do.
Yeah.
Joe Barry.
Oh yeah, because Pettin's contract expired.
Mm-hmm.
He's over here.
Yeah,
with us
Joe
now.
Barry. He was the, I think he was the Rams D coordinator. Also, he's the D coordinator on the 0-16 Lions as well.
Yep.
Oh, people love that.
Love that guy.
Shout out to Detroit, dude, doing that, carrying weight all the way into 2021 in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Geno Atkins would be perfect for the Packers.
Yeah.
Stop the run a little bit out there.
They do need to plug that up a little bit.
I would sign Geno. I wonder what Geno wants, but I would definitely sign that dude.
Oh, yeah.
Very good at the football.
Bring him to New England.
Justin Fields just did 7 pump fakes and threw it in the dirt. All right. Let's go to Derek in Texas. What's going on, Derek? Smart play.
Hey, Pat and the boy.
What's going on, dude?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. Hey, I got a question. Since the NFL is going to this 17th game, does it diminish a little bit getting 1,000 yards in a season? Because everybody, that was a big deal. You get 1,000 yards in a year, you had a good year, and then some of these single season records as well.
Derek, that's a great point, and that goes along with everything. Points that are scored by teams. There's going to be the 16-game era will have its own record books. The 17-game era will have its own record books. That's a very good call, Derek. Everything changes from here on out. I thought about this with Vinatieri. He's the all-time leading scorer. Now that there's 17 games, there's a whole other change. You know what I mean? He can almost say at this point, he was the all-time leading scorer during the 1978 to 2020 16-game era or whatever. His record is almost locked in at this point because they're going to have to separate a lot of these stats of yards and everything that happens in a season.
But do they? They won't. You think they won't separate them in the record books, will they?
I think they'll have to. It'll be so loud.
Or there'll just be like a little notation, like 2021 switch to a 17-game schedule or something.
It'll say. They'll have to. You know how loud people will get, the fans, the player. It'll get very loud. You know what I mean?
It already is. Going back to other quarterbacks that played back in like the Dan Marino era. Now they're like, okay, you could find some bum on the street for through 4,000 yards with how the offenses are set up. That's what they like. Not Marino, but old guys like to say just because of how different offenses are now.
And I think that is involving strategy and rules changing. I think the actual addition of a game, I think this will be I think there'll be a real argument had by a lot of people about, and by the way, I cannot wait for the Hall of Fame voters to fuck it up whenever this happens. Oh, my. Look at his stats. He played in the 17 games. Well, look at this. He played whenever they were still running the wing T. It was like, it'll be, oh, my God. It's only going to cause more for the Hall of Fame voters that are going to have to deal with this inevitably.
Yeah, more for everybody to argue about on TV.
It's good for us, I guess.
Hell yeah. Can't wait.
I remember back in my day, I only played 16 games. When I played in the NFL, we only played 16 games.
Whole different ball game.
I'm playing 17. They're taking it easier. They don't got 2 a days. I mean, these kids, they're zooming still. I mean, come on, dude.
Have they made a decision yet on off-season stuff, like if it's going to be virtual?
It seems like it's probably going to be going to players' favor.
Really?
If I had to guess.
Do you think they'll make it like, will that be like, hey, we're not going to meet up until training camp? Or do you think they'll have like the old school days, they have a mandatory mini camp for 3 days in June or something?
And I think they'll have a rookie one, that'll be like rookies are allowed to do this, a mandatory mini camp here. But I do believe this is potentially one the players will win because the 17-game season thing. And I think the owners always keep the off-season shit as like a bargaining, like a negotiation chip.
They don't care because they do not care at all whether the players are there in the facility or not in April, May, June.
But they can pander to their fans and say, we want these guys working or whatever. But ultimately, they do not care. So they keep it as a bargaining chip. Just like marijuana is kept as a bargaining chip. They do not care. They do not care at all. They have to test so they can say, we test. Hey, that is what we do. But they kept that as if it was actually meaningful. Like, hey, we'll raise it a couple more points. The THC thing, you give us this. Hey, we'll do the off. Hey, we don't want to give up the off season, but we will. It's just classic bullshit negotiation chips that don't really mean as much as they're saying that they're supposed to mean. Good business.
Yeah, it's great business. It's like back when we got locked out and we used to come back for off-season workouts like March 15th. That got bumped to like April, the first or second week in April with the new CBA. And yeah, that was a win, I guess, air quotes for the players, but still, as you're watching Justin Fields play against Northwestern from last season, I can see you just wandering right now.
Well, it's actually Northwestern playing good football right now.
Yeah.
Just moved the quarterback out of the backfield. He's lined up at wideout.
Are you worried
takes
that
a snap.
you think this may be live?
Huh?
Feels like it.
Feels like it's live,
Do you get fooled that this may be happening right now?
No, I don't get cap sheeted, bro. That's you.
Cap shot me.
Bro, I just cap sheeted all over you, dude.
Hey, have you seen any of this? You see the Jake Paul and Ben Askren little scuffles they've had?
Yeah, I'm pumped for this fight. Ben Askren has been hilarious through this entire
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
He always has. Ben has always been like he's a big personality, just like you.
Bro, how about him? He's sitting in a hotel room, like meeting hall, all by himself, maybe with his wife or something like that. That whole video where Jake Paul comes in with his entire team. Yeah. Ben Askren is laying his head down through this entire thing. It is awesome. Now, Jake Paul is favored in that fight, but I think if you're Ben Askren, with how many
really?
Yeah, I think Jake Paul is favored. Yeah.
It'll be
Ben
interesting to see.
Askren's
I listen. What's that?
Ben Askren's underdog, I think.
I think you're right.
It makes sense. He's never boxed, right?
I think he's underdog.
Isn't Dana White betting $1 million on Askren?
Yeah, I think that was a part of the entire press conference thing. By the way, Jake Paul and Logan Paul are playing chess, not checkers with everybody, you know what I mean, in the internet game. They got Floyd Mayweather talking about him. He's fighting Ben Askren at the press conferences everywhere. Jake Paul and Logan Paul, for whatever you feel about them, you have to have an utmost amount of respect for the business that they've been able to generate and create in the buzz with everything that they do. But yeah, Jake Paul, I guess, he's just been training full time for like 3 years, and he's favored. Askren's the underdog. But I think there's something to like a fight camp, in like going through a fight camp that maybe Nate Robinson never experienced, that Jake Paul has experienced, going through a fight before, getting hit in the face in front of people. Like, I think there's something about all of that that makes me think, even though Ben Askren isn't known for his striking by any means, I think that is quite an advantage that maybe the previous fighters that Jake Paul has fought haven't had.
Yeah, like Ben Askren professionally gets punched in the face for a living. None of those other guys did, so he might be able to take a few more shots than.
But they're saying that his jaw is glass because he ate a flying knee.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
I'm watching the fight though. Like, that's why you have to have nothing but respect for Jake and Logan Paul. Like, I'm going to watch the fight.
Yeah.
I hope it's a good fight. How many rounds?
8.
8, yeah.
So if you're Ben, go ahead.
You got to tire him out. If you're Ben Askren, I think I saw Chael Sonnen talking about it. Was just explaining, like, Ben's going to go out there. It'll be boring early because he's going to grab him. They're going to hug 1,000,000 times. The ref's going to have to break him up, and Ben's just going to try to wear him down and get him late. And then all of a sudden, like, especially if you're tired and you're in a boxing match in the seventh round or something, that's a level of exhaustion like people don't understand.
Yeah, I do believe Ben Askren's going to try to get him into the deep end.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Let's get him into the deep end here. Let's go ahead and try, like Stipe was trying to do with our guest tomorrow, Francis Ngannou, like Floyd Mayweather did to Conor McGregor. That is something. But Jake Paul has been training for like 3 years. I wonder what his stamina will be like. You would have to assume Ben Askren, who's like a world-renowned wrestler, trainer, fighter, that his stamina will be good. But boxing, that's like one of the main things. Is how's your stamina? Can you make it?
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see too, because if you watch, you ever watch Askren? You ever watch him? Well, he was over on ONE FC or whatever, dominating people without even getting hit because he'd take him down and he would just ride. He's weirdly powerful for how he looks, I guess. But yeah, I'll be curious to see when it's just standing up, just boxing, like what it does look like.
He put out a Rocky training montage. He was sitting there in flip-flops in the press conference, very casual. It seems like Ben Askren is very okay being the underdog, making people think he's just doing this for the paycheck. And I assume he's like, if I lose, I'm literally the underdog. People think I'm going to lose. And if I win, Ben Askren is a hero to all the people that hate Jake Paul, which is what a moment he's in.
And he ate that hook like it was nothing. But you might be able to get it done. I mean, you're doing 5 nights a day.
No, I cannot do real life. But I am fighting a lot of people right now in that Oculus arena.
Still going, huh?
This morning, I did not answer the bell. I did not fight this morning.
Well, yeah, but you're focused on the golf. You knew that you had some new clubs coming.
No, I woke up early to do it, stared it down, got right back in bed. So I might be getting soft again.
Well, at least you thought about it, though.
Yeah.
Well, I was kind of like pissed is the only reason why I got up. The alarm went off. Well, my wife wakes up early every day, so she's kind of the alarm. I go take a piss. I stare at the Oculus Arena. Do I want to jump in there and fight anybody right now? And this morning I said, nah. Went back to bed for about 20, 30 more minutes. I got worse today. Damn it.
No. You still have plenty of time.
Still time.
Well, the sun's out. I'm going to go try to golf, I think.
What kind of clubs you get?
Oh, they're good clubs. I don't know how good they are. I got to swing on them. I got to swing them first before I promote them.
Oh, are they? You got some PXGs or whatever?
Nope.
You'll never guess.
Come on, dude.
I mean, it doesn't matter what brand. Did you
might
get fitted
own
for
the
them and
company.
everything?
It does matter.
It legit does matter. I mean, if these clubs are.
Nah. I mean,
Matters, dude.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure it does, but like new irons. I know new drivers come on every year. It seems like, but I've seen some guys that are stud golfers shoot 70, 71 with clubs that they had in high school when they're 50 years old.
Yes. Yeah, I've never had fitted clubs, and I don't think these ones are going to be fitted. But they feel good in the hand.
They look awesome,
They
too.
feel good in the hand. They feel good in there.
Are you going to that country club that you go to all the time?
Nope. I'm going to another country club that I don't go to. So we'll see how it goes.
I'll be happy to see you.
What do you got this afternoon? Anything cool?
I have some practices and stuff to go to tonight.
God, every day, huh?
Yeah.
That's what parenting is. I'm trying to figure out whether or not I'm going to be able to golf. You're like, I got to get 4 kids to 4 different practices. I cannot believe you guys do that. That's awesome. That's crazy.
We're not as involved. Like, we give our kids, like, we're not crazy about it either. Like, we let them play the sports they want to, but we're not like over the top. Oh, you got to have something this day. Like, we try to give them some time to just be kids.
Oh, you're saying there's parents that like have like, all right, you're doing this? Really?
Most of them.
That kid just yanked that kick.
No.
Can't have it. It was a new holder, though, that game.
Yeah, that's not going to be good for the Northwestern Pro Day.
Oh, Glazer just texted. 4 text messages from Glazer.
Let's go.
Love
You got to
that
get
guy.
it.
What did you say?
I don't want to read it. I don't like being uncomfortable. What did you say?
Well, he can just read it.
Nothing. I was just doing the thing from earlier.
What's good news? Tom Pelissero. What do you think, Glazer? Glazer.
Wow.
Oh, he said, we hope you guys are well. Doing what? He said, loves it. Loves it.
Let's go.
Our guy.
Miss you, Jay.
Miss you, Jay. Love you, Jay.
He did send a screenshot, by the way, of the picture. He did send it. I don't know if I'm supposed to put it on, but he said, what a dick. I enjoy my off season, and I'm a man of my word. Stop it.
Love you, Jay.
Jay Glazer's the best.
I think Jay should come on the show and make an apology to
This
Jay.
was awesome. This was awesome. Thank
A
you.
real J to J conversation is what you said.
Jay squared.
Jay could really send a nice positive message to Jay out in California right now.
What was that text message you sent me there, Mansour?
Yeah. Oh, no, that one?
No, okay. No, okay.
Not that one, but the one about the stadiums.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says the league expects to have full stadiums during the 2020. We beat Fauci might be a bit atchy with Roger Goodell saying that we're having full stadiums in 2021. I would assume the NFL has their ears to the ground in the COVID world with the protocols and everything like that. Full stadiums 2021. That's September 9th this thing starts. We beat COVID. We did it! Yeah! Fuck you, COVID! Fuck you! Woo! Hey, this is a long fight. They took us into the deep end, didn't they?
Yeah.
COVID took us into the deep end. What was supposed to be 2 weeks became 1 month, 2 months, 13, 14 months. Olympics moved, March Madness canceled, games changed. Now Roger Goodell says, just in a couple months from now, we're going to be able to have 65, 70, 75, 100,000 people packed into one place. We fucking did it. Woo! AJ, your thoughts?
Do you think you're going to have to show proof of vaccine to attend?
Who cares? We beat COVID. Yeah! I would assume you have to go in there with your Fauci ouchie certification.
Yeah,
for sure.
I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be the case.
I think it's going to be the case if you listen to what Mac Brown, a follow-up tweet from Albert Breer says, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, without being asked, we expect to have full stadiums in the upcoming season.
No questions came out there.
So he led off. Listen, coming out of the owners' meetings, we got 17-game season. Okay, we potentially got Sky Judge. How do we lead off this press conference? Raj, you come out swinging. Tell him. Full fucking season, full stadiums a couple months ago. How's everybody doing? Great to have you here. Full stadiums in just a few months. Fuck everybody.
What? Does the Wolf on Wall Street just say,
I'm not fucking
this is
listening.
awesome.
Well,
let's go.
Roger Goodell, good for him, man. What does he know that we don't? Who cares? We know that there's stadiums now. If Roger Goodell says it in the United States of Goodell, if he's saying it, that means the NFL's saying it. He wouldn't put that out there if he didn't think that was going to be the actual thing. This is very, listen, we are ridiculous. We are over dramatic, but this is massive news for the entire fucking country right now, AJ.
I agree. It's absolutely massive. Now, when he says we expect, I mean, hopefully nothing derails that between now, we have 5 months until opening day, probably?
That's right, AJ. 5 months for everyone to get their vaccinations, get a filled out card, get your stickers, post them on your Instagram and social media, and show up at the stadiums, but if everyone is fully vaccinated.
Okay, so there's Fauci's take on it, which I assume he was going to answer, and I think that other doctor, too, that was in the middle, Burks, I believe she'll probably have an answer to this, and President Biden will probably have an answer to this. I assume there's going to be a lot of potential fallout, but Roger Goodell's not setting expectations at full stadiums. They're master promoters, master business people. Every word means something. Roger Goodell can talk to you for 3 hours and not say a single thing if he wants to. I mean, he is a great politician. That's why he makes $40 million a year, to be the shield for those billionaires. He's not setting expectations at full stadiums if they're not damn near sure that that's going to happen.
So now all eyes are on Texas on Thursday, right? Because the Rangers play.
Yeah.
I mean, that really is like the deciding factor on whether or not this is going to work.
All right, Texas.
Come on, Texas.
Stay healthy.
Come on now.
All right, Texas.
Bring it home.
All right. Man, we beat COVID. This is pretty good.
Did it. This is awesome.
We made it.
We did it.
This is unbelievable.
What a day.
I heard last night on the news potential 14th wave or something. Then today Roger Goodell's like, fuck the wave. The only thing we're waving at is each other in the stadium, pal.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting back in there. That was a real juice.
Yeah.
Good juice.
It's good news. I don't think Fauci's going to be as excited as Roger and you are about this news. He may try to, get people to slow down a little bit. It seems like that's where he's been.
Yeah, but it might promote the vaccine more because,
True.
Like Mack Brown yesterday came on. He was like, I think we're allowed to practice if everybody gets the vaccine. If not, we're not allowed to practice. So that immediately was like, oh, so everybody's going to get. That's what that means.
I see vaccine passports is trending on Twitter a lot. Those seem to be a big hit.
Yeah, I do believe. Now, I haven't dove all the way in there, but I think there's a lot of people that are, very cool with that, and I think there's a lot of people that are very, very against it.
Yeah.
I think. Well,
Connor?
No.
Not me.
This is a celebration. Okay, we don't need to get back to that.
Mazel tov.
Did something really happen to you, Connor? Did someone show up? Because you have been very quiet on a lot of things.
What the hell are you talking about, dude?
I will say that I've heard that the one thing you were very loud about has gotten exponentially better since it was potentially attacked, right?
Are we talking denominator or are we talking?
The other thing that you got attacked by.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That has gotten exponentially better. And I still will not speak on that.
What was it? What's the other thing?
What is it, Connor? What were you talking about before?
There was something I was talking about before that technically wasn't legal, that I was doing. That as soon as I brought to light I was doing that group came at me so hard that they actually sent me a screenshot and they were like, hey, we'll let everybody know. And I said, okay, hey, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm not talking about it ever again.
Sometimes you got to do that, by the way.
They had to let me know.
What was it, by the way?
The thing I was doing?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I cannot disclose that information with you guys on here. I'll let you know after.
Okay. Cool. We beat COVID, dude.
We did it.
Yeah.
Rocky from Oregon's on hold, and Rocky, I want to let you know I appreciate you, but there's nothing you can do that's going to follow us beating COVID.
No.
And on a high note.
Man, by the way, today, Elite Eight's happening. Congrats on
All right, boys.
Congrats to the women's NCAA tournament as well. It's continuing to be dominant. But this is going to be the big takeaway from today. We beat COVID, dude. Fucking A, man. Sometimes...
There it is. Break it out.
After a long battle with COVID, sometimes it's nice to be the fucking champ.
Mm-hmm.
This thing won 13 rounds.
That's right.
Damn near 15 if you really want to get it. This was a heavyweight bout against COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And we fucking stood in the pocket. We ate that thing. And here we are months away from packed out stadiums in the greatest league on earth. Fucking, we're all the champions of fucking COVID. Yeah! Good for us, dude. Fucking made it.
Great day.
Yeah, you made it. That's going to be the headlines everywhere tomorrow. We beat COVID, right?
Sounds like it.
Feels like it.
COVID.
Man.
That's the show, dude. Fucking beat it, bro.
We did it.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. It's over. Life is back, right?
Tuesday, March 30th, 2021, we found out we beat COVID.
The day COVID died.
There was...
Now we know.
The day the COVID died. And we were singing, bye, COVID, fuck you, goodbye.
Go my Chevy to the levee, but the COVID was dry. In good home.
Hey, rest in peace to COVID, by the way.
Yeah.
A lot of people had a lot of judging on how we were handling it throughout there. You know what I mean? And anytime you're in a vicious cockfight like that with COVID, something like that, you're going to get judged, We all kind of hunkered down one inside. Then we went outside, then we went inside, then we wore one mask, then we wore two masks, and we're getting judged on how we handled this. But here we are on the other side of the victory, and let's just let it be known. Winning cures all, baby.
Truly.
We fucking all bought in. We beat it. Fucking rest in peace, 19, pal. And when 20 comes, I want to let you know we're fucking coming. Sternum overhand right. It is going to be a first-round knockout of your little friend, COVID-20, if he's on the back door here.
Hell yeah. We're ready.
Bro, I'm pumped, dude.
Feels like we just won WW2.
Well, this was.
Maybe 3. Truly. It's like 1945 in here.
Bro, now a lot of lives were lost, legit, okay? I hate that, but it does feel like we're potentially
on the other side.
I'm fucking pumped up, AJ.
Let's go.
It's open. It's time. Like Ty said, this is the day that COVID died, right? I'm sure everybody is 100% on board with that.
Fuck you and your whole family. We wish you would die. And when 20 comes, we'll put a foot in their mouth, singing, this is the day that COVID dies. This is the day that COVID dies. Bye, bye, fuck you, COVID, goodbye. God, it's a good day. Man. There's no chance I'm going to any of these games. Okay? I'm not stepping foot in any of these stadiums. But I am fucking pumped that other people can.
Yeah.
That means a lot more than just the stadiums, by the way. That means restaurants. That means busyness. That means things are happening. That means we're back.
Yes.
Hey, so musicians should start scheduling tours then, starting in the fall, I would imagine.
Fucking open it up, dude. Venues are coming back.
In the fall, hell, that Ranger Stadium does well next month. Let's get these musicians back out there.
Now, what about the 10-year results, though, after the game?
Well, that's on them. That's their decision that they're going to have to live with. If they want to, put that on the table as a gambling chip, go ahead.
We were worried about the 10-year results.
Absolutely. Still am.
Well, we beat COVID.
Hell yeah.
We did it.
That's the show. I'm going to go celebrate.
Yeah. Rightfully so.
I'm going to go celebrate. We should all celebrate this.
Celebrate.
Yeah.
It was tough. Hey, there were some times in there where we didn't think this was ever going to end.
We ate burgers for 4 straight months because we couldn't order any food.
Toilet paper, couldn't wipe your ass with anything.
Nope.
Here we are.
Had to bring in a handkerchief. Wash it every day.
You did that?
Yeah, I had to.
Okay.
Just wash my hands with glass cleaner.
Too much.
Jesus.
Hand sanitizer was like glass cleaner.
Yeah.
Smelling like tequila at different places.
People making their own.
Man, we did it, dude. Man, I mean, we would have never, ever. I mean, did we ever think we were going to. I mean,
there it is. Hell yeah.
We deserve this.
Yeah, we do.
Hell yeah. We beat COVID.
Man, what a good day.
Who would have thought Roger Goodell, by the way, was going to be the one that's going to come out and say, by the way, fucking undefeated against COVID?
Yeah.
General Goodell. We should have known.
The United States of Goodell.
That's right.
Let's go. That's a show, dude. Thank you all so much, man. It's been an honor, really.
Congratulations.
It's been an honor to let the world know, right, that you beat COVID.
Yeah. It's been an honor to go through it with everyone on the YouTube out there.
Day in, day out.
Yeah.
Hours spent together.
Think about it.
Dance, clown, dance. We can't do anything else. Movie theaters shut down.
Yeah.
Restaurants closed. Cities not allowed to have like red lights operating.
Yeah.
Not allowed to make eye contact with people at certain times because they thought COVID was potentially going to laser beam from one eyeball to another at one point. Here we are on the other side.
Hell yeah.
McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk. Birth.
Yeah.
We are a COVID baby.
Yeah. This third hour.
COVID baby. I just got a text from Jay Glazer. You think he's confirming it?
Well, he actually knew. He knew 2 weeks ago.
See what he says. Please read it.
But he was just waiting on it to be announced today.
Probably, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know how do we not get a real time like reaction from Jay?
No, because he pulls his hair out. I mean, there's a lot that happens.
I need to get a haircut to
We
make
beat
this.
COVID. Let's get out of here.
We beat COVID.
It's also the fourth quarter of this game. It's about to get really good. 16-10 Ohio State over Northwestern. Let's give away hashtag. No, we should not. We should not.
Do it. Do it.
No. The hate will be bad.
Yeah, that wouldn't be great.
Hashtag we are in this together. We'll give away how many
Hey, why don't
months?
you just-
13 months? Is that what it was?
Pat, put it on
14?
somebody else.
14,
Put it on somebody else. Hashtag Goodell says we beat
COVID.
I don't know. I don't know if we can go there yet.
That's my commissioner, dude. Let's not. He just brought us so much hope. Let's not.
Could do hashtag PMS full stadiums.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hashtag PMS full stadiums. And how many months was it? 13 months?
Yeah, because wasn't the anniversary like 2 weeks ago?
Easy, okay? It's a little bit more.
Hey, AJ,
Foxy's got his
How long's it been? It's been 13 months?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll give away $13,000.
Wow.
Hashtag PMS full stadiums. You tweet that right now, you're automatically entered into it. I don't know how the money will be given away. We'll figure that out as we go, but this is a celebration. It should be treated as such. The end is in sight for a time that was very miserable for a lot of people. One that was massively, effective to not only the way we live, to the way we're going to live, to a lot of businesses, people's hard work. Full stadiums in September is a sign of a lot of things. And I think the big takeaway we fucking beat COVID.
We did it!
Hashtag PMS full stadiums. We'll give away $13,000. You tweet that right now. You automatically be entered. Can't thank you enough. We're back tomorrow with a big Wednesday. Ain't that right, AJ Hawk?
That's right. Can't wait. Big show, big guests. Good luck with your golf match today or your club tryouts.
Thank you. This is a first date for me in the new clubs. I hope it will go well, and maybe it ends with, me getting involved.
Ooh. Yeah.
I'm so pumped we beat COVID.
We did it.
Fired up.
Fired up.
A whole entire month made. Yeah.
Hey, we can't forget this feeling, by the way, in like 2 weeks when we get, spoiled with everything. We have to remember this.
Don't forget.
Fucking beat COVID's ass. I forgot.
Fucking me. Look at me, dude.
Holy shit.
Who you looking at? You're looking in the mirror at what? A badass mother who don't take no shit from nobody.
The Cool Runnings quote comes out of nowhere.
March 30th.
Feel the rhythm, feel the ride. We're getting the fuck out. It's golf time. Cheers.
Hell yeah.